अलग सीन हो गया भाई.
You know, that's probably one of the few teams not want to see if you're running the Shadow Victory Bell in the Wigglytuff there, but unfortunately that was going to be the first pairing of the tournament today. But this is a double elimination bracket, so this is not the last time that Cindy will be battling and may come back on stream later on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You don't want to be facing the Talonflame master with a Shadow Razor Leafer and a Wigglytuff user, and a Zygomatic, who I think was the most impressive player at day one of NAIC, in my opinion, is already putting on an impressive performance here. So much precision. He just seems never bothered, never worried. And I mean, as you see in game number 1, he just wins the game with 2 shields, a pretty dominant 2-0 there.
Yeah, I remember talking to you at North America International Championships, going to day 2, the top 8 determined who are going to be the top 4 when it comes to Worlds. You said you thought that Zygomatic was going to take the whole thing. Zygomatic still plays top 3, so a pretty solid prediction still, and I think I agree with you. One of the strongest players we've seen in this play Pokemon and season of Pokemon Go so far, and definitely excited to see what.
अभी वापस से मैच देखेंगे यार. कल इतना लेट शुरू करा था, आज इन्होंने रिडीम कोड वगैरह सब दे दिया यार. कल इन्होंने इतना लेट शुरू करा था, आज काफी मतलब जल्दी दे दिया. और ये देखो, ये क्या कहते हैं, पहला मैच हो भी चुका यार. एक मिनट देखते हैं, पहला मैच वापस से देख सकते हैं हम वैसे चाहें तो. हेलो दिवाई, क्या हाल है? वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम. भाई थंबनेल अपडेट करेंगे यार.
I would have picked the right NAIC winner, just like you picked the right Spice Pokemon.
Unique, hello, Harsh, Anthony, Rahul bhai, Riddhit, Instinct Like, first kya haal hai?
Like you
Welcome to the
mentioned,
stream.
double elimination tournament. So Cindy is not out of it yet. A really unique team. She's
Jigo,
kind of known
Zygomatic का smart move देखा हम भाई Talonflame ही
especially
नहीं
what
लेके
she
आया.
did in
अच्छा ऐसा था.
Vancouver to make it all the way through the winners bracket, never dropping out of the winners bracket, and winning the whole thing with the Ember Shadow Kanto Ninetales, which I mean, I'm not disappointed that I didn't see it today, but I mean, when you put on such a masterful show with the Pokemon, and then you drop it for the World Championships.
You know, and sometimes that's making a prediction on the meta, or maybe seeing how your opponents read. Maybe some opponents are going to say, you know what, I expect the Shadow
क्या बोलते हो? वापस से देखते हैं, ठीक है? ये Talonflame पेलेगा, हाँ भाई.
Talonflame
ऐसे ही कुछ हो गया यार, थोड़ा मैं लेट हो गया, काम में फंस गया था. मुझे लगा आज लेट शुरू करेंगे, आज जल्दी स्टार्ट कर दिया. तो देखो भाई, एक ही मैच हुआ यार, क्या बात कर रहे हो? एक ही मैच हुआ है.
Pokemon such as Galarian Stump is throwing super effective rock size at it too.
Yeah, and Cindy's even worse matchup for that Altaria.
Yeah, Alolan Ninetales is pretty scary, but Altaria having positive matchups against the Scrap, the Swampert, the Talonflame, and the Trevenant, and with shields up, it's those Dragon Breaths are really going to add up against the Registeel. Just like how I said, the Shadow Victory Bell is going to start chewing through even the Registeel as well. You know, it looks bad with the Talonflame, but I think Zygomatic actually has a team composition disadvantage here. Yeah, the Altaria that's pretty hard to stop outside the Alolan Ninetales, and the Shadow Victory Bell that beats the Scrafty, the Swampert, and can even beat the Registeel when you have shields there. First than ever to bring a Shadow Victory Bell to the...
Maybe Zygomatic is one of the crispest, cleanest players.
ठीक है भाई, लीड मिली थी ऐसी.
Into the Trevenant.
यहाँ से स्टार्ट करते हैं वापस से मैच एंड देखते हैं. अभी तो बाहर नहीं होंगे, डायरेक्ट कोई बाहर नहीं होगा. ये भाई रीजनल चैंपियन है भाई.
But it's swapping on the Shadow Ball here, so this will do a good amount of damage onto the Altaria.
कोई नहीं, अभी स्टार्ट करते हैं. अगले मैच स्टार्ट होने में आई थिंक टाइम लगेगा. मैं चेक कर लेता हूं. थंबनेल चेंज मार दूंगा, ठीक है? थंबनेल चेंज मार दूंगा. गलत चलाता है Talonflame, आज तक याद है इसके रीजनल चैंपियनशिप के मैच. अरे भाई, ये सीन होता है यार. अभी कोई बाहर नहीं होगा शायद, लूजिंग ब्रैकेट में, या फिर कुछ और सीन होगा. अभी एकदम कोई हारने से बाहर नहीं होगा यार.
That's exactly what happens here. Not needing to shield these weather balls as much compared to the Shadow Victory Bell.
It's a great call because now you can rock slide this Alolan Ninetales as you take the weather ball here.
चेक कर लेता हूं, लेटेस्ट मैच से नहीं छूटने चाहिए ना यार. कल तो मैं सोचा आराम से आऊंगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, थोड़ा काम भी आ गया था भाई. कल तो इतना लेट शुरू करा था, आज इतना जल्दी कर दिया. अभी रिडीम करते हैं कोड, 2:30 बजे से पहले हम रिडीम कर लेंगे. इनका मैच देखते हैं, ठीक है? मैं थंबनेल चेंज कर दूंगा. रिडीम करेंगे, ठीक है? रिडीम करेंगे.
But we do see Registeel in the back, and Registeel doesn't have any fast move pressure.
Yeah, you know, I think we're relying a lot on the Shadow Victory Bell here. You know, if there is a Talonflame in this game, it would have been disastrous for Cindy, but Cindy actually making the call in the read that there's unlikely to be a Talonflame here and getting a lot of energy now here on this Galarian
दे दिया
Stumpus
क्या?
now
दे दिया होगा
swapping
पक्का,
back
एक
over
तो
to the
पक्का आ
Shadow
गया
Legion
होगा।
Belt and is
मैं
going
भी
to throw this
अभी साथ में डालता हूँ,
Leaf Blade being
मैं भी
caught on the
उसको
Registeel.
यूज
I
करूंगा
feel
कोड
like,
को, तो
I
आप
don't
भी
know,
कर
you
लेना।
resist it. You don't want to get
Pin कर
acid
देंगे
spray
reviver
here,
में।
but that did a good amount of damage for
भाई
not
तो
very
गलत मैच
effective
फंस गया
against the
भाई,
Registeel. And look
विक्ट्री वेल
at
ज्यादा
how
स्पाइस हो गया
low
थोड़ा, है ना?
Cindy's
कोई
health is.
दिक्कत नहीं
There's
है
no
भाई।
health on the Victory Belt. There's no health on the Galarian Stunfisk, but Registeel can't do any damage.
Yes.
You protect shield the Zap Cannon, but it's just doing lock-ons.
दोनों मैच जीता है क्या?
You know, this is one of the
Zico दोनों
situations
मैच जीता है
where,
क्या?
yes,
शेयान
grass
भाई ये वाला
damage
कोड
is
है,
resisted on steel, but this grass
अभी मैं
shadow
check करके
damage
pin
is
कर देता हूँ।
really adding up here. Even though you did not want to shield it, you probably forced to shield
मैं
at
अपना
Leaf
thumbnail
Blade
भी change कर दूं
sometime.
यार, थोड़े
And
late हुए हैं,
let's
but
see
कोई
if
दिक्कत नहीं है।
Spencer Shield does not.
And
And this
बीच में
Leaf
मैच
Blade
भी
is
चलते
going
रहेंगे
to
यार। कल
land,
दिन उन्होंने
putting the ratio
3:30
quite low.
बजे
It
के
does
करीब
get to
शुरू
that
करा था भाई,
final
1:30
zap
बजे से
cannon.
2
I
घंटे
cannot believe this,
ऐसे ही बैठे
letting
हुए
the
थे।
Shadow Victory
3
Belt
साढ़े
go.
3 स्टार्ट किया
There's
था
no
कल।
health left. You're
और
letting
आज
it.
तो भाई
There's
साहब
no
काफी
shielding
जल्दी
it.
कर दिया।
Galarian Stunfisk can it even survive a charm? It has the mud shot down. It
Oh,
gets the
भाई।
mud shot down. It has to be able to survive a charm, and Trevenant just has so many shadow
शील्ड
claws.
नहीं
So
होती तो वो
this
अलग
is
बात थी,
tough for
फिर भी कोई
Cindy.
बात नहीं थी।
Zygomatic looks like he's gonna win this with 2 shields remaining.
Yeah, you know, I
सही
think
बात है। और अगर सेकंड मैच पे देखा जाए तो
Altaria in the back with the efficient move, which is the Shadow Ball. And the Rock Slide is going to be going through. At some point between Mud Shots and Rock Slides, 2 of them will knock out a Trevenant. You're at the second one now. Do you throw before the Seed Bomb? No. Zygomatic does get to that Seed Bomb first, so this will probably force a Protect Shield unless Cindy wants to fast move down this Trevenant.
Yeah, and I think this is a good utilization of the shields because
हाँ भाई, वो
essentially
बिना
you
talent
really
के
want to
खेल
whittle
गया भाई
down
बंदा।
this Trevenant. You
Yo,
could even
unique।
potentially win Switch Band here, which would be pretty crucial. But again, it's really going to be the Swampert that's going to have to put in a lot of work here because that Altaria is not going to have a great time, especially against the lone Ninetales here.
थोड़ा लेट हो गया यार, मैं भी एक मैच हो गया यार,
but
थोड़ा
not catching
मैं
it,
फंस
and
गया
now
था,
here
काम में
comes
फंस
the
गया था।
Alolan Ninetales again here.
मेरा
This is not
भाई
a
है
fun
वो यार, तो
matchup
बातचीत
for
कर
this
रहे थे, मेरे को
Altaria.
लगा
And
आराम
that's
से
the key
करेंगे
factor,
लेट,
Caleb, is this
क्योंकि कल भी
Altaria
लेट हुआ
just
था,
has
आज तो बहुत
nowhere
जल्दी
to
शुरू कर
go
दिया इन्होंने।
as Cindy does throw off this Sky Attack here. Instant
अभी
no
लूजिंग
shield by
ब्रैकेट पे
Zygomatic,
जाएंगे,
and
बहुत
Zygomatic's
लंबा
just gonna
टूर्नामेंट
keep
चलेगा, 3
charming
दिन में
through.
भी
At least
भर
you got
के
the
मैच है
Alolan
भाई,
Ninetales
बहुत
to
मैच
half
है।
health. So within Rock Slide range at least, right?
Yeah, within Rockside range, this Alolan Ninetales may win charge
Shadow
priority against
Ninetales देखना था
Alone,
but
this Galarian Stunfisk, which
आप
is
भी अभी आए हो,
not a
आप भी
great
लेट आए
spot
हो
to
आज।
be in. I wonder if Cindy actually comes in with a
कोई दिक्कत
Swampert
नहीं है।
maybe to absorb the damage and not have to expend
कोई
that last
दिक्कत नहीं
shield.
है,
No,
ऋतुराज
go
भाई,
straight for the
ऋतुराज भाई, बधाई हो यार,
Galarian
लेवल
Stunfisk, but
50
again,
पहुंच
here
गया।
comes that weather
ऋतुराज
ball,
भाई
and it's
लेवल
just
50
going
कर
to let
चुके
this
हैं,
Galarian
तो
Stunfisk go.
Yeah, smart call by
जो
Zygomatic
Discord
to
पे नहीं
throw
उनके लिए।
right away
और
on
हमने
charge
veteran
move
कर लिया था
priority,
कल।
expecting that Rock Slide through it so he could win charge move priority. Now is that another weather ball, throws it right before the Hydra Cannon is available. But the thing is about that pivot from Cindy, now the Trevenant still has some health from Zygomatic. I know Registeel's in the back, but Trevenant is still about 30% health.
Yeah, this is tough to getting
Shadow
as much
Trail, बड़ा ही
as
spice
she
वाला
can
scene हो गया भाई,
against this
yes।
Alolan Ninetales. But unfortunately, the Swampert is quite low, and the Trevenant might be
Did you
able to
hit?
Shadow Call this down. You
Did you
have
hit?
to save the shield for the Trevenant, though, because the Trevenant does have the Seed Bomb ready.
Hello bro, ask
Putting
him।
Cindy in a very difficult position here, having to spend this last shield and still need to take out the Trevenant and the Registeel. This is an uphill battle.
Yeah, this is tough for this Swampert here. At least this
कोई
Trevenant
सीन नहीं है
is
भाई।
within Hydra Cannon range, but
Back
there's
to
just
back
no
Hydro
health
भी शायद
remaining. There's a
पीछे
Protect
कुछ हो
Shield
गई।
left. Looks like Zygomatic
वेलकम टू द
wants to
स्ट्रीम
go
यार,
for a
खतरनाक तरह से भाई।
lockdown
कल की स्ट्रीम का रिकॉर्ड तोड़ देना यार,
victory
हमको
as
30
this
क्रॉस
Trevenant
करने
gets
लाइक
knocked out, and this
viewers पे।
Registeel is finally going to
Level
get some
50
revenge
ऋतुराज
against the
भाई,
Swampert
you
that he
did,
usually loses to. It's going
you
lock
did,
on
you
down,
did,
lock on down, and down goes
सैन भाई
Swampert.
कहना क्या चाहते हो?
Yeah, what a
that
intense
was a
match
game
there,
over?
too. You know,
Who I think was the most impressive player at day one of NAIC in my
अभी मैच शुरू हो रहा है
because of how badly
इनका
it loses the
लोमिरियो
Registeel.
का और इसका।
And
अभी भाई
23
कोड ले
Egypt,
लेते हैं हम चल
he
के,
does
ठीक है?
have Registeel
एक बार
on his
कोड ले लेते हैं, नया मैच स्टार्ट हो रहा है। आज बहुत जल्दी मैच कर रहे हैं यार ये, आज बहुत जल्दी मैच कर रहे हैं, आज खेलने का मौका नहीं मिलेगा भाई। कोड ले लेते हैं चल के यार।
and it was, they both had Skarmy, they both had Sableye. It was a very close, similar mirror matchup. And I believe they
Slow
even
mode होने
tied
भाई
on
आज,
Game
सही है।
5 of the losers
क्या बात है?
finals.
Right,
They
ये बात
had
सच
to
लो आ
beat
रही है यार,
So, but that was
मेडल
pretty
मिल
much
रहे
the
हैं।
last time we saw Skarmy.
मेडल
That
नहीं,
was
टाइम
months
रिसर्च
ago
मिलेगी
in
आज।
competitive
ये
play.
रहा,
I think
ये वाला
Skarmy
क्या?
has fallen
QAV
a little bit out of favor
सैन
in
भाई
the
ने
meta
दिया
for
QAV
Great League Pokemon Go PV,
minute।
but it looks like Aomera is
at 6
up to something here and is like, you know what? I don't need a steel
MXR,
tank like a
MXR.
Registeel or a Galarian Stumpus or a Bastiodon.
Z3
I'm going to
XU3
run the Flying Steel, the Skarmory,
Z3
one of
यही है
the
ना? हाँ भाई,
oldest
शेयान
and
भाई
most
वाला ही है।
relevant Pokemon
इसे
in
ट्राई करते हैं,
Pokemon
मैं पिन कर दूं
since the
पहले,
early
मैं पिन
days
कर दूं।
when the
ठीक है, फिर इसको ट्राई
game
करते
just
हैं
dropped.
अभी। ये मैच स्टार्ट होने वाला मैच है ना, देखना पहले
Venusaurs that we saw yesterday.
क्या बोलते
But a key factor here is Iomero just has no answer for Shadow
कुछ
Ninetales.
नया नहीं मिलेगा
Shadow
भाई, कुछ
Ninetales
नहीं
is
मिलेगा
good
क्या?
against
आज भी
Almero's
कोई नहीं टाइम
entire
रिसर्च नहीं
team.
है.
Probably the best answers are Sableye
Wait,
and
thumbnail clickbait हो गया
Queen
फिर तो.
and Lickitung, but it's just really
Medal
good.
मिलेगा?
You know,
एक और medal मिलेगा तो भी
could
चलेगा
probably
भाई.
do well against the Shadow Ninetales as well, but it's just the thing is, it's so safe. If you put it in the right position, get a fire spin down, it could really close for you. We saw how much an overheat
Just
did
medal.
to a
एक और medal मिल रहा है
Sableye
क्या?
yesterday.
तो ठीक
Almost
है.
one hit
कर
knocking
लेते
it
हैं
out,
एक बार
and then
कर लेते हैं.
Pelipper came in with the wing attack to finish the
मैं
job.
तो
But I
कल
just
की
feel
time
like
research भी complete
Shadow
नहीं हुई है.
Ninetales is just extremely
Also आज
safe
क्या
against
घटिया
Iomero's
दिन है
team.
भाई, क्या
Yeah,
बताऊं?
Shadow Ninetales does
आज
look
अपने दो
pretty
सेशन
strong
भागे भाई,
here
दो
too.
सेशन सोच रहे हो?
I'm definitely going to be very curious
दो
how
सेशन
Iomero
भागे
addresses
अपने.
it. You know, Shadow Machamp is
ऋतुराज
also
भाई.
very strong. Like you said, has decent matchups
बहुत ही
against a lot of
गलत.
teams outside that Pelipper and outside that Metacham. Metacham is a
इनके
very
मैच के
tough
बाद
one to
करेंगे यार,
face
ठीक है?
here,
Redeem
but
करेंगे इनके
we
मैच
are
के बाद.
going into our first battle between these two
go
competitors,
match
and it's going to be
number
starting
2.
off with a Metacham into
Lead
the
मिली है
Sableye.
Sableye
It's going to be a
को.
great spot for the Sableye.
बेहतरीन वाली.
Instant swap to the wall rain.
Oh, and I was maybe thinking there was going to be a Shadow Machamp there, but no, it's the Lickitung to answer the wall rain. And Lickitung is a great answer for the wall rain. But this matchup is kind of close because the Licks aren't same type attack bonus, and
मेरे को
neither is
साउंड
the
नहीं आ रही है
Power
इनकी
Whip.
कमेंट्री की, आप
Yeah,
सबको आ रही है, मेरे को
you see,
साउंड नहीं आ रही है.
alignment
मेरे को
here is
ईयरफोन लगाना
actually
पड़ता है,
pretty
फिर मेरे को अपनी
crucial
आवाज
here,
नहीं आती है तो मुझे
because he
बोलते हुए
really
अजीब लगता है.
wants that Sableye against
और बताओ यार
Metacham
क्या चल रहा है
instead
भाई?
of the
वेलकम टू द
wall rain
स्ट्रीम
against
सबको
EJB's
यार, क्या हाल
Metacham
चाल है?
here.
रिद्धि भाई तो यो यो करके चले गए,
alignment is
यो यो
definitely
यो
on
चला रहे हो.
Iomero's mind here. Is Iomero going to bait with the Bison or go Power Bin? Does go straight for the Bison. Let's see if we get a shield or not. And it looks like EJB's really thinking about it and gets a shield.
time
That's a
reserve नहीं
huge
है ना
early
भाई.
shield bait from
हो सकता है
Iomero.
आगे मिले,
That
हो
is
सकता है
really
पहले
impactful,
में
'cause
ना
now
मिले.
you're almost at
वेट
the next
करते
Power
हैं.
Whip. You can take this Icicle Spear, so you can either force it.
Same ही medal है वो.
Actually, protect shielding it. I thought maybe you'd let it go and throw
Okay.
the Power Whip and force another protect shield, but decides
Same
to
medal
stay
ही दे
in
रहे हैं,
there,
okay.
try to go for that alignment
देखते
like
हैं
you
फिर कुछ
mentioned.
अच्छा
And are
मिलता
you
है
baiting
या
again?
कल 2:30 बजे
Another
हमको मिली
bait
थी
by
शर्ट,
Iomero here.
मतलब दूसरे
And now
कोड में शर्ट
23
आई थी, उम्मीद
EJB
करते
has
हैं
to decide to give up all his
हमको
protect
15
shields or
मिनट बाद
not.
229 पे
it
कुछ
doesn't
अच्छा
shield
मिलेगा.
us. Actually, a
उम्मीद कर
crucial
सकते हैं, बाकी
no
तो कुछ
shield here.
नहीं.
Do we get to
बाकी
the next
लड़ाई मस्त
Bison?
चल रही है यार
No, the
इनकी.
Icicle Spear is reached first here too.
Well
And
done.
I'm looking at 23 EJB's team here, and that Shadow Cancel Ninetales looks quite good. But actually, Iomero letting it go. This might be exactly the advantage Iomero needs, because Iomero needs energy to handle that
भाई
Shadow Cancel
Ninetales
Ninetales.
ready है
That was
पीछे,
a
देख रहे हो?
soft loss, but maybe a
Ninetales
little bit too soft because look, you can't
पीछे
Shadow
Ninetales
Claw
ready है.
down this
मैंने
wall
जल्दी
rain,
जल्दी में
and
भाई
this
सब कुछ
Sableye is
edit
just
वगैरह
taking
करा है.
so
मैं
much
एक बार
pressure here. It's
देखूंगी.
trying to go for a Shadow Claw
मैंने
down,
गड़बड़
but this
कर
wall
रखी है.
rain
आज
is
day
going to
1
get
है क्या
dangerously
वैसे?
close to another Icicle
Day
Spear
1 तो
as
नहीं
the
है ना, day
Sableye
2 है
is
ना.
loaded with energy now,
ठीक है,
and you would
okay.
have to come in with the Ninetales. I don't think you want to risk putting in your Metacham here.
Yeah, you know, I think Iomero is still determined to Shadow Claw down here. This Sableye is going to have to do a lot of work here. Unfortunately, the wall rain is not great
Full play
against the
KO नहीं करेगा
Ninetales
बिल्कुल
nor
भी.
the Metacham.
But एक
So
weather
Iomero's
ball
gonna have
करेगा
to make
यार.
some magic happen with the
खतरनाक.
Sableye, but like you said, Sableye is very
उम्मीद
low on
करेंगे यार
health.
जो
Yeah,
हीट
and
करने
look
से
how
बचा
much that
सकें
foul
यार
play did.
मोबाइल
It
को.
did about half to the Ninetales. So 23 EJB has to devote his last protect shield, and he's going to have an uphill battle trying to fire spin down. Here comes the swap into Wall Rain. Wall Rain has to
मैंने
get all
question
the
mark
way to
लगा
an
दिया यार,
Earthquake to
अब
knock
ठीक
out
है.
at this point, but it's met by the Metacham, and this is a power-up punch Metacham, which is a key factor in this matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of crucial here, but one key thing to note is 23 EJB did not leave with a weather ball ready. Got a little bit of energy, but does not have that weather ball ready for the Sableye. If the Sableye could farm down this Metacham
यार ये
with
Veil
still
Rain
a shield remaining,
Icicle
if this
Spear
wall rain
ज़्यादा
can put it
सही है
low
क्या इसे
enough,
मारना?
this could be the win condition for Iomero here.
And interesting to throw the Icicle Spear after the
पता
power
नहीं यार,
punch.
अब
Maybe
एक
you want
Earthquake
to
के लिए
throw
try
before
करेगा
the
ये
power
बंदा
punch,
नहीं.
before that one stage attack
फिर से
boost
Icicle.
on those counters as you throw the next
बस
Icicle
काफी
Spear
चीज़
here.
देखने को मिल रही है
Metacham
यार.
is going to be able
बंदे
to
को
get the
तगड़े
counter
खेलते हैं.
down, survive this. There's no protect shields remaining for EJB, and there's one protect shield remaining for Iomero. You're going to try to go for the power punch. This isn't enough for Sableye, though.
No, it's
भाई
not.
farm
but
down
these
की
power
पूरी
punches are
कोशिश होगी
still,
दोनों की तरफ से.
really boosting up these
और
counters.
मुझे लग रहा है draw आ गया ये.
Draw
Draw तो नहीं है ना?
Switch timer's not
एक
up yet
नहीं,
for the
draw नहीं.
alone Ninetales, and the Sableye is really close. Actually, who's going to get to this charge move first? Oh no,
नहीं
the
भाई,
weather
CMP
ball
बढ़िया.
was ready, and the Sableye is going to get
मुझे लगा
knocked
था
out
full
here.
play.
He banked it,
फिर
and the
fast
weather
move
ball
down.
knocks out Iomero
जी जी भाई,
Sableye. The
Ninetales
Shadow
अभी
Cancel
भी आग लगा रहा है
Ninetales,
भाई.
which was so good in that
Shadow
matchup.
Canto
Wins
Ninetales
the game
OP भाई.
number 1. 23 EJB continuing
Ready
his
था move भाई,
dominance
CMP
from the
खेल
last
खत्म.
chance qualifier into day number 1 of these
आज
Pokemon
मैच
Go
गलत होने
World
वाले हैं.
Championships.
Yeah, what a play by EJB there too. I actually even missed that. I thought that EJB did not have the weather ball ready.
शायद इसलिए भी मजा आएगा आज क्योंकि
says,
जल्दी
no,
जल्दी हो
I
रहे
know
हैं.
what I'm doing. I just battled through the last chance qualifier. I'm working my way through the World Championship competitors now too to try to fight for a spot on day 2 in the final.
क्या लग रहा है कौन जीतेगा? मुझे लग रहा है लोमेरो टाई करेगा। लोमेरो है 23 की। बताओ भाई चैट में एक बार। आज थोड़ी एनर्जी नेक्स्ट लेवल रखेंगे, पहली स्क्रीन पर तो रखेंगे लोमेरो या फिर 2-3
against the Lickitung, which should technically be a counter. I don't know if the wall
देखेंगे
range
सेट
got too
वगैरह
many
के भी
power
कोड आएंगे
snows ahead, or because the Lickitung was going for too many body slam baits, but not only won the switch advantage, kept the shields even, and put so much pressure on the Sableye with the Icicle Spear and all that powder snow damage.
Yeah, you know, Lickitung a very strong Pokemon, but Walrein is no joke either. Walrein not even a Pokemon that requires the XL candies to get even higher in his levels, but still very bulky, very strong too, and dishing out
अभी
a
एक ही
lot
कोड
of
आया
damage
हाँ, और
with
वो
those
शायद
powder
सब
snows
कह रहे
generating
सेम है।
quickly those
अगर नहीं टाइम
Icicle
रिसर्च चाहिए तो बता देंगे यार,
against the
यहाँ पर पिन
Lickitung.
कर देंगे,
Lickitung,
एकदम
one of the
देखते रहेंगे
bulkiest
ट्विच पर
Pokemon
बैठे हुए।
lately. Even Lickitung is going to
बाकी
struggle a little bit there.
मेरे
It's
तरफ
not
से
being
तो
empowered.
लोमेरो जा रहा है,
that's
टाई
why
कर रहा है भाई।
Walrein is the king of Open Great League, in my opinion. Probably the best Pokemon there. You see it on both
मजा आएगा मैच
teams.
में, अपने
How
भी
is
साइड कंप्लीट
Iomeru
कर लेंगे
gonna
बीच
deal
बीच में,
with that
मोबाइल
Shadow
क्रैश ना हो
Kanto
भाई।
Ninetales?
बहुत गर्मी है
It
यार,
has
तो
a lot of
गर्मी ज्यादा
neutral
है इधर
matchups, so I think
और मोबाइल
the thing
अपना
23
एंड्रॉइड
EJB
है।
is doing is just trying to position it.
3 स्टार
Just
कुछ
trying
मिला
to
है, वो
find
तो
the
कल
best
वाला था
moments
ना,
for it. Do a little
आज
dancing
वाले में
around,
थोड़ी मिला होगा यार।
hold the weather ball,
यस
use it to
तनवर
win a
हेलो
game. But look at this, it's
कल वाले में
fighter
मिला
v
था ना
fighter,
वो तो।
but one of them has 4 arms,
ओके
but it's a bad
लीड
matchup.
तो मेडिचेम के
just
पास
having more arms
है।
doesn't always help you here, and it is going to be the
Sableye Sivir जो Sableye mirror।
Medicham here, and we actually see
Wow.
a swap
ओके
here. This is a
रजिस्ट्री
very
लगी उनके
interesting
पीछे।
swap now because
क्या रजिस्ट्री नहीं लाना चाहिए
I
था
don't
यार
know how
यहाँ? पता
EJB
नहीं
is going
यार,
to win
रजिस्ट्री नहीं लाना
switch
चाहिए था
advantage here
मचैम
because
के
you're
सामने आ
always going to
जाएगा
be
यार।
behind one
तो
shadow
लोमेरो
clone
जीतेगा
into
लग रहा है
Iomero's
मुझे।
Sableye.
इस स्कोर से क्या मिलेगा? आई थिंक सेम टाइम रिसर्च है, अभी कोई
I
नया
mean, the
नहीं
thing
है।
is though,
अभी
with the
रिडीम करके आया हूँ,
Iomero's
3 स्टार
backline,
भी
it
मिले हैं,
just
कैच
has
3
the
पोकेमॉन तो मिले होंगे ना।
Machamp and Lickitung, so Medicham is
हर्ष,
good against the backline no
चलो हम
matter
भी रिडीम
what.
कर
So
लेंगे,
even
अभी
if
इस
you
मैच के
do
बाद कर
not
लेंगे।
win switch advantage, you
मुझको
can
नहीं पता
probably just
वैसे।
power up punch
कल वाली
through
है
the
ना, टाइम
backline
रिसर्च में या
as the
फिर ऐसे
foul
ही
play
फ्री?
lands, and now this
पता नहीं
foul
मेरे
play for Iomeru is going to get protect shielded. So it looks like EJB
मेरा
does
रहा,
want
हमने
to
बना
have
लिया
alignment.
49.5 का।
Wow, okay, so
Sableye कल ही बना लिया था वैसे, ट्राई नहीं कराया, ट्राई करेंगे बाद में।
there too, not wanting to risk any
बना के रख
damage
दिया
here,
हमने।
but now we have the Lickitung that could probably finish us off, or maybe you come in with the Machamp.
Shield
Machamp, even though
down
throwing
है।
resistant counters are still going to really
और-
chunk down even the Sableye here.
I mean,
भाई
we
Machamp
can
rock
see,
slide, I think
because we can
Lomeiro
see
जीत
all the
गया यार,
teams
क्या बोलते
that
हो
was a
तुम?
really good call to go for
Liam
alignment
boy,
from 23
hello।
EJB, because if he aligns the
I think
Registeel
भाई
to
ये
Lickitung
तो
and then
Lomeiro जीत
Medicham
गया
into
भाई।
Shadow Machamp, it might be a wrap. We're going to see if Iomeru can do something
बेकार लीड
with
से
a
भी
2
जीत जाएगा
protect
ऐसा लग
shield,
रहा है।
Shadow Machamp in the back.
Yeah, you know, I didn't catch it. Was it
एक
Shadow
rock
Machamp
slide,
running
9
cross
tails
chop and
खत्म।
rock slide, or was there the payback? Because payback
Oh.
will really change things here.
Yeah,
Return को
he
shield कर
needs
लिया
a
गया
little
है।
payback to
अभी
deal
भी
with
एक
the
shield
Medicham,
advantage में
because
है ये
I
पाजी।
do not think
Body
rock
slam
slide
मारने की
or
कोशिश।
cross chop will be enough.
CMP
Finally
पर।
having to throw a body slam, really precise there, right before the foul play was available from 23 EJB's Sableye.
Yeah, you
मैं
know,
भी
I think
redeem
that's
करता हूँ
a
हर्ष
really
अभी,
good call to show
करता
that
हूँ अभी।
return there, negating a
अगर होता
lot
है
of
कुछ तो
damage
पता
that
ही
would have been
जाएगा।
hitting the
I
Lickitung
can't find
there
the
too.
time
Even two
research
shield
code.
with Shadow Machamp may
You can
not be
see
enough.
it.
You might
I have
run
pinned the
yourself in a
chat of
situation
Rituraj
you
bhai.
can't use any shields. Now
Where
here
is
comes
it?
this,
See
the
at the top
Registeel,
of the
and
live
we see an
chat, bro.
immediate counter swap into Medicham when the
Or
Shadow
wait
Machamp
for
comes in here too. And this is going to be really tough because you don't
5
really want to
minutes.
shield these power punches, but it's
I
going
will
to
also
keep
go to
adding
Pokemon Go
more
for
and more
redeeming it
damage to
live.
Medicham, and Medicham is going to
And we will
resist
see
all of the
if
moves
we
on the
get
Shadow
something
Machamp.
new.
And we were trying to see if
This
it has
time.
payback. It does
खतरनाक
not. It's running the
English,
cross
जहर।
chop and the rock slide, so it's going to be forced into a double cross chop here.
अभी यार
The thing,
दिक्कत
it's
हो
just
जाएगी
too much
भाई।
pressure. The cross chop is going to be not very
Wait for
effective. I
5 or
don't
10
think 2
minutes,
cross
Liam
chops
boy.
will knock
I
out
will
a
also redeem
Medicham.
it.
So it looks like this Medicham is going to stay alive, going to keep on
What is
countering
it?
to the Registeel.
Yeah, this Lickitung does have a body
H6MRX
slam ready. Let's see if we can get the body slam off. That would be
RZ3
absolutely
X3.
huge if you could get that to proc. And here comes no. EJB is ready for this Lickitung, and Iomeru is forced to let this go because
भाई
you
वो
don't want to
Registeel
get
को
hit by
क्या धोने
Focus
वाला है ना
Blast
Machamp
or
को,
zapping
5
later
HP का
from the
भी।
Registeel. But this
तो
is
देखना है
so
मेरे
tough.
को।
You're taking so much damage in this process, and look at this.
क्या धोएगा ना
Medicham
वो
putting in
मतलब।
so much work, almost taking out
ये
both the
survive हो
Machamp
जाएगा?
and the
नहीं,
Lickitung as
पता
well.
नहीं
I think
यार।
Iomeru might be
1 HP
conceding
एकदम,
here,
1
understanding
HP।
the situation is
हाँ।
pretty bleak.
Lickitung was desperately trying to lick through. Finally,
And it is the time
got there, but
for
now
the
this
Machamp.
energy just hits a brick wall of Registeel, or a steel wall, I should say.
Machamp था ही
And
नहीं।
pretty
Machamp था नहीं,
dominant
मैंने
once
ध्यान नहीं दिया,
again,
sorry भाई।
2-0
मैंने
by
ध्यान
one
नहीं
of
दिया।
our last chance
मैच
qualifiers
विनर है ये
victors,
हमारा
23
बंदा जो
EJB
है
takes
खतरनाक
it.
खेलने वाला।
Yeah, you know, you love to see it too. 23 for EJP working really hard
23 भाई मचैम पे ध्यान नहीं दिया मैंने यार, मैंने मचैम पे ध्यान नहीं दिया यार, चैट पढ़ रहा था मैंने, ध्यान नहीं दिया मचैम पे, ध्यान नहीं दिया मैंने। कोड रिडीम करते हैं, कोड रिडीम करते हैं। मुझे लगा मचैम्प उसने बचा लिया था यार, 5 या 10 HP, मुझे लगा वो 5-10 HP पेल देगा, 1 क्रॉस सोप 2 क्रॉस सोप। बट सही खेल गया भाई। लेम्बो एक बैक कर सकता था यार, मुझे लग रहा था, पर कोई दिक्कत नहीं। ओके यूज़ करते हैं, आ जाओ, पता चल जाएगा सही है या नहीं है। अभी किंग वगैरह के मैच आज ही होंगे यार, आज तो हैं सबके। जब कोई बढ़िया मैच होगा ना, जब ध्यान देंगे उधर, है ना। अभी तो हम ध्यान नहीं दे रहे यार, पर देंगे। कुछ नहीं मिला, नथिंग भाई। कहाँ स्टार पीस ले रहे हो हर्ष भाई? आई गोट अ बैज, यस यू कैन ओनली रिसीव अ टाइम रिसर्च वंस ब्रो, लेम बॉय। If there will be new time research available, we will provide you the new code as soon as it will be available on the Twitch channel. But currently it isn't available now. I think new code will be available after 2:30 यार, I think। मैं लेके आया हूँ अभी। अभी रिडीम क्या है वो? कल वाला नहीं किया था क्या यार? पता नहीं भाई, वो टाइम रिसर्च मिली होगी आपको, ये वाली टाइम रिसर्च मिली थी क्या? कोड ऑलरेडी रिडीम आ रहा है। अच्छा अच्छा, यही है कोई? अरे कोई नया कोड आएगा बता देंगे भाई, जस्ट गोट इट। ओके व्हाट्स द कोड? द कोड पिन, द कोड इज ऑलरेडी पिंड। यू कैन सी द चैट ऑफ ऋतुराज भाई। QAVH6MXRZ3XU3, but I think it is also giving the same research, nothing new I think, but you can try at least once। हाँ एक मैच ट्राई करते हैं हम। वेट करते हैं यार, अगला मैच के लिए है ना, वेट करते हैं। वाई इट इज नॉट वर्किंग? बिकॉज यू हैव ऑलरेडी रिडीम दैट ब्रो yesterday। यू विल ओनली रिसीव आवर टाइम रिसर्च एंड the name of the time research is team building great league। wait for the second time research, maybe we will receive it after half of the day or don't know about that। मेरी आईडी शायद आज खुल जाए, 30 दिन हो गए, खुली नहीं है। आज नहीं खुलेगी, जिस टाइम पे बैन हुआ था ऋषभ भाई उसी टाइम पे एग्जैक्ट खुलेगी मेरी, तो उस टाइम एग्जैक्ट उसी टाइम पे, या फिर अगले दिन के उसी टाइम पर। हरी भाई ऋतुराज भाई हैं क्या अभी? रिडीम करके देखा? अभी मैच शुरू नहीं हुआ यार। अगला मैच किसका? मेरे को शेड्यूल नहीं के, मेरे पास शेड्यूल नहीं है भाई, आज का शेड्यूल नहीं है भाई। देखता हूँ मैं, एक मिनट। हाँ आज का शेड्यूल नहीं है भाई शायद, अभी वो पड़ा होगा वेबसाइट पे, ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट पे पड़ा होगा। We are waiting for the second match, until then we can complete our battle। Go battle। स्काल्ड से कहो कभी सामने तो आए। स्काल्ड जी हम पहुंच जाएंगे, हम पहुंच जाएंगे। सेकंड मूव आप देखते रह जाओगे। ओके my champ। शील्ड तो करेगा यार ये। नो शील्ड। ओके वापस से। अरे भाई टॉक्सिक रॉक टॉक्सिक रॉक टॉक्सिक रॉक टॉक्सिक रॉक। And the match is over. You can top left now. I think you can top left. I think there is no matter wasting time out here. ओके गुड कैच भाई, कैच तो है, कैच तो है, लैग ही कैच। एक दो एंड जी भाई, जीजीज इवोल्यूशन ने पहले लिख दिया था जीजीज भाई। लेट्स गो एंड द मैच इज ऑलमोस्ट अबाउट टू स्टार्ट। वी आर गोइंग टू ट्विच चैट 228 एक विन के साथ।
Their team.
Right, and rocking the Poke Center t-shirt. I bought the same exact one.
अभी ज़्यादा ध्यान देंगे मैच पे यार।
And against Patrick
फोकस करेंगे थोड़ा मैच पे ज़्यादा।
Which I believe is a Brazilian player.
Yes.
Won one of the Brazilian regionals to make it here today at the World Championships. A talented player. We're going to see what he is running. And the thing is, we've covered on these streams a lot of the North American and some international championships. But a lot of these, some of these other regions like South America, the APAC, we haven't quite seen on stream yet. So I'm extremely curious to what they will bring as we get into the team sheets.
The match is about to start.
I'll start it out with Patrick Albany's team, and it is going to be the Purified Sableye, Shadow Nidoqueen, Medicham, Trevenant, Galarian Stunfisk, and Shadow Walrein.
Yeah, and going at Poke Squark side here too. This is not the first time we've seen it, but we don't see it very often. It's the Tapu Fini with the Shadow Walrein, Lickitung, Talonflame, Shadow Nidoqueen, and Medicham. Now I'm really feeling for you, Butters. We got two trainers here with two shadows, just one shy of your triple shadow prediction here. But we're only on battle number 3 here, so there's still time.
Yeah, they're teasing me a bit, and it's funny because they both have the same exact shadows. The Shadow Nidoqueen, which you see exclusively the Shadow variant, just because of the way Nidoqueen works. You want to get the pressure with the poison jabs and the poison things, so you might as well have that 20% bonus there. So both rocking the Shadow Nidoqueen and the Shadow Walrein, and Tapu Fini Talonflame core, which is happens a lot in Ultra League, but you don't really see it in the Open Great League as much. I'm curious to see how that will play out. It looks like it has a lot of good matchups here. It can deal with the Medicham, the Galarian Stunfisk, the Sableye. It can fight back versus Shadow Nidoqueen, and Walrein only has to really, I guess, worry about the Trevenant and Shadow Nidoqueen.
Yeah, no, definitely. So it is an interesting one too. Have you used Tapu Fini before in Great League?
I have. I'm lucky enough to meet some friends at these events and re-roll some trades and get some Great League Tapus. It's a strong Pokemon.
Yes, it has that water gun fast move pressure there too, which makes it a little bit different from Azumarill. Azumarill, one of the staples of Pokemon Go PvP in Great League. It has the same exact typing with that Water Fairy, but the movesets are quite different. You have Water Gun instead of Bubble, you have Surf instead of Hydro Pump, you have Moonblast instead of Play Rough. So pretty much different across the board in terms of movesets, even though it's the same exact typing and pretty similar coverage. You do have the Ice Beam option for Azumarill where you don't have it on the Tapu Fini. But Tapu Fini is a lot of fun to play, not nearly as bulky as Azumarill, and it is a legendary that you have to trade with a friend to get under that 1500 combat power.
Poke Square तो याद है मेरे को.
Right, I completely agree with you. Similar role to the Azumarill, but different pace. And looks like Lickitung is looking pretty good as well.
Evolution.
It has it's good against the double ghost. Walrein is kind of neutral against Nidoqueen, and like we've seen, if you don't have Power Up Punch on Medicham, Lickitung can do just fine, and it's not terrible versus Galarian Stunfisk. It loses, but often in a soft loss, so maybe you can Water Gun down with Tapu Fini, maybe even Incinerate down with Talonflame. I think Pokespark is looking to be in a pretty good team composition advantage.
Yeah, I believe Pokespark was also the one that used Talonflame quite a bit in the Europe International Championship, so I like sticking with that. And, you know, Talonflame looks kind of unstoppable here. There's no matchup where Talonflame's bad in. It might not always win against all these Pokemon, but it always has ability to beat any of these Pokemon. So we go into our first battle here. We have the Medicham into the Shadow Nidoqueen. Let's see what moveset this Medicham has.
Yeah, but the one thing we didn't get to mention is how good Patrick Albany's Nidoqueen is against Pokespark's team. Doesn't really have a single answer besides the wall rain, so has to stay in with this Medicham here to try to land some Ice Punches or Psychics.
Yeah, and we see going for the first Poison Fang, it is going to be no shielded by Pokespark. Pokespark going for that Ice Punch after building up to that Psychic. You have to respect it, and here we see the first shield from Patrick Albany here. And now I wouldn't be surprised if we see a swap here. No, stays in and is going to keep throwing these Ice Punches, and it is going to be charge move priority here going to the Nidoqueen.
Yeah, throwing right on charge move priority like you mentioned, and getting the Protect Shield because looks like Pokespark just wants to try to get 2 Protect Shields out of the Shadow Nidoqueen, and we have seen that Shadow Nidoqueen can survive this. So can it survive this and go for the complete Poison Jab down? I think it can, but it's going to be very low health, so a pivot happens, swaps into Sableye, met by the Shadow Nidoqueen.
Yeah, I think it was almost a simultaneous swap there too, which is very unfortunate for Pokespark because this is going to be a great matchup for the Sableye here. You have to land this Earth Power to stand a chance. Pokespark going to let this foul play go. Still might be able to land the Earth Power here, but it might get shielded as well.
Yeah, and decides to go for it, and huge shield by Patrick the Albany to now be in a position to Shadow Claw down and get some momentum on Sableye, maybe even before the Nidoqueen gets to a Poison Fang.
Yeah, and that's a huge farm down without even landing the Poison Fang here. I think it's a really great decision for Patrick the Albany to shield that Earth Power, because now getting a lot of energy on the Sableye, even though down a shield, can probably get a shield back. And here comes the Shadow Wall Ring. Shadow Wall Ring has to respect all these moves. It is going to be a foul play, even though foul play will put the Shadow Wall Ring quite low.
Yeah, and got to return energy, so might force the last second Protect Shield. And it does. Pokespark throws it up, and it has to throw energy. No, swaps on the Medicham to catch the foul play to try to win this game with the Shadow Wall Ring.
I think Medicham
जीत जाएगा. Clean swap there too, but unfortunately you saw the deal with this Medicham that's full health here. And that's going to be a really uphill battle, getting as much energy as possible, actually bring in the Shadow Nidoqueen to potentially catch a move there.
Medicham!
This is going to be interesting. The Wall Ring has almost 100 energy, maximum energy, and even against the Medicham that's weak against the fighting too, it has a lot of moves they can throw at it.
Is this possible? If you triple Icicle Spear, or if you Icicle Spear Earthquake, I don't know if triple Icicle Spear will do it. Medicham just has so much bulk. There's one Icicle Spear. What triple might do it? This is going to be really close in the end, Caleb.
Yeah, and it's going to be a power punch. Medicham going for this Earthquake instead of the double Icicle Spear on charge from priority. Is this enough to take out the Medicham from the Shadow Wall Ring? And it is not. Medicham still gets a power punch off, and I don't know if this is enough to KO. It is the Shadow Wall Ring here.
And you might be out of range of Powder Snow, so it's going to be a fast move off. 2 counters versus 2 Powder Snows, and looks like they're both going at it in the counter.
Battle another trainer. Win 5 trainer battle
able to take game number 1 as Patrick Albany.
Yeah, you know, Pokespark keeping it really close there too, especially catching that foul play on the Medicham was exactly what he needed to have a chance in this match. A little too late there. I wonder if the triple Icicle Spear was the play. Now, you still get hit with a power punch either way, regardless if you throw the Earthquake or not. But you can do, I believe, a little bit more damage throwing 2 Icicle Spears.
This is the new code,
bro. Earthquake there.
Yeah, I think it would have been enough to knock out the Medicham.
If it works.
I mean, the Sableye did have some health back. I think what Pokespark was worried about is if you keep throwing charge moves, you guarantee that a counter comes through.
Yes.
So it was trying to get less counters coming through by only throwing 2 charge moves instead of 3, but didn't quite have enough. के कारण वोल करना है में लेगेसी मिलता है वो वाइड में लेगेसी instead of a 20% to get that down. But Patrick Albany, one interesting thing about 4-5 Pokemon पे लेगेसी है. I think Pokespark's Lickitung is so good against Patrick Albany. I think that he thought Patrick Albany wouldn't bring Sableye. And Sableye was good against 2 of Pokespark's 3 Pokemon, the Shadow Nidoqueen and the Medicham. So Patrick Albany brought the Sableye anyway and was able to use it to carry him to victory.
Yeah, you know, you're absolutely right there too.
I think Pokespark by draw कर रहा है. मैं पिन करता हूँ
the Talonflame yet.
भाई किसकी तरफ मैं Pokespark की तरफ भाई draw कर रहा है.
There isn't anything that actually beats the Talonflame which shields up. I believe Talonflame has the ability to even win in 2 shield situations.
आज के मैं ज़्यादा तगड़े हो रहे हैं ऋतुराज भाई. तू क्या जल्दी हो रहे हैं सबसे अच्छी बात है.
It may be kind of a shield hog for Talonflame too, so maybe Pokespark is expecting Patrick to expect it, but you know, I keep thinking about what you said yesterday, where our co-caster Gabby said, if you have a good Pokemon, just use it. Like, just use it, you know? Like, it doesn't matter if they have only 1 check to it, you worry about it, or maybe 2, or maybe 0 checks. If it's that good, why not just use it here?
No, I mean, you're right. It's really not threatened by anything. We've seen how good a Shadow Nidoqueen can pressure it with the jabs and the poison things. We did see that in game number 1, but I would have to agree with you. It has amazing matchups. Just bring it. The thing is, I think PokeSpark has a lot of Pokemon with great matchups. Just didn't quite find them in game number 1. So see how he adjusts his lineup, locking in to game number 2 against Patrick E. Albany, which pretty solid win in that game number 1.
Yeah, you know, I think the alignment was a little unfortunate there too. I believe they simultaneously swapped right in that first matchup to the Nidoqueen and the Sableye there, and that unfortunately locked PokeSpark's Shadow
Purified
Sableye into that Sableye, and the Sableye had so much advantage against that Shadow Nidoqueen that just made it too hard to come back from after that. PokeSpark still putting on quite a valiant effort there in the end, but just a little bit fell short there. So we'll see how PokeSpark adjusts for game number 2.
Yeah, and he went for that huge Earth Power, which it seems like almost every Nidoqueen goes for that poison thing bait, but it was a huge call by Patrick Albany to go ahead and shield that Earth Power to take that matchup, and not only take that matchup, but stay so healthy with the Shadow Claw down. And it's just the power of Sableye there. Like you mentioned, is only weak to 1 typing. It's only weak to Fairy, so it's resisting those poison moves, and it just has so much coverage. Some of the best fast moves
यार मैं तो आराम से देखूंगा अरे
भाई
शैडो लोन मैरो कैसा होगा वही तो बोला मैंने शैडो मैरो एक बढ़िया है
it still does quite a bit of damage to those
लेम बॉय कुछ मिला क्या एक्स्ट्रा टाइम रिसर्च
या फिर कुछ ऐसे you kind of have to land that power whip to do anything against the Sableye. The lick damage is not enough.
मैं रिडीम करूंगा इसके बाद ट्राई कर लेंगे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
That's the difficulty part. When you don't have that charm damage, it can be tough, but PokeSpark does have that Tapu Fini. It is going to be able to resist the foul play. Still taking neutral damage from the Shadow Claw, still taking neutral damage from the returns, but it has a little bit better matchup there, and maybe we see a Tapu Fini in this game.
Right, that could be the adjustment. Sableye did so well in game number 1. Maybe you have to bring the answers in game number 2. And I think I did see a piece of data of all the usage of Pokemon so far in this Play Pokemon season. I think Sableye was number 1, so we do need to rename it to Sableye. And Tapu Fini does make its first appearance into a positive lead against Galarian Stunfisk.
Amazing lead for the Tapu Fini.
Tapu Fini lead
swap right away to the
and
Nidoqueen.
well run into
the Shadow Wall right here too, so this is going to be a great start for PokeSpark here too. Having 2 answers for the Tapu Fini in the back for Patrick E. Albany here with the Trevenant and the Shadow Nidoqueen, but can Patrick E. Albany win switch advantage here to make this matchup?
Trevenant will be met by...
Yeah, that was a crucial no-shield. If you no-shield the first poison thing as a wall raid, it means the Shadow Nidoqueen can shield through it. So it looks like maybe that's what Patrick Albany is going to try to do as they go for a charge move priority to throw the fangs to try to get this protection shield out of PokeSpark. Will he give it up to throw the ice whisper? Yes, he wants to get the shield
इसलिए करते हैं तन्मय जिससे टाइमर का वो ना टाइमर अलाइन कर पाए. अगर 1 मिनट भी लेट हो गया ना तो फिर वो टाइमर का एंड में दिक्कत आता है.
It's weak to ice and doing only neutral damage to the poison, but
आज की रिसर्च में कुछ नहीं है यार अभी तक नया. अगर कुछ नई रिसर्च आती तो बताएंगे यार. ये कोड है मैं ट्राई करूंगा इस मैच के बाद. मतलब इस सेट के बाद.
So this is going to be a very tough position.
And the thing is,
also यार 20 लाइक करते हैं स्ट्रीम पे चेक करो लाइक नहीं करा
तो यार. That was a good decision by Patrick Albany and barely holds on to get to the Earth Power. Now this is going to do a ton of damage. PokeSpark is in the opportunity to shield it, but just lets it go.
No shield.
Yeah, I think saving the shield for the Tapu Fini, maybe expecting the Trevenant in the back here too. Going straight away back in the Tapu Fini. Now here's the thing. These water guns are not doing a lot of damage. They are resistant, but water gun damage is still decent here. And going to throw this first C-bomb. This Moonblast is going to put the Trevenant quite low, but is it going to be low enough for it to be in water gun range before the next C-bomb comes out? That is going to be the question here.
I think Tapu can do this. In Great League, Trevenant is not bulky enough. I think Moonblast plus water gun is enough. We're going to see how much this Moonblast can do against the Trevenant.
Oh, damage!
You just need a couple more water guns. Water gun.
Oh
my God!
Big farm down, भाई खतरनाक. एक waterfall.
Superior here, having the water
gun. एक waterfall, भाई खतरनाक match.
Flexing it over.
Square वापसी कर रहा है भाई.
Shield advantage, able to beat
इतना टाइम
a
में देता ग्रेट लीग
Trevenant,
में
which resists all of the water gun damage there, and now throwing the surf. This matchup is completely different now here too.
Okay, rock slide enough नहीं होगा यार, ये होगा, पता नहीं, हो भी सकता है, इतना glass ही है ये.
Rock slide's enough to take out the Tapu Fini.
Yeah, it might be just enough, but you would have to
नहीं है,
always
नहीं है,
not,
नहीं है,
and it
लगा
looks
था
like
मेरे
you might get to a surf if you
और
don't
यहाँ
go
पे
try to
body
swap
slam
the
नहीं
Ziggo
हुए
for
जा रहे
power.
हैं.
They're trying to
Power
go for the
Earthquake,
earthquake at
that
the
was a
same
good
time.
game, 1-1
Power Whip gets
tie.
there a turn before. He's going to
खतरनाक
be able
भाई.
to knock out Patrick E. Albany, and Pokesquark with his Tapu Fini takes game number 2.
विना बैटर वाला टाइम भी चल रहा है, होगा भाई. मुझे लगा था मूनब्लास्ट कम डैमेज था, मैंने अल्ट्रा लीग में ट्राई किया, ग्रेड में मैंने नहीं करा.
World Championship stage.
GG भाई, Square ने करा है भाई, comeback. Comeback भाई.
Feeling comfortable even without the Talonflame here, able to still pull off a win and force a game number 3.
Yeah, you see Pokesquark wipe a little water off his
GG
forehead there,
यार,
maybe caught a little ricochet of those water guns because Azumarill cannot do that. Azumarill can't just come in there and take out the Trevenant and do so
मेरे
much
को
to
कोई
that
टप्पू
Galarian
फिनी
Stunfisk
दिलवा
there.
दो,
Upper
वाटर
shield
डैमेज
Tapu
ब्रो.
Fini
हाँ यार,
was just able to
मेरे पे खुद पता है,
moonblast through that
1989
Trevenant and pretty much
1489 का
finished
पड़ा,
out
मैं वही
that
चला रहा
entire
हूँ.
game. What a
एक
Pokemon
आध बार
weather
चलाया, वही
adjustment.
चलाया.
Now it's 1-1 going into this game number 3, and we still haven't seen the Talonflame yet. The Talonflame is so strong, but we haven't seen it.
मेरा करना है
Let's
भाई.
see. I wonder if the Talonflame is going to come out or not.
और कुछ नहीं पता, सबको टप्पू फिनी का तंजार रहेगा यार. और किसी टप्पू का रहेगा ना
against the Galarian Stunfisk and the Trevenant there too, actually. Patrick Albany really risking not seeing the Talonflame here, but Pokesquark feeling comfortable even not running the Talonflame. And this is going to be interesting. Both trainers bring different Pokemon for both sets of games here too. So let's see, do they double down on their previous winning teams, or do they switch it up here?
Yeah, switching it up a lot, because as I mentioned in Pokesquark's game number 1, very weak to Sableye. But then game number 2, triple good to Sableye, running the Tapu Fini, the Lickitung, and Walrein. They can all handle Sableye okay. So does that scare off the Sableye from Patrick Albany in game number 3? What will Pokesquark run? Will he bring the Talonflame? He can bring so many options. That's the crazy thing. Like, I don't even know. I feel like you have so many options. What do you even bring?
Yeah, you do have a lot of options here too. And Pokesquark losing the switch advantage against the Shadow Nidoqueen.
टप्पू फिनी, Talonflame और Lickitung अगर आ गया तो क्या मजा आएगा देखने में. हालांकि परफेक्टली टीम पर मजा तो है.
And honestly, it was a great play in my opinion, because if you look at Patrick E. Albany's team, what can beat the Tapu Fini down a shield?
Fairy type का highest वाला.
It's pretty much only the Shadow Nidoqueen, and I don't even know if the Shadow Nidoqueen can or can't there, especially without shields. I think it was a really smart play from Pokesquark, understanding that matchup and knowing, you know what? Yes, I'm gonna get hit by one Seed Bomb, or I had to shield Seed Bomb, but I'm gonna get to that Moonblast and Water Gun down this Trevenant. There's no other. That's about the worst matchup we could get once the Shadow Nidoqueen's out of the picture.
Yeah, exactly. The Shadow Nidoqueen was out of the picture as well, because brought it in against that Walrein and double shielded it to get the switch advantage. Like you mentioned in the match, it's kind of crazy. If that Shadow Walrein
मैंने भी कंप्लीट नहीं करी है और नई टाइम रिसर्च आई नहीं है. जिन्होंने कर लिया उनको भी नहीं मिल रही है, तो टेंशन फ्री है.
And I thought, oh wow, now Patrick Albany has the alignment. That's probably his game to win. Gonna match up the Galarian Stunfisk versus the Lickitung, the Trevenant versus the Tapu. But I think you're completely right. Nothing down a shield
Draining किस तो कम डैमेज देता है ना सर.
Tapu Fini here, not even the Shadow Nidoqueen.
Dazzling Gleam कम देता है.
You know, especially when there's no shields, right? If there's a shield remaining, that's a little bit difficult. But if it's 1-0 shield advantage, that's going to put that
fighter को कुछ भी पड़ जाए खत्म है यार वो great.
That super effective surf is going to hit that ground typing Nidoqueen quite hard as well, especially the Shadow variant. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tapu Fini again. We are going into game number 3 here, and we have the Shadow Walrein.
Okay, the final match 1v1.
Not a great
स्कोर है अभी तक का. एंड लीड मिली है ओपी. स्क्वायर को थोड़ा लक बेकार चलता हुआ.
His own Shadow Nidoqueen. Looks like Medicham is going to stay in and try to go for a Psychic, because there's no clear answer in the back for this Nidoqueen.
Yeah, you know, we have a kind of it's just a little bit of role reversal from the first match, where Pokesquark didn't have a great answer to the Shadow Nidoqueen, and now Patrick E. Albany not having one too. And it's going to be a big shield ball here. Is it going to be? And it's going to be shield the Psychic. That's absolutely huge.
And I think that lets Pokesquark know there is no power-up punch. So no ice punch. Swapping into the Trevenant here, but look at all this pressure already. It just got into the matchup. It's already taken so many jabs, and now the Poison Fang.
Yeah, and let's not forget the Medicham is actually about half health at this point too. Even the Shadow Walrein could do quite a bit of work if it has energy. And this Seed Bomb is going to come out here, but look at the Trevenant. It's so low on health. It came in after the Shadow Nidoqueen and already has lower health than the Shadow Nidoqueen.
Talonflame.
There might be a farm down here.
Sweep
probably
karo
by
bhai,
the wall
sweep.
ring, but maybe even by the Talonflame instead.
Yeah, and that C-Bomb was just
Let's
barely
go.
enough, and here it is. It's the Talonflame. Gets the
Ek
one Incinerate
Incinerate.
there, knocks out the
Kya makhan chal
Trevenant.
raha hai
And
inka game,
the
yaar?
thing is, there's just a 2 Protect Shield, Shadow Nidoqueen in the back, and you have alignment. So you're gonna
Talonflame
come
rampage
in
pe bhai.
here with the Nidoqueen. You're going to put a lot of pressure on, and the Talonflame's just deciding to stay in.
Yeah, and we see the flame charge actually come out here too. With 2 shields remaining,
I think Square nikal jayega yaar. Pata nahi kyun yaar.
Dip out, but no, Patrick Albany not
Damage,
shielding
yaar.
the flame charge. What a big no shield.
Going for a 2 shield Metacham. I mean, this Nidoqueen is still has some health remaining.
Agar ye Brave
No
Bird hota.
shield on this poison thing, but had to swap off the debuff immediately, trying to get the powder snows to add up. And we know this is a power-up punch Metacham, so it's going to be able to just counter through this wall rain.
Yeah, this is Shadow Wall Ring, so it's not nearly as bulky as the non-Shadow variant, but it still has quite a bit of health remaining, so you're going to have to throw these power punches right away to really add up this damage without having to worry about another Icicle Spear.
And here comes the
गलत
first
भाई, वो
power-up
Poison
punch.
Fang पे
Shadow
खेला
Wall
जाएगा
Rain
सारा.
lets it go.
सारा
It's just
Poison
feeling
Fang पे
the
खेला
heat
जाएगा.
from these counters. It's going to be able to get to one more Icicle Spear. It's going to throw it last second, looks like.
Oh.
There it is, last second Icicle Spear. Does this get the Protect Shield? No. Patrick Albany thinks that this Shadow Wall Rain is in range of one Poison Jab.
Yeah, you know, I think that was actually, let's see how that play plays out, but I think that was
Poison,
actually
double
a really
Poison
smart
Fang.
play from Pokesquirk here too. Now being
Fast
able to
move damage,
incinerate down
Talonflame
this
ka.
Nidoqueen, and you see
Let's
Nidoqueen
go,
not able to get to
Square,
another
Square
move
nikal
there
gaya,
too.
bhai.
Still having shields on both sides.
Let's
that was actually a really
go.
smart play from Pokesquirk. Pokesquirk
Let's go,
leading
bhai.
the show, walling with that
Talonflame, bhai.
health as possible.
Talonflame.
So you either
Underrated
do one of
Great
two
League
things.
Pokemon,
Either
bhai.
one, the Metacham shields the Icicle Spear, and then you can farm down the Metacham shield and have a move ready for that Nidoqueen, or you leave the health so low that the Shadow Nidoqueen cannot have enough time to farm down the Shadow Wall Rain. It will not possibly get to 2 Poison Fangs, and then you can incinerate down the Talonflame. Really well played from Pokesquirk.
Absolutely. Pokesword finally decided
Pokegod
to utilize
ऊपर
that
पिन है भाई,
Talonflame for
G70W,
literally the last moment
512
possible,
CK,
and incinerates
FTW.
through that final matchup against Shadow Nidoqueen. Like you mentioned, just was not healthy enough to get the poison jab damage there. So Pokesword takes that 2-1 against Patrick Albany. And wow, I mean, another different core. Now we see the impactfulness of a Tapu Fini up a shield. I mean, 1495 CP too. I'm a little bit jealous. Got a really good trade out of it.
आई थिंक सेम टाइम रिसर्च मिलेगी यार इससे. कुछ डिफरेंट नहीं है आई थिंक. पता नहीं. पॉइजन फैंग क्यों मारना था? एक इंसिनरेट और अंदर चला जाता ना. अगर पॉइजन मारता तो एक इंसिनरेट जाता. वहाँ जीतने के चांस नहीं थे क्योंकि उस पर शील्ड थी. 2 शील्ड थी शायद, और है ना. भाई मैच तो क्रेजी था यार. क्या बोलते हो भाई? क्या कमबैक किया है भाई स्क्वायर. भाई मैं जानता हूँ यार, इस बंदे को जानता हूँ. मैं देखा था इसको, ट्विच पे भी है शायद. ये ट्विच पे बहुत तगड़े तगड़े हैं यार प्लेयर. यूट्यूब पर इतने नहीं है. बहुत तगड़ा खेलते हैं. है गलत हो गया क्या? G7DW52L CK LCK F है यार. I think it is also the same. I think यार it is also the same. Yes. Just the same भाई. No matter of redeeming it. I think. The match was crazy यार. मजा आया. मैच क्रेजी था भाई. अभी एक मैच खेलते हैं, उसके बाद देखेंगे, है ना. मिरर यार ये मैंने थोड़ा सा गलती कर दी है, मैंने बैक टू बैक थ्रो करने थे। साउंड वगैरह आ रहा है तो मैं गेट लगा दूंगा, बताना। लेट्स गो बिग। सेम भी तो नहीं है, एक मूव पीछे लग रहा है मेरे को। ओके, डबल सील्ड डाउन। कोमो विल गो टू द टाउन। मजा आएगा अभी, मजा आएगा अभी, मजा आएगा, मजा आएगा, मजा आएगा, मजा आएगा। CMP आइस पंच कैच करेंगे हम, 1 2 3। नहीं कर पाए। आइस पंच कितना डैमेज देगा? अच्छा खासा डैमेज देगा। सेम टाइप बोनस नहीं है वैसे, बट अच्छा डैमेज देगा। देखो डैमेज, हकामो। ओ मैच तो खतरनाक है यार ये। मेरे को सेम लीड यार सही में खेलने में थोड़ा दिक्कत होता है। सेम खेलने में सही में दिक्कत होता है यार। CMP, लेट्स गो, लेट्स गो बिग CMP भाई, जीत गए भाई। लेट्स फ्रिकिंग गो भाई। आईवीज 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 मदद कर रही है भाई। लेट्स गो, लेट्स गो। ओ भाई, व्हाट्स द कोड? द कोड आई हैव ऑलरेडी पिन द कोड ब्रो। यू कैन सी द चैट ऑफ ऋतुराज भाई। G7DW512, but you will not receive anything new bro. It's just the medal. भाई वहाँ ऐड वगैरह चल रही है, किंग का इंटरव्यू चल रहा है भाई अभी। और इंस्टिंक्ट भाई ओपी। अभी वहाँ तो किंग का इंटरव्यू चल रहा है। अगर मैच स्टार्ट होता है तो मजा आएगा, अगर किंग का है तो और मजा आएगा। पूरी एनर्जी के साथ देखेंगे भाई मैच, ठीक है ना? एनर्जी के साथ है मैच देखना है भाई। ऋतुराज भाई जी। लीड बहुत ही घटिया, बहुत ही उम्दा घटिया लीड मिलती हुई आज हमको पूरे दिन। मतलब तीसरा मैच है, लगभग तीनों में बेकार लीड मिली है शायद। लगभग पहले में अच्छी थी यार, पहले में अच्छी थी। ओके, शील्ड करेंगे, थ्रो करेंगे यार, है ना? इनफ होगा क्या? ये होना तो चाहिए, इतनी कम डैमेज नहीं होनी चाहिए इसकी। एक्सीजर, ओके सील्ड मिल गई हमको। बहुत सील्ड डाउन भाई, बंदा दोनों सील्ड डाउन है भाई। आइस पंच ना हो, एक और आइस पंच पड़ जाएगा फिर। स्काल्ड है, ठीक है। बंदा दोनों सील्ड डाउन है। हमारे पास एक वो भी स्टोर्ड है यार, मडबॉम्ब भी स्टोर्ड है यार अपना। अबे यार, CMP अच्छा जीता था वो। कामो कर दे, टकामो कर दे उसका यार। ओके 1 डाउन। सब कुछ आ जाएगा ये फास्ट टैप पे यार। आई थिंक वो जीत गया, आई थिंक ये वो यार। एक और, अरे भाई यार जी यार, अच्छा जीता। ओ किंग का मैच स्टार्ट हो रहा है भाई, लेट्स गो किंग। अरे भाई किंग आईवी, लेट्स गो, आ जाओ भाई किंग आईवी। जी बट भाई अब अभी मौका है भाई किंग को देखने का भाई, लेट्स गो। डाल दूं क्या भाई, डिस्कॉर्ड पे डाल दूं क्या? किंग का मैच है भाई, आ जाओ सब।
Super weak to Steel, weak to
Let's
Fairy
go.
as well too, so kind of a risky Pokemon to bring. You have King IV, 3 Pokemon very strong against Altaria there.
मैं डालता हूँ डिस्कॉर्ड पे डालता हूँ।
Both trainers are locking in. We're gonna get straight into the battles here. We have
स्टार्ट
King
होता हुआ यहाँ
IV
पे
versus
किंग
JB Yang.
विद ट्रेवेनेंट। लीडो अच्छी मिली है, किंग को अच्छी मिली है यार।
in the first battle.
And this is a pretty neutral matchup. It looks like King is running X-Scissor, not Felstinger. So you go straight for X-Scissors here, and you have to, oh wow. It looks like JB Yang was trying to go for a Seed Bomb bait, but the X-Scissor got there first. If it's Seed Bomb, it's double resisted.
Yeah, and so Seed Bomb, this could be a big no-shield here too. King IV is going to respect the potential Shadow Ball and is going to shield this Seed Bomb here too. You know, I could have guessed that maybe King IV would let that move go through, but look at the precision here, throwing the X-Scissor right on charge from priority, but actually catching the X-Scissor on the Metasham. Actually a really great read from JB Yang there too, knowing that King IV would have the X-Scissor but wouldn't throw it until
he had the
Shadow Ball.
Right, and
King
loses
King
का
आज सारे मैच खतरनाक जा रहे भाई।
One of the few Pokemon it does
Okay,
lose
drill
to,
run.
and now this drill run is going to be coming out. Forces a protect shield. Wow, Shadow Beedrill not only
King
took a lot out of
भी है
Trevenant, look, it took another protect shield out of Metacham, and
मैच तो खतरनाक होने वाला है।
70% of its health.
बट दिक्कत ये है, अभी मेडिचैम दिक्कत है। अभी मेडिचैम बड़ी दिक्कत है
great answer to this Metacham, but does still
अभी
have the
मेडिचैम
shield
दिक्कत
remaining.
है।
It has a
डायनेमिक
lot
पंच
of
तो नहीं
health
होगा।
on this Galarian Stunfisk. I think
कम
this
लोग
is a
चलाते
really
हैं
great
डायनेमिक
call from
पंच यार,
Yoshida.
स्पाइस
Unless it's a dynamic punch, the Galarian
एक rock
Stunfisk
slide
can
enough
handle
होगा क्या?
most of these charge moves from the Metacham. It's going to build up a lot of energy here now and just building up even more energy, expecting maybe the Ice Punch to land before being able to throw this Earthquake.
And the goal here from King is to get this Metacham within Rock Slide range. How does he do that? He wants the Rock Slide and not have to use all that energy.
Okay, that's
here
enough
comes the Rock Slide. This is
अभी देखो वेलरन को रॉक स्लाइड
Metacham is so
पड़ेगा अगर
bulky.
सेम
I'm not
पे आ
sure
रहा था।
if it's gonna
ट्रेवेनेंट
be
पे
enough.
एनर्जी थी
It's
आई
gonna
थिंक
be
अगर मैं
super
गलत
close.
हूं तो।
It's not enough. You might have to get out of here.
अरे वेलरन पे कैच करता हुआ भाई किंग आईवी ओपी
Catches
भाई।
a double resisted Ice Punch on the
गलत भाई,
Shadow
गलत।
Wall Rain. What a calculated play. The Galarian Stuff is still having energy
गलत
here
भाई,
too,
गलत।
and Wall Rain being very strong, especially
Okay,
when shields are
Velrun.
down. And here
Shadow
comes
into Shadow.
JB Yang's Wall Rain
Sableye
here
के पोगन
too.
है ब्रो
Now,
यूज करके
King
मजा आ गया,
IV's Wall
बहुत
Rain
प्यारा है।
has his shield
पहले मेरे को
remaining,
भी
so
अच्छा
this
लगता
is
था
going to
भाई।
be a really great
कैच
spot.
देगा
JB
भाई,
will have
क्या
to bait
बात
out
है
a
भाई।
shield here in order to have a chance in this
JB भाई
matchup.
को
And we
भाई
saw
परफॉर्मेंस
earlier,
प्रेशर आ रहा है
JB
भाई, ये
Yang
तो
was
किंग ही
willing
आ
to
गया
go
मेरे
for
सामने
a
भाई।
double resisted bait. Will he do it
खतरनाक
again with
डैमेज
the Ice
यहाँ पर
Whisper?
आती है।
No. This
अर्थक्वेक आ रहा
time
है।
he switches it up. He goes straight
क्या
for the
अर्थक्वेक शील्ड
Quake.
होगा?
Can
क्या
King
अर्थक्वेक यहाँ
call
पर
it?
शील्ड होगा?
Will
मोमेंट
he
ऑफ ट्रुथ
call
शील्ड होगा या
his
नहीं?
most impactful bait?
शील्ड
No,
नहीं,
the Earthquake goes
एंड दैट
through
वाज अ
and knocks out
बूम।
the Shadow Wall Rain.
But
Nice
Stunfisk has the
earthquake
energy
goes
enough.
through here, but going to farm up to 2 rock slides here, and
Velrun
unfortunately
जीतता
the
हुआ यार।
Icicle Spear is going to come out first here. We do see the
Velrun
last
जीत
shield
रहा है
coming
भाई।
out from King IV.
Velrun,
Now,
I think
can King's
JBY जीत गया यार।
Galarian Stunfisk get to a rock slide in time for that Trevenant? This is going to be charge room priority, so not able to get off enough.
एक टैप और नहीं हो पाएगा यार। आई
energy
थिंक
for another
ट्रेवेनेंट
rock slide right away,
फेल
but you
देगा।
probably can't even
पर
risk it
मुश्किल
because
है
the
यार।
Power Snow is going to take you
And I
out.
think Trevenant has energy, and there it
हाँ,
is.
लग रहा
The
था,
Seed
लग रहा
Bomb is available, throwing it against the Galarian Stunfisk
GG's
to
भाई,
take
मस्त
out
खेला भाई
King.
बंदा।
And game
GG
number
भाई।
1, JB Yang wins it.
Wow, JB Yang find the only win condition there is
होगा भाई,
going
comeback
for
होगा
that
भाई।
Earthquake and hoping that King IV does not shield. If JB Yang, I think, played it any differently there,
हाँ
King
हाँ
IV would
होता है
win
होता
that
है।
matchup
पिछले बार भूल
because
गए आप ऋतुराज भाई?
if he baits
जब
with the
बिल्कुल
Icicle Spear,
लूजर
King IV
राउंड
should
से
still
भाई
reach
लूजर
their
ब्रैकेट से
Icicle
जीता
Spear
था।
before
लूजर
JB
ब्रैकेट जीता,
reaches
फिर
the
उसमें आया
Earthquake.
नॉर्मल वो जीता, फिर फाइनल में जिसने उसको हराया उसको हराया था। कुछ भी हो सकता है भाई, कुछ भी हो सकता है। सब खतरनाक खिलाड़ी हैं यार यार। अपने में सब खतरनाक हैं। जी भाई ओपी मैच। आई थिंक वो वेलरन ने जो CMP जीता एंड में वही खेल खत्म।
Earthquake, and King thought if you did it once, you'll probably do it again. No shields it, but the difference was that Shadow Walrein was in range of Earthquake because he did make that amazing swap to catch the Ice Punch, and JB Yang's Shadow Walrein was not in range of Earthquake.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there too. What a calculated play by JB Yang, and that's one of the situations where really experienced players recognize their win condition.
मैं यार आज रुमाल लेके ही बैठूंगा यार ऋतुराज भाई, रुमाल लेके साफ करता रहूं, गीला हीट नहीं होने यार आज ऐसे करेंगे जैसे हम बाहर हों। कमबैक होगा क्या बोलती है पब्लिक?
How many options do we have? And there's only
यहाँ से कौन कमबैक कर
one
रहा
win
है
condition there, and
और कौन जा रहा है
JB
लूजिंग
found it
ब्रैकेट
and
में,
played it out perfectly.
लूजर्स
Yeah,
ब्रैकेट
the
में।
precision we have from these trainers and the plushies. Those are some nice plushies on stage as well, as these trainers are going to be adapting for game number 2. And I was
जैसे वो जीता था स्क्वायर पोकी स्क्वायर ऋतुराज भाई, ऐसा हो जाए मजा आ जाएगा, अभी हो जाए और ज्यादा लंबा ना जाए अभी। किंग कमबैक यार मैं भी चाहता हूँ।
Win that one shield matchup no matter what, because it just goes straight X scissors with his neutral with the poison jab damage, and look how much it took out of the meta champ. That Shadow Beedrill was super impactful. How does King set it up for game number 2?
Incredible plays from both trainers there too. JB King IV throwing the X scissor on CMP on the Shadow Ball every single time against JB Yang. Recognizing that and choosing not to swap and try to catch an X scissor, but choosing to swap and catch an X scissor after there was enough energy for it, because expecting King to throw it again on
20 लाइक करते हैं यार, 20 लाइक क्रॉस करते हैं यार इस मैच के एंड होते हैं।
very
आ जाओ।
experienced players can only pull off.
Yeah, the precision is on point. And once again, the Beedrill is on point because it is the lead here for King. And staying in this match, I was trying to swap.
Okay, Icicle
once again, if you throw an ice move, I'm going to catch it on my Shadow
King
Walrein.
Dude, this is incredible.
जीत रहा भाई, ये तो जीत है यार, कोई नहीं भाई, ये जीतना है भाई King।
At the Icicle Spear, JB Yang
भाई
has
दोनों पे
more
बहुत
than
प्रेशर हो
energy
गया।
for Icicle Spear, so King IV just has to go by just pure field there and catching the Icicle Spear even when there was more than enough energy for it, and now going
Moment
for
of
bait
truth.
here, and let's see if King IV does
यार,
shield up
मुझे
here,
लगा था
and
नहीं
that's
करेगा
a
सील
tough
यार इस बार,
situation,
पता
right?
है।
Because you got hit by the Earthquake last game, you don't want to make the same mistake again, and that's where those mind games
Shield
start
कर
really
लिया
adding up.
भाई,
You see
बंदे का
JB
गोल देखा,
respecting
लेफ्ट वाले का भी
Earthquake
अच्छा गोल
and
है
going
भाई,
for the
शील्ड
instant
कर लिया
shield here.
उसने।
Yeah, once again, JB Yang going for the
कैसे
bait
अच्छा था
early
ना?
in the game. Maybe he'll switch it up late game as well. Is he going to go for the Earthquake here, or is he going to double bait? It looks like he's finally going to commit to the Earthquake. And now this is such a tough call. In the shield. There we go. King calls that shield correctly. But the thing is, you still have to throw an Earthquake to finish off this Walrein, I believe.
You go for Earthquake, you actually see the meta champ actually swaps in here. Now
अलाइन कैसे करेगा
these are
King देखना।
interesting plays because these
एक और
switch
आइसिकल
counters
मारेगा
get
बट वो अलाइन कर
misaligned
देगा
more
वापस से
and more
बीड्रिल को
with
उसके
every
ऊपर ही
single
देगा।
swap here.
या फिर
Now
स्टंप
we
इसको
see
जो भी है।
the
हाँ,
Beedrill
नहीं,
coming back in
बीड्रिल।
here. Now there is no shields on
ठीक
the
है, ड्रिल
Beedrill side
नंबर
here,
1
but Beedrill
इनफ होगा,
has
आई
a
थिंक इनफ
lot
होगा
of energy
कि
here
केओ
to
करेगा
expend.
यार।
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't take a psychic from the meta
Shield
champ,
okay,
and now
OP
no
shield.
one has a protect shield. But the thing is,
Winners-
I think
अच्छा,
we'll get
winners
to the
round
next
2 है
drill
ना
run
ये?
or the next X scissor right as the
ओ
psychic
CMP
comes
पे
out.
throw
I
कर रहा है
do
भाई,
believe
King
the
on
meta
fire लग रहा है
champ
मेरे
will
को।
be able to
King on
survive
fire इस
this
बार।
to land the psychic though.
Yeah, but
Enough
this
है,
is
enough
so tough, 'cause now King
KO
IV
के लिए
can
तो नहीं है,
farm
but
down this
damage
meta
काफी
champ,
रहेगा यार।
unless there's going to be a big undercharge here, which I don't
Psychic?
think you can even risk here, going straight for the full on
भाई दिक्कत हो सकती है,
psychic damage.
registry
But
ले यार
now
पीछे।
King IV's might feel
कैसे-
pretty good
कैसे-
because now you
कैसे?
can shield, you can farm down this
कैसे
meta
होगा?
champ with probably the
दिक्कत
Glare
में भाई
Stuff come
King
out with
वैसे
a
दिक्कत
lot of
में
energy.
खेल
Which
अच्छा रहा है पर
Pokemon
दिक्कत
do
में
you
भाई
choose? You know you can go for the mud
बहुत
shots, but you
ज़्यादा।
might have to take an ice punch, and it looks like that King
Okay,
does want
energy,
to go for the
1
mud
2
shots. It
3
probably will have to take an
4
ice punch.
5
No,
okay।
the mud shots are enough. Now this Galarian Stunfisk has a lot of energy. We know that Walrein has a little bit of energy, and look, Registeel in the back doesn't want any part of these earthquakes.
Yeah, and this
Catch.
is the thing with
Catch नहीं कर पाया।
one of the strongest Pokemon.
हो सकता है कुछ भी हो सकता है, अभी कुछ भी हो सकता है, बड़ा क्लोज चल रहा है भाई मैच। बंदा कितना काम है लेफ्ट वाला यार, यहाँ कोई किंग के सामने बैठा हूँ भाई, हम जैसा उसकी हालत खराब हो जाएगी। क्या भाई छोड़।
Registeel is the focus blast enough to take out this Galarian Stunfisk.
Focus blast
JB's going to try
करेगा
and
ना?
see and find out.
Now it's Walrein versus Walrein. I don't know if this will be enough, but I think it's barely going to knock out. It does. The Focus Blast takes out, and now Walrein not only has to finish off this Registeel, but has to beat the Walrein as well. Swap into Walrein. Here comes the Earthquake. This Earthquake will easily knock out, but the problem is King has no time to get to another Earthquake.
But क्या King एक और Earthquake पहुंच पाएगा Focus Blast से पहले? It is the race for the Focus Blast. और Earthquake क्या ये enough होगा? क्या ये enough होगा? ये enough नहीं है. King ने यहाँ पे दिखाया enough नहीं है भाई ये. I think ये enough नहीं होगा, but damage अच्छी है. Lock on और ये match 1 HP heartbreaking match यार तो King यार.
2-0 victory over King IV. What a close set of battles.
Wow, and the focus flash finishes off that shadow wall raid there, and JB Yang takes
भाई ये next round में गया भाई. King वापसी करेगा, उम्मीद करते हैं.
Really impressive play by JB Yang. I mean, just from the way he's playing the poker game with the baits.
अरे भाई ऐसे नहीं यार, अभी वो वापस ही करेगा पिछले बार. ये किसका कोड है रिसर्च का? पुरानी रिसर्च का है तो. आ रहा है कैन यू चैंपियन, अभी बाहर थोड़ी होंगे ऐसे.
Yeah, very, you know, even though it's a 2-0 victory there too, those were two really close battles in both of those from both trainers there too. Honestly, there was so much going on there. There's so much high-level cerebral plays from both trainers, and the most impressive part is
अभी तो होगा, ऐसा नहीं है कोई बाहर हो जाएगा भाई. वो भी बाहर नहीं हो रहे जो क्वालिफायर खेल रहे हैं. एक मैच हारने मतलब एक सेट हारने पे कोई बाहर नहीं हो रहा है. उम्मीद करते हैं कमबैक होगा. जी अच्छा मैच खेला, दोनों अच्छा खेले, पर आई थिंक बी ड्रिल थोड़ा डैमेज और होता है यार. बी ड्रिल पे अगर ऋतुराज भाई ये कुछ ये होता ना, बग बस टाइप मूव होता. किंग था उसके सामने जब इतना तगड़ा खेला है, बहुत खतरनाक मैच जाने वाले. ऐसा ना हो हमारे सारे जो हैं राइज किंग्स इंडी सब जो हमारे जान पहचान के सब बाहर. पोक स्क्वायर को ये बंदे फाइनल में जो भी अभी था भाई, बहुत ओपी मैच था यार. मैच तो ओपी था. मैं एकदम इसलिए देखता रहता हूँ यार. देख रहे हो आज बहुत जल्दी मैच करा रहे हैं ऋतुराज भाई. कल तो इस टाइम शुरू हुए थे 3 बजे के बाद. हाँ भाई कल बहुत लेट शुरू किया था. इतना रैंक कैसे बढ़ा लिया, यही कब खेल रहा हूँ मैं. बहुत गलत मूव है ये, वैसे देखा जाए ना बहुत गलत मूव है, बट अगर उन्हें शील्ड नहीं करा तो अच्छा मूव है. शील्ड करा उसने, इट इज़ अ बैड मूव यार. बैक टू बैक जाना चाहिए था, मैंने गलत खेला ये मैच. आई थिंक माइनस जा रहा हूँ मैं माही इस बार. मुझको तो ऐसा लग रहा है मैं माइनस जा रहा हूँ इस बार. आई थिंक आई एम गोइंग नेगेटिव 2500 के नीचे. हाँ सही कह रहे हो, एक मिसप्ले नहीं दिखा यार. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही, बिल्कुल सही. मिसप्ले नहीं किया उन्होंने बिल्कुल भी. एक मैच में लीड अच्छी मिली थी उसको, एक में किंग को, और एंड में न्यूट्रल ही था शायद से. कोमो ना दिख जाए यार. अबे यार कोमो भी यूज कर रहा है यार ये हरामी यार. अबे यार कोमो भी यूज कर रहे हैं बंदे. राइज का टीम यूज कर रहा. सेबलाई वाला सेबलाई वाला कौन सा याद दिलाओ पाजी, हमें भी याद दिलाओ. खत्म है मैच भाई. बंदे डबल कोमो लाएंगे तो अपना ऋतुराज भाई कुछ नहीं हो रहा, अपने पे नहीं है. इस पे पावर अप आ गया क्या इतनी जल्दी? आइस पंच आ गया फिर, बहुत जल्दी आया. अगर आया तो पावर अप है. डबल थ्रो करेंगे. उसे बूस्ट भी नहीं, उसे बूस्ट भी मिलता. अर्ग यार हो, ये क्या हारे हैं यार. हम जीते पड़े थे. अगर ये फार्म डाउन हो जाता, पता है ये फार्म डाउन होता हम जीत गए थे यार. वहां तो भी बातचीत चल रही है यार. क्लोज भाई, क्लोज जाने वाला है मैच, क्लोज जाने वाला है यार. एक टैप रह जाता यार. पहले ये वाला सेट तो पॉजिटिव ले आओ. 2500 पहुंचा ही हूँ, अभी 2400 भेज दोगे क्या? ये मैच जीतना चाहिए भाई. ये मैच जीत गया ना ऋतुराज भाई तो 2600 आज स्ट्रीम पर. ब्रो ना बैटल यार मैं सेट कर रहा हूँ, 50 बैटल है यार. ये मैच जीते जाए यार अगर हम, तो मैं 2600 गारंटी 2600 है भाई. चैट में सुन लो भाई, अगर ये मैच में जीतता हूँ तो गारंटी 2600 आज क्रॉस कर जाएंगे. वैसे कल भी हुआ था ऋतुराज भाई, हम एक मैच पहला सेट हारते, फिर उसके बाद 500 जीत के वापस से 2400 पार हो गए थे। ऐसा हो सकता है आज भी हम 25 ये हार के वापस 2500 पार हो जाएं। वेटरन पे मिला है हेयर बैंड, कुछ मिला है यार भाई, बंदे देखो लेजेंड वेजेंड के बंदे आ रहे हैं। हेयर बैंड वगैरह मिला यार भाई, और अगले पे ड्रेस मिलेगी और उससे अगले पे मोड, और स्टार्ट से ज़्यादा मिलेगा। सबसे बड़ी चीज़ मिल रही वो है सीजन एंड पे। क्या खेल रहा है बंदा, बढ़िया भाई। कब पहुंचे? कल 2460 प्लस छोड़ के गया था, याद है? बस उसके बाद ही एक सेट और था, 2 सेट खेले। हकामो ओ, हकामो ओ, ओ। और भाई हेलो भाई, क्या हाल है आसिफ भाई? आई थिंक राइज का भी मैच जल्दी हो जाएगा, क्या लगता है? राइज का मैच जल्दी हो जाएगा आई थिंक। अगला किसका मैं देख के बता दूंगा, ठीक है? प्राइम पे नेक्स्ट। यार देखो दिक्कत ये है, अभी ना हम पे शील्ड की दिक्कत हो जाएगी। अभी दिक्कत है हम पे शील्ड की, हाँ। उसका एक वो हमें तोड़ देगा यार, उसका एक मडबोम हमारे स्नीजल को ख़त्म कर देगा, पता है? ख़त्म। मेरे को राइज का ही देखना है। हाँ हो तो स्टार्ट। बढ़िया। राइस तो इजी 2-0 जीतेगा। नहीं जीता तो अगर 2-0 तो लेवल 50 बना रहे हो क्या आप? अब यार ये बैक टू बैक है ना जी, शायद बैक टू बैक है ना ये, नो आइडिया। एक और अरे यार दोनों मैच एक मूव से आ रहे हैं हम। वेलकम टू 2400 अगेन। पर हमें 2500 अभी जाएंगे यार, हम देखना, हम 2500 अभी जाएंगे। वहाँ ब्रेक चल रहा है, हम 2500 अभी जाएंगे भाई अगले सेट में। ये तो गलत आ रहे हैं। अरे भाई ऐसे बढ़िया भाई, ये गलत आ रहे हैं। हम वी आर 2498। बट यार ये मेडल अच्छा लग रहा है यार, मेडल अच्छा लग रहा है यार, मेडल प्यारा लग रहा है भाई, प्यारा। टॉक्सिक रॉक लीड बहुत मिल रही है यार। राइज जीता नहीं तो राजा पार्टी देंगे, डन भाई पक्का। मैं भी देख लूँ कैसे खेलते हैं, देख लो भाई। और अभी इसकी चैंपियनशिप चल रही है, वो उनके मैच दिखाएंगे आपको। वर्ल्ड चल रही है अभी। आप क्यों मेरे डस्ट के पीछे पड़े हो यार? पार्टी तो ले नहीं सकते, आपसे दूर रहते हो आप, तो डस्ट के पीछे पड़ना पड़ेगा ना। समझे यार? कोमो, हकामो और पोली रहत, ये टीम है तो आप पहुंच जाओगे आई थिंक एक्सपर्ट इस कप में। आई थिंक पहुंच जाओगे यार, हार्ड काउंटर ना हो तो। सीएमपी मेरा एग्जाम था इसलिए मैंने सारे गेम डिलीट कर दिया, बस मैं भूल गया कौन से में साइन इन किया था। ओके अभी देखना वो मैच दिखाऊंगा। अपना फाइनल मत चल रहे हैं भाई। अभी देखो एक्स्ट्रा लीड ले लिया इसने, ठीक है? आई होप स्लज बॉम्ब ना हो, रहा नहीं जाता। स्लज बॉम्ब ना हो, बच जाएंगे। स्नीजल नहीं, पर रेयर है भाई, बहुत रेयर है। तो अभी बैटल स्टार्ट नहीं हुई है भाई, बैटल स्टार्ट नहीं हुई है भाई। स्नीजलर भाई, स्नीजल नहीं स्नीजलर, देख रहे हो भाई साहब? अभी इसका विन कौन पता है क्या है, ये जीता पड़ा आई थिंक। इसको भाई कुछ नहीं करना, बस मड बॉम्ब मारना है फार्म डाउन करके यार। हाँ यही करना है, यही करेगा ये, यही करेगा ये। और हम हार गए। हम एक मड बॉम्ब भी सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाएंगे क्योंकि ग्लास ही बहुत है ये। स्ट्रीम के लिए कौन सा भाई मैं डिफर करता हूँ दोनों। ओह मैं मतलब कभी भी हंटर, कई बार स्ट्रीम लैब्स, कभी बार आईफोन पर करता हूँ, दूसरा ऐप ऐसा है अपना सीन। जीजी नहीं हुआ अभी। अरे भाई साइमल्टेनियस जीजी भाई, ड्रॉ एंड दैट वाज अ टाई। बहुत सेम टाइप बोनस होता तो हम जीत जाते यार शायद, है ना। मैच शुरू हुआ क्या उनका? अभी नहीं, शुरू नहीं हुआ, अभी तो कमेंट्री चल रही है यार। राजदीप वाइटी हाय भाई। यार ये मेरे को 2500 जाना है यार वापस से। दो पॉइंट ही तो पीछे हैं यार, वेटरन पहुंच गए हैं। इनके मैच शुरू होने वाला है, मेरे को ही देखना है अगला है किसका यार, पता तो चले। मैं कमेंट्री सुन नहीं रहा हूँ तो पता नहीं यार कितनी घटिया लीड मिल रही है। एंड्रॉयड पे स्ट्रीम करते हो या आईफोन का अमीरी दिखाते हो? भाई दोनों भाई, दोनों पे कर रहा था ना अभी, याद करो। बट अभी इस पे कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि हम टूर्नामेंट भी देख रहे हैं साथ साथ। हर जगह है यार ये पोकेमोन, हर जगह है ये वाला, ये हर जगह है, हर जगह। हाँ ये क्या है, ये न्यू कोड है अगर आपने कल टाइम रिसर्च नहीं ली थी तो। स्ट्रीम लैब्स बोला तो था, उस पर स्ट्रीम लैब्स पे कर लेते हैं, उस पर दूसरे पे कर लेते हैं। स्ट्रीम चैम्प। ओह भाई 20 लाइक क्रॉस करते हैं भाई, कर दो ये, रिडीम कर लो शॉप में जाके अगर कल नहीं करा था तो भाई। कौन सा पोकेमॉन लूं मतलब क्या रिडीम होगा? टाइम रिसर्च मिलेगी अगर कल नहीं ली थी तो। अगर ये कैच कर लेगा दिक्कत हो सकती है, दिक्कत हो सकती है अगर ये कैच कर लेगा तो, बिल्कुल दिक्कत हो सकती है। अगर ये कैच कर लेगा तो खत्म है खेल, फिर हमको सीएमपी जीतना पड़ेगा। क्या टक्कर के मैच जा रहे हैं, देखा कैसे करते हैं? शॉप में जाके कोड डाल दो उस नीचे। लेट्स गो, लेट्स गो। अभी एक मैच जीतना है, हमें माइनस तो नहीं होंगे। अगर 2 जीत गए तो काफ़ी अच्छा लगेगा, प्लस 10-15 प्लस होगा आराम से। और अभी हमारा मैच भी शुरू नहीं हुआ है, मतलब मज़े हैं भाई, मज़े हैं भाई। बेकार लीड से निकाला भाई मैच। लेट मी डाउनलोड पोकेमॉन गो। और ये थी हमारी 3000वीं जीत भाई। कोंगो भाई 3000 ओपी हो जाए भाई। 3000 भाई, 3000 तो ओपी है ना भाई, खतरनाक। ये तो 3000 तो क्या था वो हाँ भाई वही आयरन मैन वाला भाई। अरे भाई खतरनाक। मैच स्टार्ट तो नहीं हो गया, बीच में छूट जाए मैच? नहीं अभी भी शुरू नहीं हुआ, अभी कमेंट्री चल रही है। मैं कह रहा हूँ बातचीत करने दो उनको यार, हम आराम से यहाँ बैठे हैं। थोड़ा मैं यार आइस पैक लेना पड़ेगा भाई, नीचे ला के बैठ जाएंगे उसको, मोबाइल गर्म हो तो। फेलिंग्स स्पाइस 100 में से 2000 नंबर है भाई इसके, स्पाइस के सिर्फ, और किसी के नहीं, स्पाइस के। स्पाइस के सारे सारे भाई। यहाँ इस पे क्या क्या था? मेगा हॉर्न, सुपर पावर, और ओ बच गया, बच गया ये भाई साहब, बच गया। ब्रिक ब्रेक was the worst move ever. यार 2 ड्रिलन पहुंच नहीं पाता लग रहा था। 3 के विन ओपी वही एवोल्यूशन आयरन मैन वाला याद आ गया था मेरे को भाई। शील्ड है भाई, शील्ड है। आई थिंक पहुंच जाते हैं हम, लैग नहीं होता था, पहुंच जाते हैं उस पर। एक ड्रैगन क्लो पहले टैंक कर लें इससे, इसकी एनर्जी लेते हैं थोड़ी सी। बैक टू बैक चार्ज कर रहा है। फेवरेट कौन सा? म्यूटू, रखवाजा छोड़ के चार्जर एंड ग्रेनेंज। अभी भाई यार लू गया भाई। आई थिंक वी कैन टैंक का ड्रैगन क्लो। हालांकि मेरे को कैच नहीं करना चाहिए था, अब लग रहा है वी कैन इजी। अब इसका शील्ड करे और हमको फार्म डाउन कर दे गंदा वाला, यही इसका वो होगा। डबल मडबोम ही इसका गेम प्ले है अभी तो, जो इसके मतलब दिमाग में भी है। खत्म है मैच यार, खत्म है। जी जीत गया भाई। वो नहीं आएगा, एरियल एज तो नहीं आ पाएगा, एनर्जी 0 है। जीत गया वो। एटर्नेटस स्पेलिंग भूल गया। जी भाई। मैच स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ उधर अभी। यार एक कोमो बैकलाइन बड़ी दिक्कत दे रही है यार। कोमो बैकलाइन लेट्स गो 30 लाइक करते हैं। कल का रिकॉर्ड तोड़ना है भाई दिन वाली स्ट्रीम का, ठीक है। अब हमको 2 मैच जीत पाएंगे क्या भाई? कल स्नीजल लीड चला रहा था, मैं अच्छी चल रही थी, फिर मैंने ये कर दिया था, पता नहीं। स्नीजल चलाना चाहिए, सोच रहा हूँ स्नीजल चलाना चाहिए क्योंकि बंदे सही आ रहे हैं। एक जीत जाए एटलीस्ट, माइनस ना हो। एक जीत के तो माइनस नहीं होगा, एक जीत जाए। हिटमॉन्चेन ओपी लीड है, ओपी लीड है, लीड ओपी है। अभी बैक टू बैक मारूंगा भाई मडबोम। अब तो इसका हालत खराब करेंगे भाई। अभी इसकी हालत खराब कर देंगे। 21 हो गए, हाँ 30 करते हैं। मडबोम 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 मडबोम। ओके मडबोम रेंज में भी है अब शायद ये। शील्ड दे दे, मजा आ जाएगा। 2 शील्ड डाउन हो जाओ और स्विच ले गया ना वो, दिक्कत ही हो गई है। स्विच ले गया वो यार। जीत रहा है ना, जीता पड़ा है मुझे तो ये लग रहा है यार। आइस पंच है यार इस पे। पावर अप था। फास्ट मूव पे आ जाएगा पूरा खेल यार। इसके फास्ट मूव बहुत गंदा डैमेज देते हैं यार, क्या कर सकते हैं, कुछ नहीं। लैग हो गया एंड ये जीत चुका है। आई थिंक जीत गया यार। क्या ही जीत रहे हैं भाई। थ्रो सारे मतलब ऐसे मूव वाले पोकेमॉन चला लो जिस पे फाइटिंग नहीं है, जीत जाओगे यार। और वहाँ पे मैच शुरू हो गया, क्या नहीं हुआ है? अभी भी नहीं हुआ है। आई थिंक हम ये अगर ये जीत गए तो काम बन जाएगा। स्नीजल लीड पे लेते हैं। आज ये लीड अच्छी नहीं चल रही, हो जाए। आज अपना जितना प्लस किया उतना माइनस हो रहा है क्या ऋतुराज भाई? इस मैच से पता चल जाएगा यार, ये आ जाए तो ड्रॉ हो जाए। बंदे सील्ड नहीं दे रहे ना, बंदे मस्त आ रहे हैं, बढ़िया खेल रहे हैं सभी। ये जीतना यार। वन बैनैब भाई हर जगह यार, लीड ने तो भाई दिक्कत ही कर दी आज। आज लीड क्या क्या ही मिल रही है। यार ये क्या करा मैंने यार? वो शील्ड नहीं करेगा लग रहा है मेरे को, मुझे नहीं लग रहा वो शील्ड करेगा, मुझे लगा नहीं पहुंच पाऊंगा यार। मैंने ये क्यों थ्रो किया एक्सीजर? शील्ड थैंक्स यार, CMP पे करा बच गया। कौन चूज करोगे पावर में? जेसियन है जमेजेंटा? जेसियन भाई, टाइप एडवांटेज भी है दोनों में। Is he having something weak to Como क्या? क्या है पीछे यार? मेगा हॉर्न, सुपर पावर, क्या क्लोज कॉम्बैट? हाँ बैक टू बैक थ्रो करेगा, दिक्कत ये है अब ये बंदा एनर्जी ले जाएगा। लेट्स गो ब्रा, लेट्स गो, लेट्स गो भाई। एक टैप अगर इधर उधर हो जाता खेल खत्म था भाई। लेट्स गो भाई, ड्रॉ सेट भाई, सेट नंबर 2 ड्रॉ भाई। पहले में दो हारे, 3 हारे, इसमें 2 हारे हैं, अगले में 1। 2503 5 प्लस हुआ है ऋतुराज भाई ड्रॉ करके। वी आर अगेन 2500 क्रॉस भाई, ये बात भाई। मैच स्टार्ट हो रहा है वहाँ पे, आई थिंक वो हमारा इंतजार कर रहे थे कि कैसे ये बंदा वापस से वेटरन पे पहुंचे एंड हम स्टार्ट करें। तो मैच भी देखते हैं, मैच देखते हैं, बातचीत करते हैं और हो जाए भाई। ये राइट वाला बंदा बढ़िया दोनों ही हैं, जान पहचान का
a very metal team in terms of the shadow Pokemon. Valiant Vish's side of the field with a Shadow Walrein, a Shadow Kanto, Ninetales again making another appearance here at the World Championships. Shadow Nidoqueen, Araquanid, Swampert, and Lickitung. So we have double steel on the top, 3 shadows, double water on the triple water on the bottom. This is a really interesting matchup for me to see play out because it looks like the Registeel has a decent matchup, and there's plenty on Roger's side of the field that can handle that Ninetales, which seems like Vish's best option.
No, I absolutely agree, and I think our co-caster Butters was hoping for a triple shadow situation.
भाई मैं साउंड नहीं कर सकता, ये तो
नीचे एंड्रॉइड कुछ भी नहीं आता। We do get the trifecta of the shadows.
इतनी ही रहेगी, मैच देखेंगे उसके बाद बात कर लेंगे। मैच वैच देखते हैं, बाकी नया कोड ये रहा है 6J 67 JED MQF 8D6,
and it makes it very difficult to kind of pace yourself through the matchup. So it's going to be interesting to see how Valorant Vish is going to manage his Pokemon and his HP throughout this set.
Yeah, I like seeing the Lickitung on his team for that reason, though, as that is one of the pure Pokemon in the format. Araquanid as well. You know,
जब इनके मैच खत्म हो जाएंगे वापस हम मैच में आ जाएंगे, जब आवाज कम हो जाएगी।
Araquanid, Lickitung, Registeel, probably the 3 bulkiest Pokemon I've seen, and we got 2 of them on the field right now with a Lickitung versus Lickitung showdown for game 1 of this set.
And you know
what a boring battle.
Lickitung also had
boring,
that best
boring,
buddy
boring.
ribbon. They've been walking out on the map with their trainers and getting ready for this Worlds competition. Look at this back line of the teams as well. We've got a glaring Stunfisk on the left and that Shadow Kanto Ninetales on the right side.
Yeah, and both have
मेरी आवाज
their
सुनाई दे
shadow
रही है ईयरफोन पे
Nidoqueen
देखिए
as
शायद
well.
मुझे
So
लगा
it looks
ईयरफोन
like
पे
we're
थोड़ी
just
तो
going
आवाज
to
आ
have
रही
these
होगी ना मेरी
Lickitung face off against each other, maybe try and bank some energy for later, but that Galarian Stunfisk catching a body slam from Vicious Lickitung, that is going to be a nice resisted attack.
मैं एक बार
What
ईयरफोन
an incredible
कनेक्ट
catch.
कर
These
लेता हूँ
one-turn fast attacks are so hard to catch against, but we do see
क्या लगता है
a
नो
little
आइडिया
bit
यार
of a
इतना
punishing
ज़्यादा नहीं
switch in
जानता
here
हूँ
as the
मैं
Fire-type Shadow, Kanto, Ninetales with Ember is going to start to turn up the heat.
Yeah, thankfully this
ये
Galarian
वो नहीं है यार
Stunfisk does
जिसे मैं सोच
already
रहा
have
था
a Rock Slide available to it, which will hit this Ninetales super effectively, but that Weather Ball forces Roger to use one of his two shields.
मुझे लग रहा है यार
doesn't
ये रोजर
quite
जीत रहा है
get
पता
to the
नहीं
double Rock Slide, I think,
अभी
just
मैं
yet
मैच
to
देखता
force
हूँ
the double
आओ ध्यान
shields
देते हैं
from
मैच पे
Vish.
We've seen a lot of these Galarian Stunfisk throw that same type of attack bonus Earthquake, but Rock Slide is still super effective against these Fire-type Pokemon. And like you said, Gabby, not quite there, but seeing the double Rock Slides here, this will apply a lot of shield pressure. And we
Shield
don't
पक्का
see
okay
Mew here
करेगी
trusting in the Ninetales, and it hangs on.
It's able to hang on and throw that Weather Ball. Roger could choose to use his last shield here to protect that Galarian Stunfisk, but it's at such low health, it doesn't have much energy. It's better to save it for later and hope that that Lickitung or the Nidoqueen in the back of your party can finish off that Ninetales, as it is at such low health.
It absolutely is. One Poison Jab is all that's needed to secure the knockout there, and we do have essentially a potential mirror match here, but one Poison Jab
I think
lead
Roger
on the
को
left
फायदा
side,
है
and that is so critical in the Nidoqueen mirror matchup. Oh, we actually see the Lickitung come in. This is fascinating to me. Maybe you see an early Power Whip. No, a switch in. Attempted catch of another Body Slam, perhaps.
Yeah, and what's really interesting
Power
to
Whip
me is that
damage भी
both
अच्छा
these
देता है
trainers
यार
are left with almost the exact same Pokemon at this point in time. Two Shadow Nidoqueens, two Lickitungs, and now they're both paired up so that they're facing the opposites.
यहाँ पर
You know,
तीन Body
there's
Slam
no
मारने पड़ेंगे
mirrors, but both these trainers have essentially the same win condition.
No, you're exactly right. I think the only difference here is the energy management. Still one shield for both trainers. We see a no shield here on a potential power up, which is a great call. Do we see a heavy earth power coming through here, reaching right for it, pulling the trigger here on the ground type attack?
Roger does still have one shield
ठीक है भाई इनकी
available to
कमेंट्री
him,
पीछे चल
but
रही
he
है ऐसा लग रहा है
decides to
पहले बोल दिया उन्होंने
forego
नो
it.
शील्ड
This
यार
Lickitung is able to hold on,
okay.
but the defense
Defense
drop
fail.
comes through.
And look
Defense
at
fail.
this Nidoqueen just withering away at that
Roger
Lickitung
शायद
HP
पक्का
after
नहीं
the
है
defense
पक्का
drop.
नहीं है
Nidoqueen is so oppressive, but now the Body Slam will connect, and that Nidoqueen just got Body Slammed out of here.
क्योंकि देखो उसे
So
farm
this
up मिल गया
Lickitung
farm
comes back
बहुत
onto the
farm मिल
field
गया
with
भाई
Vish at almost 2 power whips, has plenty of body slams to spare.
I think बस poison
so
fang
should
spam
be
कर
an
दो यार और
interesting
कुछ नहीं कर
matchup
सकते
as
और
it
power
can
whip
just start
shield कर लिया
throwing
तो
those
खेल
attacks,
खेल
but get
खत्म है
another no shield here for the Poison Fang.
Well, you know, the second Poison Fang will do even more damage. This is very calculated because this Lickitung is very little HP. Going to look to connect
Moment
to
of
the Body
truth.
Slam here, but it
No
could be a
shield
fake.
भाई खत्म
Actually, no
I think जीत
shielding a
गया
potential
ये
power
I think
whip.
Roger won
My
यार
goodness, nerves of steel.
Yeah, Roger making an amazing call there. Here comes the second body slam from that Lickitung, and here comes the shield. Now that Nidoqueen is at such low health, you cannot take any chances. But that Nidoqueen also almost at the Poison Fang, does get to it, does not throw it in time, and now it's a power whip.
खत्म भाई
Wow,
खत्म
here
Roger
comes
हार
the
गया
Lickitung in a power whip
Power whip है
away
भाई
this
power whip है
Nidoqueen.
भाई
What an
खत्म
incredible first game here as Nidoqueen
जीजी यार
fades
क्या
and Valiant
क्या
Fish
खेला
takes
भाई
game
भाई
one.
क्या खेला है बंदा
That
ओपी
Poison
यार
Fang was
नहीं
ready
राइट वाला
to
बंदा अच्छा
go
खेला
on that Nidoqueen. Unfortunately, did not get the
खेले दोनों ही
opportunity
बढ़िया
to
हैं
throw
यार
it, but it looked like Roger was trying to go for it.
He absolutely
Mew
was. And
देगा,
that's the
ऋतुराज
thing here
में
with
Mew
the
रखा हुआ
fast
है।
attacks as well. That was a one-turn lick versus a two-turn poison jab. So one lick and then the charge attack triggers on that second
Crazy
turn,
match है।
which means that just as that poison jab was
भाई
finishing,
इन्हें देख के भी
the
पता है
power
काफी
whip is
पता चल
already
जाता है यार
getting queued
ये
up.
बंदे कब थ्रो करते हैं कब नहीं
that's
करते
some
हैं
incredible speed
ये ऐसी
from
catch नहीं करते हैं
the
कभी भी यार, जब
bulky
जरूरत
Lickitung.
होती है
You
ना,
can
जब
see
ही
why
करते हैं।
it won the North American International
ओ सर लाइक कर दो
Championship
इसने लाइक
and
नहीं मारा
why
यार
it's
जल्दी से
making such an incredible show already here at the World Championships. Going into game 2 now, you know, Roger was able to bring that game
Look at the Mew.
very, very close, despite the fact that it felt like he had a
Unexpected,
disadvantage as soon
yeah.
as that Ninetales came out onto the field. And I'm curious what the adjustments are at that point in time, because you want to keep the Stunfisk around. I think you want to keep your Lickitung and Nidoqueen as well. Maybe it's just a matter of fixing how you align these Pokemon.
No, you're exactly right. And as we look at this team here for Valiant Fish, he has there's no counter user on that team. So essentially, the steals can come out to play here. You are worried about the Swampert. You do not want to face that Shadow Kanto Ninetales. So we've seen the Galarian Stunfisk ability to strike back with those rock slides that do deal the super effective damage. If I had to bet one Pokemon was coming to this matchup for Valiant Fish, it would be that Swampert on the right.
Swampert would be an
यार अगर
incredible
Nidoqueen पे
adjustment,
Stone Edge जो
especially if it's running Hydro Cannon and Earthquake like we've seen, I think a majority of the Swampert here run, as that would allow the Swampert to hit that Galarian Stunfisk for super effective damage, also manage that Nidoqueen a bit better as well.
But सोचो Earthquake और Stone Edge चला रहा हो कोई,
poison versus
एक को मारे Earthquake सामने आए Talonflame,
Galarian Stunfisk is a really tough matchup. Shadow Nidoqueen really needs to land an Earth Power to deal any meaningful damage, and that takes a long time to get enough energy for that charge attack. So I definitely think the Galarian Stunfisk will make an appearance, but if it does meet that Swampert, that water and ground type will definitely get the better of it.
Yeah, it's so interesting to have a matchup where the Nidoqueens almost have to go for that Earth Power, because we've seen so many Nidoqueen this weekend.
पर शायद इसमें ऐसा कुछ होता है, तीनों मैचों में सेम टाइप मूवसेट यूज करते होंगे यार, तो पहले में पकड़े गए ना तो फिर Nidoqueen बेकार है अगले दो में.
It's able to drop your opponent's defenses guaranteed. But in this situation, it's almost like that puts you at a disadvantage.
हमारे डिस्कॉर्ड में सबसे ज़्यादा ही लो पता नहीं यार, एक वो लेजेंड वाला बंदा था पहले.
You're exactly right. You do have to kind of play with your energy a bit more carefully, and then also anticipate what your opponent is trying to do. It feels so bad to shield up a rock slide because that is resisted damage as well on that Shadow Nidoqueen. But here we go with our matchup. We are turning up the heat yet again. Shadow Kanto Ninetales versus Galarian Stunfisk.
At least the Stunfisk gets the opportunity to switch out when
यार
it
एम्बर का
wants
फास्ट
to
मूव डैमेज
against
देखो
this
ऋतुराज
Ninetales,
भाई.
but until then,
मैं
it's going
शैडो
to be
कैन
taking
अगर
so
मेरे को
much
मिला,
damage
मेरे
from
पे
these
है यार,
Embers.
एक्चुअल में इतना अच्छा वो नहीं है. आई भी वरना मैं एम्बर ला लेता, फास्ट मूव बहुत प्यारा है, लेगेसी है.
But an early Protect Shield gets ripped away here from Valiant Vish. Do we see a switch out? No, staying in with the Galarian Stunfisk. If a Weather Ball comes through, it will KO. But the switch into the Lickitung.
That was an amazing catch by
Switch
Roger.
overheat
Yet
होता.
again, the Lickitung does not
कल
have
भी
to
ऐसा हुआ
shield
था
this
मैच.
Weather Ball, as it's at full health, and it's such a bulky Pokemon. That just does no damage. Shadow Nidoqueen now taking the field to try and power through this Lickitung. It's time for those defensive drops to hopefully pay off.
यार Lickitung मेरे पे रैंक 8 साइन ही पड़ा है ऋतुराज भाई. 10 14 15 है शायद. रैंक 8 या रैंक 9 है और साइन ही है, सोचो.
Matchup yet again. Do we reach
Candy नहीं है भाई, एक्सेल ही नहीं है भाई.
No, actually controlling the matchup, going for the body slam, and still no shield.
What an incredible call by Valiant Vish. Not using the shield on the neutral attack, does have another Poison Fang available, but takes a couple extra turns to get some more energy there, which I think is going to be important, as that makes the Earth Power so much easier to reach after this attack.
No, you're exactly right, and we do see there that Lick finally aligns with the Poison Jab, and that Nidoqueen does win the charge and priority. But here comes the Stunfisk. The Steel type is on the field, and what does it decide to do? It throws a Rock Slide here, and like you said, Gabby, that Earth Power is almost queued up. If Nidoqueen can hang on, I think it gets there.
It will, but Roger still has both of his shields available to him. But the Nidoqueen is just knocked out. All of that energy, unfortunately, going to waste. This does give the opportunity for Valiant Vish to send in the Swampert against the Galarian Stunfisk, which is great. But Roger can just switch in that Medicham at any point in time.
He absolutely can, and they're also
no shield.
Still on the board, and no shield. Oh no!
Damage,
Swampert
damage.
takes a lot of damage there. We do see the Medicham coming in here, trying to continue to apply some pressure. We see a Hydro Cannon getting fired off here as well, and finally,
that first shield 1-1 हो गया, I think.
Yeah, I think you almost have to go for the Hydro Cannons at this point in time, because your opponent has so many shields. You need to get those shields away so that you can deal the damage to get those KOs. And Weather Ball and Hydro Cannon, they charge up so fast. If you can just throw enough of those to put that shield pressure on the field, your opponent's just out of shield.
Maybe sensing the potential overheat. We do see that shield on the Medicham, queuing up an Ice Punch as well. This is resisted damage. I venture to say the Shadow Kanto Ninetales could survive this attack. Oh, it actually decides to shield as well, going for a double Weather Ball strat, perhaps.
Perhaps, and at least you know that with that one shield, you will survive this attack. Unfortunately, Roger had a second Ice Punch remaining, but the Ninetales able to hold on and get to the overheat.
Oh my goodness, turning up the heat. If it's too hot, get out of the kitchen. Here comes the Shadow Kanto Ninetales, roasting its way through that Medicham.
And now it's just the Galarian Stunfisk left, and even though that Kanto Ninetales will be knocked out shortly,
Rock Slide, CMP, and here we go यार, CMP पे रोजर आ रहा है यार, क्या मैच था.
Give Valiant Vish the 2-0 victory against Roger Chen.
If Swampert was a car, it'd be a 6-speed, because that was clutch. Look at that Swampert coming in here, reaching that CMP tie, and securing the knockout on the Galarian Stunfisk. Incredible plays. And
भाई क्या मैच जा रहे हैं आज के क्या मैच जा रहे हैं यार. क्यों है? अगर वो CMP जीत जाता, सोचो ऋतुराज भाई, और अगला भी जीत जाता यार, क्या पता. स्वैम्पर्ट बहुत जीतता है यार CMP हाइड्रो कैनन। अच्छा एक चीज़ नोटिस करना, आप सबने नोटिस करी है नहीं करी है पता नहीं, अगर आप क्या कहते हैं, कैसे बताऊं, सैबलाई से रिटर्न मारोगे तो हो सकता है आप CMP हार जाओ, बट सैबलाई से फॉल प्ले या फिर शैडो स्नेक में कभी शायद ना हारो, शायद ना हारो। सेम टाइप बोनस भी CMP में मदद करता है क्या, मुझको अब ऐसा लगने लगा है, पता नहीं क्यों यार, क्योंकि रोक स्लाइड नहीं था यार क्या रोक टाइप नहीं है ना स्टन फिस्क, मुझे अभी ये लगने लगा है ऋतुराज भाई, मेरे को कई बार नोटिस कर लिया मैंने। अजीब चीज़ है सुनने में, बट मुझे लग रहा है ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है। मतलब रेजी रॉक होगा तो स्टोन एज पे CMP ज़्यादा जीतेगा अर्थक्वेक से। हो सकता है ऋतुराज भाई, कंफर्म नहीं है यार, मुझे ऐसा बस लग रहा है जैसे एक और बैटल देख रहे हैं ना, खेल रहे हैं। पच्चीस करते हैं लाइक यार, इतने मैच मिल जाएगा। बैटरी 53 है तो राज भाई, कल का रिकॉर्ड तोड़ पाएंगे क्या हम? कल का 30 लाइक हो जाएंगे तो कल का रिकॉर्ड तो टूट जाएगा भाई। कोई कर रहा है क्या? हेनरी आज नहीं है ना लाइव? हेनरी नहीं है आज लाइव यार। राइज का मैच करीब आ रहा है ऋतुराज भाई। हाँ हो सकता है हेनरी सो रहा होगा, वो सोच रहा होगा आज भी लेट शुरू होगा, आराम से सोता हूँ। वो उठ के देखेगा किंग का मैच खत्म, जिंडी का मैच खत्म और स्क्वायर का मैच खत्म, तीनों के मैच खत्म। और ये जो है ये भी अभी जो खेल रहे थे, आईवीज देखो बंदे की, आईवी देखो 1481 है। ठीक है स्विच चले गए हम। यार जब भी लैग होता है एक्सीलेंट चाहिए, लैग हो जाएगा, एक्सीलेंट चाहिए फिर लैग हो जाएगा। ओनली मेडल मिल रहे हैं हाँ भाई, कुछ नया रिसर्च मिलेगा तो बताएंगे यार। तन में बॉडी स्लैम पे CMP बड़ा ही स्लो एनिमेशन है यार ड्रैगन टेल का, ये तो मानना पड़ेगा। शील्ड प्लीज, थैंक्स 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 थैंक्स। मड बॉम्ब CMP जीत गया वो। भाई साहब क्या CMP जीता यार वो, बहुत गलत यार, बहुत गलत CMP। उम्मीद नहीं थी मेरे को, आराम से पहुंचूंगा सोच रहा था मैं, वो जीत गया शायद। वो मैच ही पलट दिया भाई उसने, मैच ही पलट दिया भाई। अबे यार क्या CMP नहीं यार, CMP से ही जीता यार पूरा गेम। CMP कैसे निकालते हैं बंदे यार, एकदम परफेक्ट। ग्रेट लीग नहीं, ग्रेट लीग नहीं, हाँ CMP पूरा गेम अपना था यार। शायद अब कोई टाइम रिसर्च कह तो रहे थे यार, डे 2 को भी मिलेगी, पता नहीं। एक तो एक मैच मिलता है, ये पता है ऋतुराज भाई, बैक टू बैक खेलने का मजा अलग होता है। मैच ही आधे घंटे मिल रहा है, क्या करेंगे बताओ। आधे घंटे में मैच मिल रहे हैं यार, फ्लो सा बनता है। एक मैच जीतते हैं, हार जाते हैं, फिर एक जीतते हैं, फिर ब्रेक आ जाता है, फिर हार जाते हैं, फिर एक जीतते हैं, फिर भाई मैचिंग नहीं होती। फाइटिंग कम लोग, बहुत कम लोग खेल रहे हैं। चेज कैचम क्या नाम था, मैंने पढ़ा नहीं। हेरा क्रॉस, हाँ लेग की वजह से कई सीम जीत भी आते हैं, हार भी आते हैं, बहुत बहुत अंतर है। क्या शील्ड करेगा क्या वो, लगता है। बूम, नहीं कर पाए। स्विच किया क्या उसने, मैंने चेक नहीं करा। स्विच किया है क्या, नहीं। ओके, डबल सील डाउन है बंदा, डबल सील डाउन है भाई, डबल सील डाउन। तो स्नीजल कुछ कर सकता है। क्लोज कॉम्बैट, शील्ड हमें जो बची हुई है ना यार, ये शील्ड बचाना बहुत ज़रूरी है। ये तो देख लिया मैंने, शील्ड बचाना बहुत ज़रूरी है इसमें। आइस पंच, और शील्ड बचाते बचाते हम मैच कब हार गए हमको पता ही नहीं चला। वाह 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 वाह, शील्ड बचाने के चक्कर में सोचा पावर पंच होगा, पर हार गए भाई। गलत भाई, गलत। जी भाई, इतना शील्ड भी नहीं बचाना था यार, ये तो जीत सकते थे हम, शील्ड कर लेते तो, है ना भाई। मैच स्टार्ट हो गया वैसे उधर, वहाँ मैच स्टार्ट हो गया है। हाँ, कम बैक करना पड़ेगा भाई। और डांसिंग रोप भी आ गया भाई, ये तो पिछली बार भी था, याद करो डांसिंग रोप भाई। क्या मैच हार रहे हैं हम, तीनों जीतेंगे, आके वापस से जीतेंगे यार, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। एक शील्ड की वजह से मैच जीतते हैं, इस बार हार गए।
It's just a very solid combination of Pokemon that we've seen do well at this tournament so far. You have the Lickitung that won the North American International Championships. We have another Shadow Kanto Ninetales. I believe I've been listening to all y'all talk this weekend, and it seems like the casters have all agreed that Purified Sableye and Shadow Walrein are two of the best Pokemon in the format. And we've certainly sung the praises of Shadow Nidoqueen enough as well. So, you know,
सारी
make
आधे
the
मैचेस
trip,
ले
you
रहा हूँ
might as
क्योंकि
well
मेरे उस
do
पे
your
डबल मूव
best
नहीं
and
है
have no
मेरे पे
regrets.
कैंडी
No,
तक नहीं
you're
है, 75
absolutely
कैंडी
right.
चाहिए
As we
सेकंड
look at
मूव
this
के
team
लिए
for
यार
Dancing
कौन
Rob,
75
I
कैंडी
really would
करेगा
love to see that Alola Ninetales
घंटा
come
कोई
out
नहीं
to battle.
करेगा
But look at the obstacles it needs to face. If it's going
75
against the
कैंडी
Altaria,
ड्रैगन
it has
पल्स
to get past
खत्म
those two
खत्म
bodyguards
खेल
in the form of the Shadow Kanto Ninetales
और आ
and the
जाता है आराम
Nido
से
Queen. Fire and Poison, respectively, are going to resist that attack damage from the what I suspect is going to be a Charm fast attack Alola Ninetales.
क्या
And
कह रहे हैं
the
भाई
Ice
सो
typing
इवोल्व
won't
करने में ही
appreciate
इतना खर्च
that
हो गया
fire
यार
typing from the Kanto
एक
Ninetales.
इवोल्व और कर लिया था गलती
Yeah,
से
it seems like that Kanto
क्या कर सकते
Ninetales,
हैं?
if
कुछ
given
नहीं।
the opportunity, is going to really take off and do well in this match. So that to me
Refresh
implies
करना है
that
एक
if
बार?
Dancing Rob is
Stream lag हो
thinking
रही
of
है तो?
bringing that Alolan Ninetales or the Venusaur, possibly even the Galarian Stunfisk, you have to bring those Pokemon in the back of your party because you do not want to be caught off guard, as many trainers will lead the Shadow Kanto Ninetales, as you can't really switch into
Simple है
it
भाई,
because
एक
it's not
Charmer,
very bulky.
एक
You know, you
Venusaur
want to have those shields available
और एक
to it.
Stunfisk।
You want to make sure that the timing
हो
on
जाए
the
भाई।
field is perfect, and one way
Venusaur,
to do that is you just lead it, right?
Ninetales
Exactly
और
right. And,
Stunfisk
and speaking to team compositions and how you line up your Pokemon, we haven't addressed this very
तीनों
much
मैच
during the
जीत
World
नहीं पाएंगे भाई
Championships, but I'll just take a quick shot
कोई
here.
कोड आया क्या
So you can
कोई
essentially go
इंपॉर्टेंट
one of
कोड नहीं
three
है यार
ways. The
मतलब
first
सेम
way
है
is you
एक
can
बार
call your
रिडीम कर लिया
opponent's
तो
team.
यही
You can say, I know for a fact that Shadow Venusaur will be in the lead, so I lead my Altaria. I know for a fact that they'll bring the Alola Ninetales, I'll bring the Shadow Kanto Ninetales.
ये वाला है
in the back,
लास्ट वाला जो पिन कर रखा है
Or you can go the ABB route. And what I mean by that is the two
भाई चाहे एक
B
एक
slots
चश्मा
on your
देते यार
team
बट
have
हर
a
घंटे
shared
देते ना
weakness.
ऋतुराज भाई
Maybe
तो आई
bring
थिंक
two
लोग
Pokemon
ज्यादा
weak to
देखते हैं
fire,
वॉचिंग कितनी
like
चल रही
the
है
Alola Ninetales and the Galarian Stunfisk, but you lead that
14
Swampert
14
because
के
that's
चल
your
रही है
best fire type answer. And then you can switch in one of those Pokemon to pull out that Kanto
Ninetales
Ninetales
के सामने
and then
Sableye आ
defeat it
जाए।
with the Swampert later. Or C, the
Sableye को
C
ज्यादा
option
मजा आएगा
here is
ऋतुराज
that you
भाई
can run an
या नीडो को ना
A
जाए
line, which means
तो
you
फिर
have
इसको
both
मजा
of
आएगा
your A
Ninetales को
slots sharing the same weakness. So if you lead your Venusaur into
जीत
that Shadow
पाएंगे
Kanto
क्या?
Ninetales, you cannot switch out of that
मैं
matchup.
एक
You
मिनट
have
आता
to
हूँ ठीक है
stay, take a Protect Shield, do as much
रुमाल
damage as
वगैरह
possible,
दिलाना।
and then let your B slot Swampert take care of that opponent. And maybe that Alola Ninetales or the Galarian Stunfisk is your last
क्योंकि यार
Pokemon.
ये
Yeah, I have to wonder,
अपने
what
और
are the
ऋतुराज भाई
odds, though, that you would lead
एक
a
सेट
Shadow
पॉजिटिव मिल गया ना
Swampert against a
2500 के
team that,
ऊपर
quite honestly,
तो हम
feels
फिर
very
निकाल देंगे
comfortable
यार
leading a
वो
Lickitung? I
लीड
feel
इतनी
like
बेहतरीन
the
मिल रही है
Shadow
कुछ नहीं हो रहा
Swampert, you know, again, it's
फिर हम पे
one of
सेकंड
those
मूव होता
Pokemon that
ऋतुराज
I
भाई
think is
जीत
a
चुके
great
होते सेकंड मूव
lead
नहीं
in
था
the
20
format
मिनट
right
ड्रैगन
now,
पल्स के
but with two
उसको भाई
Lickitung
मैं रेयर
available,
कैंडी और
someone's
पोकेमॉन
gonna
पे
bring
लगा
it.
दिया
I
यार
mean,
30
again,
40
it's one of the
की वो
bulkiest
कम से
Pokemon
कम
we have
कहीं से
access
तो
to.
स्टार्ट
It's
करेंगे
won an incredibly
करते हैं
difficult
यार
tournament, certainly
कुछ करते हैं
is in a perfect opportunity to do it again. I just don't think you lead the Swampert in this situation. So maybe you make it like a, is there like a BAB line? Or I guess that would still be ABA, just with different letters, because why not?
Exactly. Why not also a Pokemon that I would love to see in this tournament, but probably not. But here we go. But I think that's an incredible point to make as well. I mean, I think the Lickitung is more, I think there's a higher chance. There's more likeliness that we see the Lickitung safe switch from Dancing Rob, because as we see on Rick Flareon's team, there is no counter user on that team. There's no fighting type Pokemon with a fast attack counter, which makes normal types and steel types very safe against that team. So maybe Dancing Rob anticipates that. Maybe he thinks that, you know, he can lead that Medicham right into that Lickitung and just square up his fighter against that normal type Pokemon. But we'll have to see, right? A lot of mind games going on with each of these sets, and these trainers maybe have even played each other before.
Yeah, I think these trainers have definitely played each other before. If not on an actual tournament in person like this, definitely on the Go Battle League ladder, because I feel like once you get up to the top, not that I've been there yet, I'm working on it. You know, you do end up seeing a lot of
स्टार्ट भी कर दो यार आ गए सो के कैसे करें मतलब
then you shoot them a couple friend requests so that way you can get some practice in
भाई
together.
अच्छा जा रहा था अपना वेटरन और उसके बाद हमारा विजय रथ रुक चुका है 2503 पे अब हम 2 मैच हार चुके हैं अपना तो ये हाल है बाकी किंग भी अपना पहला सेट हार चुका है खतरनाक सीन चल रहा है
Lickitung, and you know exactly what to expect. So as these trainers have prepared for the World Championships, maybe they rely on their local communities. Maybe they've really turned their attention to the Go Battle League against trainers that they don't, you know, probably won't meet in person and probably won't compete in the World Championships. Either way, they're trying to get enough repetitions in.
Dancing Rob जीत सकता है पिछली बार क्या हुआ था ऋतुराज भाई ये भी लूजर ब्रैकेट में जाके जीता था पता है स्टार्टिंग में हारा था उम्मीद करते हैं इस बार डायरेक्ट जीतता चला जाए Dancing Rob तगड़े दोनों प्लेयर खतरनाक है मजा आएगा लेट्स गो स्टार्ट होता हुआ मैच
लीड तो
Lickitung पे है ना शायद
but it's up to Rick just how much he wants to wait until he switches it out, as it will take that
direct power whip
to get to the power whip energy, and there it is. but the Walrein throwing an Earthquake exactly when the Lickitung gets to it.
यहाँ किसी का भी लैग हो गया तो भाई कांड होगा भाई. कुछ वैसे रीमैच नहीं कराते थे. रीमैच नहीं कराते.
First, and it does land that big attack, but here comes the Lickitung. Do we see an early shield? I mean, you want to keep that positive momentum going, and we do.
You do, because I think Rick also attempting to switch into his own Lickitung in that after that attack to try and catch that attack from the opposing Lickitung. Instead, though, it looks like a Lickitung and a Medicham swap now. Dancing Rob having the momentum with the switch advantage.
Absolutely, we do see the shield advantage as well here. Rick Flareon Lickitung trying to fight back here, but that Medicham is just pounding away at that normal type Pokemon. But I'll tell you what, these Licks are dealing a lot of damage over time. Without a fighting charge attack, this Medicham can't really deal a whole lot of damage in one go. It has to rely on those fast attacks.
Yeah, but it will use the Psychic, which does more damage than an Ice Punch and brings that Lickitung down into the red, possibly able to knock it out after a couple more counters. This Body Slam will be allowed to connect first and should be enough for a knockout, but that Medicham holds on.
Oh, Medicham does not get the better of Lickitung, and this is actually not a tough situation because you're able to come in here with those resisted licks and lick down and gather some additional energy, and now you're queued up here with shield advantage, a bit of energy, but pretty low on HP. We see that Nidoqueen come in, and the switch timer is not up. Lickitung cannot escape.
Yeah, Lickitung cannot escape, but it can at least throw one more Body Slam to connect with this Nidoqueen for some damage. Rick Flareon holding on to that last shield. Dancing Rob has 2 shields available to him with this Galarian Stunfisk. I have to imagine you're thinking about using it. We know that this is going to be the Poison Fang, but Dancing Rob going for the shield, the defenses go down, and that means the next attack is just going to hurt a lot more.
That is really, really tough. But the Galarian Stunfisk looking to strike back here. Already stored up 2 rock slides here, but the mud shots are really dealing the damage. We see a no shield as well. What a great call. And here comes the Earth Power. This is a pivotal shield call.
It's a great call, but only a couple more fast move attacks from this Galarian Stunfisk will be enough to knock out that Nidoqueen, and then it's just going to be the Walrein. But Rick Flareon swapping in the Walrein himself has to use that final shield to protect the Walrein from this rock slide. But if Walrein has an Earthquake available for it, there's no more shields on Dancing Rob's side of the field. This is going to do some huge damage.
You're exactly right. There's no Protect Shield on the board. No Protect Shields remaining. Earthquake absolutely craters the ground. Galarian Stunfisk is knocked out, but the Lickitung is not done yet. Trying to put up a fight here. It's going to throw its weight into this Body Slam.
It will, but will it be enough damage is the question. Walrein able to hold on, going for those powdered snows, and looks like it is able to knock out the Walrein.
Rick Flareon with a Game 1 victory over Dancing Rob there. Very exciting set to start us off here. I'm really interested to see how these trainers will adjust, as we did see that Lickitung lead. We did not see the Medicham in the lead for our trainer on the left. So very interesting calls there with the lineups, and very, I guess, calculated play as well. We did see an early on Earthquake CMP tie with that Lickitung. Earthquake did connect the early shield. I thought that was really well played by Rick Flareon. And yeah, can't wait to get in game number 2. What kind of adjustments does Dancing Rob need to make here?
You know, I really like that Lickitung lead, as I think it does give him a lot of flexibility. Unfortunately, though, it just felt the Medicham didn't quite get what it was looking for out of that matchup. You know, Medicham is the best answer to Rick Flareon's own Lickitung, like you were just saying. But it doesn't have the fighting type charge move, and that Psychic just didn't really do a lot of damage at the end of the day. And as nice as it is to have that tight matchup sort of sorted out, you know, the fighting type against the normal type Pokemon, if Dancing Rob has another Pokemon on his team that can deal more damage to that Lickitung, or maybe just deal damage faster than the Medicham, such as the Swampert, you know, that might be time to consider it. You do have to worry about Rick Flareon being to answer that Swampert with his own Lickitung, or possibly some of the other Pokemon that he has access to. But if you make a bit of a read and just hope that you can find, you know, the opportunities to just get that Swampert against the Lickitung so it does enough damage, I think that would be all that you need. It really was a close matchup. Medicham just needed a little more.
You're exactly right. Medicham was very close. That Psychic typing really betrays it when those super effective licks start to add up. And this is interesting as well, because we saw the Walrein and the Galarian Stunfisk making an appearance there for our team on the right. It's going to be very difficult to kind of manage how this Altaria fits into the equation. Do you think we see Altaria here in game number 2?
I mean, I want to see Altaria, because I think it's just a fun Pokemon to run. And if you're expecting your opponent to rely on the Medicham, once again, that is almost a guaranteed victory. Same thing with the Venusaur. The Pokemon you really have to watch out for is that Galarian Stunfisk, but you have plenty of options to handle it. We're probably going to see some of those now as the Altaria finds itself led against the Galarian Stunfisk on Rob's side of the field. We have the Shadow Kanto Ninetales in now.
Shadow Kanto Ninetales comes in here, but I don't think it's going to have the same opportunity to turn up the heat that we saw in the last set, because the Shadow Swampert is happy to meet it here on the battlefield. We see the Weather Ball get queued up here, some resisted damage there. The Swampert takes that easily, and then farming up extra energy. Look at all this energy. Swampert finally throwing the Hydro Cannon.
Yeah, I love how that Swampert took the extra time to get those Hydro Cannons ready to go, as it only takes a couple of turns for it to get access to those moves. And with Altaria coming in and that fast Dragon Breath attack, you want those charge moves good to go. They're going to be resisted, but at least you do some nice chip damage on your way out.
And this is a critical show of skill as well. I mean, if you throw that Hydro Cannon as soon as you get it, there is a very low likelihood that you get to the 2 Hydro Cannons here. And only time will tell if this chip damage is going to be instrumental in a victory for Dancing Rob, or if Rick Flareon can overcome it. He finally does overcome the Swampert though, but that Galarian Stunfisk is ready to meet him. Switch Timer almost up. Does he reach for it? No. Going to stay in here in a really awful matchup.
Well, the Altaria has a Sky Attack and a Moonblast available to it, so Rick Flareon possibly trying to catch this attack, but misses the opportunity to switch and just lets the Altaria go. This Rock Slide is going to do a ton of damage, barely missing the knockout, does get the switch at this point in time, but that Altaria is in the danger zone.
Now this feels like an old Western. We see 2 of these Pokemon with attacks that could absolutely KO them if they land, and we see the first Protect Shield come out as well. Nidoqueen for Rick Flareon blinks first.
I think you have to use the shield there, even though it wasn't the Earthquake and it was a Rock Slide. You're just at such low health overall. You need every opportunity you can to keep this Nidoqueen healthy. Unfortunately, this Poison Fang isn't going to do damage, and it's going to take a while for these defensive drops to make a difference. But here's the Earthquake from Dancing Rob. Will Rick Flareon shield this?
Oh, a great shield call as well. Nidoqueen gets to stay in this battle a little while longer, but it still has a tough hill to climb. And the switch timer is not quite up yet. Maybe another charge attack may appear at any moment. And we do see another bait, and he takes the bait. Dancing Rob's Galarian Stunfisk shields.
Yeah, this Galarian Stunfisk, just like the Nidoqueen, is so important for Dancing Rob's win condition. You have to invest those shields, but now this Earthquake will be allowed to connect with the Nidoqueen. We know it's going to do some big damage. Altaria does have the opportunity to come in and throw one of these attacks, but they're both going to be resisted. It's not going to be enough damage.
Wow, and the mud shots are all that was needed against to get to that resistance and triple resistance. Typically, ground type attacks would not do any damage, but over time, those mud shots will add up.
ये वाला इजी था थोड़ा, हाँ ये क्लोज तो नहीं था, बट अब होगा टाई ब्रेकर
I really love how Dancing Rob approached that game in terms of adjustments, because he made the prediction that Rick Flareon would be a little bit true to his namesake and bring a fire-type Pokemon into the matchup, and then brought the Swampert as a result. And then as soon as you see that Shadow Kanto Ninetales take the field, Shadow Swampert was there, and that Ninetales was gone right after.
I think that's a great example of Dancing Rob going with that earlier strategy that we called out at the top of this set, going with that team prediction strategy. He had a good idea of what Rick Flareon was going to try to do. He tried to scare away the Altaria in game number 1, but he knew that Rick Flareon was not phased, would bring that Pokemon, but Dancing Rob was ready to sprung that steel and ground bear trap looking Pokemon, Galarian Stunfisk, onto the Dragon Flying type Altaria.
Yeah, Galarian Stunfisk is such a powerhouse Pokemon. You know, I think that it's probably one of the most common Pokemon here today. I would love to get some statistics for you later on in terms of how many Pokemon are being run, so maybe we'll be able to find that. But at least from like empirically speaking, you know, just what I've personally observed with my own 2 eyeballs. You know, I've seen a lot of these Stunfisk, I've seen a lot of these Walreins, and you can see why. They're just so good. They're so consistently good. They have options, they have outs, regardless of the type matchup in front of them.
No, you're exactly right. I think there are a few keys to having a really successful Pokemon in the Open Great League. I think first is stamina. A lot of these Pokemon that we see come in are Lickitungs, they're Arachnids, they're Galarian Stunfisk, they're Registeels. These Pokemon are known for having a high stat product. They're able to hang in matchups for a little longer than you expect, throw their charge attacks, reach for that switch timer when the time is ready, and switch in and out of matchups and kind of stay in the game. If you're struggling a bit in your own Go Battle League battles, maybe it's because you're not running Pokemon that have a lot of stat soft product. Maybe they don't have enough bulk. Maybe they take a lot of damage from charge attacks. You're running out of protect shields early, and we do see that kind of apply in these triple shadow teams that we've seen.
एक earthquake मारूंगा, Altaria को earthquake क्यों मारोगे? बट ये
stripped
बताओ.
away really quickly, and then it's hard to make up that deficit.
मेरे को Nido
Yeah,
Swampert
and I'm really
दिखाओ
glad
भाई.
you brought that up because I think that's something that we have to keep in mind as a competitive Pokemon player, regardless of what game you're playing. You know, right now in the video game championship series, we're allowing the restricted Pokemon to be used. So your Groudons, your Kyogres, your Rayquazas, your Zacians, your Zamazentas, all those good ones. And they just have
अगर
a
किसी की टीम में
naturally
रजिस्ट्री ना हो तो
higher
स्लजवेव चला
stat-based
सकते हैं.
product. You know, they're just
क्योंकि
naturally stronger
नीडो क्वीन तो
Pokemon.
पिटेगा ही,
And you
लिगिटंग भी
have to
स्लजवेव
respect
खाएगा
the
अच्छा
fact
खासा.
that some Pokemon
वेलरन भी खाएगा,
unfortunately are
अल्टारिया
just
भी खाएगा,
naturally
सब
stronger
खाएंगे.
than others. So I know
स्लजवेव
you
चला
quoted
सकता है यार
an
वो,
amazing
है ना?
Pokemon trainer earlier, you know, talking about playing with your favorites, but unfortunately, I think if you want to be here at the World Championships, you do have to
गरम हो रहा है
respect
मोबाइल
the
यार.
threat that these meta staples bring
क्या
to the
बोलते हो?
table.
नीडो क्वीन को
You're
मड
exactly
स्लैप
right.
मिलना
We
चाहिए.
hear
मड
meta
स्लैप
a lot.
चार्ज
None of
लेट
this,
करेगा
none
ना.
of that. All it
तन में.
means is most effective tactics available.
दिक्कत हो
And
जाएगी
those
ना.
shift with each Go Battle League season and
मड
each
सोर्ट से तो
tournament.
कम
So
चार्ज
if you're
करेगा ना.
considering signing up for the next regional next month, maybe the meta will look entirely different. Maybe your favorite Pokemon will get that spotlight. Maybe Beedrill will be the Pokemon to shine in the future meta the next season of the Play Pokemon Championship Circuit, and that's a great time to get involved.
It is a great time to get involved. Again, Pokemon.com/play if you
अच्छा,
want to
मड सोर्ट,
join
okay.
in on the competitive Pokemon circuit.
हाँ भाई, तगड़ा हो जाता
One
फिर तो.
day, we will have a meta that is Metagross
भाई इनको
centric,
टीम
and I'm
कैसे
waiting
सबमिट
for
करनी
it.
होती है?
I'm
मतलब
waiting
आप
for it,
कैसे
because
करोगे
you
या
gotta
फिर
say the
अभी ये कैसे
Metagross
कर रहे
meta.
हैं?
And then
ये
you
तो
gotta say it
मैच
really,
आने से
really
पहले कर
fast
रहे
to
हैं
make
भाई.
sure that, you know, you're ready,
ये तो
you're
मैच
prepared
मतलब
for
जब
it.
इनका स्टार्ट हो रहा है उससे
I've
पहले
been
सबमिट कर
practicing.
देते हैं सारे
On this
मूव सेट
episode of
वगैरह सब
Pokemon
कुछ.
Tongue Twister.
Oh,
बाकी
yeah,
जब वो
there
ये
we go.
क्वालिफायर होते हैं ना पहले होते हैं इन गेम क्वालिफायर वो आपको खेलने पड़ते हैं कोड बजा के हर बार उसके बाद आपको जो होते हैं अगर उसमें भी क्वालिफाई कर जाओगे तो फिर भाई आपके रीजनल क्वालिफायर होंगे उसके बाद हो गए बहुत लंबा अभी ये मैच से पहले करते हैं एंड आई डोंट थिंक कि आप 6 में से चेंज कर सकते हो वो 6 ही पोकेमॉन रहेंगे तो अगर ये 6 पोकेमॉन है तो आप टूर्नामेंट के स्टार्टिंग में ही कर दो सबमिट ये होता है हर मैच में क्योंकि किसी को चेंज करते देखा नहीं है मैंने टीम करेगा वापस से चेक कर लेंगे 6 ही पोकेमॉन यूज कर सकते हो वही सबमिट कर देते हैं जाते ही कर देते हैं और अगर एक रूल और था जो पिछली बार इन्होंने फॉलो नहीं किया था अगर कोई बंदा मान लो सैबलाई अलग वाला लिया है मतलब अच्छी आईवी वाला लिया है या कम आईवी वाला लिया है बस पोकेमॉन वही हो बस उन्हें चेंज कर दिया हो ना तो भी डिस्क्वालीफाई हो जाते हैं समझ रहे हो 1497 का रजिस्ट्री की जगह एक बंदा 13 का कुछ ले आया था 13 मैच स्टार्ट होता हुआ नीडो क्वीन न्यूट्रल लीड न्यूट्रल है यार
I believe he's led that Pokemon almost all 3 games in this set. And we already have a Poison Fang. This game is moving very quickly.
Absolutely.
WRGUZ T-shirt कोड ये कल वाला है क्या?
Pile on to this Lickitung. Its formidable bulk though will allow it to stay in this matchup. It does go for the body slam, and again continuing this trend of not shielding.
यार पावर whip क्यों नहीं मारते? कोई भी शील्ड नहीं करता यार. पहला पावर whip क्यों नहीं मारते?
Confidence in this matchup is key, and I love how this Lickitung is just trying to stay on the field as much as possible, but no shielding this Poison Fang after one defense.
रोब को देखो यार बड़ा ही मतलब ऐसा लग रहा है नर्वस बहुत लग रहा है राइट में देखो रोब को देखो
but it's Rick who switches and gets the Lickitung to catch the body slam.
This is very critical as well because we saw Rick Flareon in the late game of game number 2 with shield advantage, and that really helped carry him to victory. So I think both of these trainers really hesitant to give up those protect shields, so switching into Lickitung to absorb that attack is a great way to kind of disperse some of that energy. But we do see a hard hitting charge attack getting queued up here, and no protect shield on that shiny Lickitung.
Yeah, Dancing Rob has been favoring those
कैसे पेला जाएगा मेडिचैम आ जाएगा वेलरन के सामने तो मजा आ जाएगा
मेडिचैम This Galarian Stunfisk also has the benefit of, you know, being almost at full health.
भाई रोब की हालत देखो मुझको इतना वैसा लग रहा है बहुत ज्यादा घबराया हुआ है भाई देखो एक बार लग रहा है नहीं लग रहा बहुत ज्यादा नर्वस लग रहा है रोब मेरे को देखो लेफ्ट वाला भी है वो सो नहीं कर रहा है बट रोब को मुझे लग रहा है सही में दिक्कत भी हो रही है कुछ पता नहीं यार कम से कम इतने सामने मास्क क्यों यूज कर रहे हैं सही है जो भी है मास्क यार कोई ब्रीथिंग प्रॉब्लम हो जाए यार मतलब
Yeah, Rob just dismissed that protection prompt almost immediately, wanting to save them probably for the Medicham
ऑक्सीजन
at
लेवल
this
डाउन हो जाए
point,
थोड़ा यार,
as the
चक्कर वक्कर आ जाए
Lickitung is
किसी
down into the red.
को, हो सकता है भाई।
And this Medicham
और
has
कितना ही
a
तगड़ा वो
fantastic
बॉडी बिल्डर
matchup
वगैरह को
against
भी आ जाता है यार
Rick
ऑक्सीजन लेवल
Flarion's
कम
Shadow
होने पे।
Wall Ring, which also just took
फ्लाइंग
the
बहुत गुस्सा आता है,
field.
लगता है फोन में
Will
घुस
use
के मारूं।
another rock slide on
Earthquake
this Galarian
catch.
Stunfisk first,
Rock
but
slide
no
number
shield,
1
and
हिला
that just
दिया है
does
बम।
so much damage.
और
Super
ये
effective
आएगा
rock slide. It's not the same
2
type of attack bonus, but it does apply so much pressure. We do see the
CMP.
wall rain fighting back, but the whole team for Rick Flareon has been revealed, and let's see how he reacts to that third Pokemon coming out here for Dancing Rob, as it will come any moment. And here comes the Medicham, counter swap into the Nidoqueen.
This is a very dangerous
Switch,
position
switch,
for the
switch.
Nidoqueen to be in, as it's at such low health. It's
Oh!
possible that these counters
Oh,
will knock it out, but instead
oh,
Lickitung coming in.
oh!
The Shadow Nidoqueen
ठीक
able
है,
to
एक
knock
switch.
out the Lickitung at
Okay,
the
shield,
last second.
shield, snag
And
कर गया,
then
snag कर
throw
गया.
in
Let's
burst
go.
power into
Shield
this
and farm
Medicham,
down.
but all
Let's go
Rob
भाई.
has to do
Shield and
is
farm down.
protect
I
shield
think ये
and
poison
then
मारना
go
था,
for
poison
the
से debuff हो
counter
सकता था,
to
बस
pick
और
up
कुछ
that
नहीं हो
KO. It's just the Shadow Wall Ring now. I saw
I think ये भी
one
shield and farm
Icicle
down,
Sphere. I
earthquake
don't think
नहीं
I
करेगा,
saw
KO
two.
नहीं
I
करेगा।
don't believe that wall rain is ready for doubles. Let's see. The Medicham does use that
वही
final protect
उसका
shield, and we do
उसके
see the
बहुत ज्यादा
counters
काम है
piling
इसकी।
on. Two shields in the
देख
face,
रहे हो
but
आप
the
अभी रोब
counters
को
do
देखो,
not
पहले से
stop. And we
अलग
see the
वो
knockout
है,
from
रोब को
Dancing
देखो
Rob.
यार, वो
Yeah,
सही में बहुत
Dancing
ज्यादा
Rob
नर्वस हो
also having
या फिर
those charged
उसे
moves
दिक्कत हो रही थी,
available
मास्क से
as
दिक्कत हो
well,
सकती
but
है।
just very confident
मतलब
in
जब
the
बाहर बार
energy
जाओ तो ठीक है यार,
management of
आसपास
that
बैठे हो तो सबका
situation,
चेक वेक करा के ही बिठाया
recognizing
होगा
that
यार।
the Shadow Wall Rain
कोविड चेक हुआ होगा, उसके बाद सब खेलने बैठे हैं। अब हम देखते हैं हमारा सेट नेगेटिव जी कितना जाता है। आई थिंक यार थोड़ा होना चाहिए भाई, बहुत सही खेला रोब यार। कमबैक देख रहे हो, 0 पहला हारा दोनों जीत गया, फिर कमबैक और व्हाट। कमबैक किंग लेवल 40 है। ग्रेड में लेवल 40 लगेगा स्वयं पढ़ को आप यार। डबल मूव हो जाए ऋतुराज भाई, अब इसको ही करना है यार। मैं सोच रहा हूँ आज इसको हकामों को डबल मूव कर दूंगा। आज कितना ही मैंने सोचा है, कल वापस रिकवर कर लेंगे। सही खेला जी। शायद कामनेस उस पर ये भी था कि भाई मैं वापस आ जाऊंगा जीत के, या फिर उसे पता था कि मेरी जो टीम है वो उसके टीम के खिलाफ काफ़ी अच्छी है। रैंक 1 मैडी के साथ, मैडी बेस्ट रिडोन और ये क्या कहते हैं बेस्ट है यार, मैडी बेस्ट रिडोन और शैडो विक्ट्री वेल। कोड कब मिलेगा? ये ऊपर वाला कोड है लास्ट, बट इससे कुछ खास नहीं मिल रहा भाई। तुम इनको देख, फालतू स्टारडस्ट वेस्ट मत करो। क्यों भाई? इनको ही तो देखना चाहिए, और किसे देखोगे आप? उन्हें देखोगे क्या? 1v1 मारते हैं जो पॉइजन में, वो 1v3 मारते हैं जो सोर्ट डालते हैं। आई थिंक फार्म डाउन करना था मेरे को, फार्म डाउन करना था। आई थिंक थोड़ी सी गलती कर दी यार, फार्म डाउन करना था। ये मुझको पता नहीं था इस रेंज में है ये, गलती कर दी यार। एनर्जी मैंने सारी खो दी यार। न्यू कोड कब तक आएगा? ये न्यू कोड ही है भाई, बट न्यू टाइम रिसर्च नहीं आई है। मैंने 2 कॉमो बना दिए थे, वाइल्ड पे मिल रहे थे, सारे कैंडी खत्म। मेरा भी वही हुआ। 0-15-15 बहुत अच्छा होता है क्या? हर कोई 0-15-15 अच्छा नहीं होता है। जीत गया यार, वो माइनस है अपना यार। यहाँ पर भी वो मूव काम आता, सेकंड मूव। यहाँ पर भी सेकंड मूव काम आता है यार, पर क्या कर सकते हैं। शील्ड एडवांटेज है ना, तो कुछ भी हो जाएगा यार। ड्रैगन पल्सी तो नहीं है, उसे कैंडी नहीं है भाई। कुछ नहीं हो सकता यार। एक बात बताओ, रिसर्च कब तक आएगी पता नहीं है, आ जाएगी नहीं आएगी यार मेरे को तो। जी भाई माइनस जा रहा है, सेट माइनस वापस से। यार ये लीड अच्छी नहीं चल रही है अपने पे। अगला मैच किसका है देखूं एक बार, अभी शुरू नहीं हो रहा। रिसर्च को स्टैकिंग कैसे करते हैं भाई? रिसर्च में आप पोकेमोन को कैच मत करो, बैक हो जाओ। लेफ्ट में बैक वाला आता है ना पोकेमोन से रन करने वाला, तो वो अपने आप स्टैक हो जाएगा। 100 स्टैक कर सकते हो, उसके बाद गायब होने लग जाते हैं। ग्रेट लीग और भी नेक्स्ट लेवल है, बहुत रेटिंग डाउन हो गया। ग्रेट लीग में यार बहुत ज़्यादा ऑप्शन है ना यार, यही तो गड़बड़ है। क्या ही गंदी लीड मिल रही है, पूरे दिन गंदी लीड भाई। कल पूरे दिन अच्छी लीड थी तो 2500, आज पूरे दिन बेकार है तो आज 2400। मैं मीटियोर मैच मिल गया मेटाग्रोस पे यार, ये सील्ड हो जाए मजा आ जाएगा ना। बढ़िया। एक पॉइजन स्लज बॉम्ब, एक बस एक स्लज बॉम्ब। स्क्राफ्टी को 2400 का कर दिया, बढ़िया। थ्रो क्या कैच करा है ब्रो, बूम। 1 2 3 4 5। डबल ड्रैगन यार बहुत यूज हो रही है, पॉलीरेथ और डबल ड्रैगन बहुत सही टीम है। आइस पंच स्काल्ड बस। पता नहीं था बैक टू बैक थ्रो करना चाहिए था ना। जी लेट्स गो। हेलो रोमांचकिन, क्या हाल है भाई? एंड अपना ये चल रहा है चैंपियनशिप, देख रहे हो क्या? हम देख रहे हैं, साथ साथ खेल भी रहे हैं। और एंड मैच स्टार्ट हो चुका है एक्शन का भाई, एक्शन का मैच स्टार्ट हो चुका है यार, हमने मिस कर दिया। चलो कोई नहीं, इसके बाद चलते हैं। इसको कलेक्ट कर लूँ मैं, ठीक है। मैच स्टार्ट हो चुका है, पहला ही मैच है, आ जाओ। मेरी साउंड थोड़ी कम आएगी यार, बड़ा ही जल्दी स्टार्ट कर देते हैं बंदे यार। एक्शन
from Kujira, it will be the Urk. It's Axon does use the protect shield.
Shield आ जाए ना अपने पे,
We have another charge
तो पेल देंगे यार। बट अभी यहाँ पर एक्शन और कुजीरा चल रहा है। पिछली बार एक्शन बहुत तगड़ा खेला था, शायद हरी भाई का फेवरेट है शायद। बाकी कुजीरा खतरनाक लग रहा है, फुल स्ट्रेस में दोनों मोबाइल तोड़ने के मूड में लग रहे हैं। चलो बाय ब्रो, बाय बाय। गोकू आया पोगन को मैं रेड में या वाइल्ड।
This is such a high skill play because
चलते फिरते देख रहे हैं।
did recognize that his wall rain was not going to win that charge room priority. It would go second, so he switches in the Medicham, but this is tough because now the Trevenant comes out and there are no protect shields to save the Medicham from an attack.
The Medicham will have the opportunity to throw an Ice Punch into this Trevenant, which is going to hurt, but it will
देखो उसका
not
वर्जन
secure
अलग है,
the
देखो
knockout.
लैंग्वेज
As
अलग
a
है
result,
उसकी।
Trevenant able to
चाइनीज है क्या
Shadow
है
Claw
कौन सी पता
down
नहीं
this Medicham
I
and
think
bank
Japanese
all
है।
of this energy for the Shadow Wall Rain and Shadow Nidoqueen waiting for it in the back.
Nido
at
Nido
its
Nido
Axis
I think
party.
Nido ही सही
There are
है।
no Protect Shields on the board for either trainer, but the oh my goodness, Trevenant has so much energy
Shadow
and
Ball.
it strikes with the Shadow Ball.
अभी
This is
farm
going
down
to deal
अगर
an
हो जाए
immense amount of
Trevenant,
damage to the Shadow Nidoqueen, but it will
तो मजा आ
probably
जाएगा
hang
ना।
on, and it does.
It does, but for how long? Should have enough
नहीं
time
होगा।
to get one poison
But
fang,
Veilrin पे
maybe
energy
two,
मिल
but
गई है।
instead a seed bomb
एक अर्थ
will
का
connect
पड़
with
गया
that
तो
Shadow
एक्शन पे
Nidoqueen,
भी
and you
चांस है
know
यार,
that's
क्योंकि
going to
उधर
do
ना
more
flyer
than
है।
enough damage for the KO.
I just want to mention here, this is a pivotal moment because this wall rain comes in, it does powder snow down that Trevenant, and this
Catch
is
करेगा
key
क्या बंदा?
information that might be
मुझे लग रहा है
gleaned here
catch कर
as
सकता
its
है।
Axon's wall rain is loaded up with energy, and the Mandibuzz is waiting in the wings.
Catch है क्या?
Do we see the dark
Kuzira
flying type
catch?
Pokemon come out here?
I
And
mean,
we do.
Mandibuzz
नहीं
is
किया, वो
at
करने
a
की
type
कोशिश थी।
disadvantage for these ice type attacks, but it is at full health, so this will have
Number
the benefit
one.
of taking some of that energy away from the Shadow Wall Rain. It will have the opportunity as well
नहीं
to
करा था,
take an
catch नहीं करा
attack
था,
really
okay।
for this
मुझे
other
लगा
Shadow
इतने
Wall
देर टैप
Rain
किया
that
उन्होंने
just
catch
swapped
किया वजह
in,
से
but its Axon already has enough time to get back to the Earthquake, and you know that's going to bring that Wall Rain so
Boom.
close to a knockout. It just
And
barely.
Icicle
Does, and
Spare
look at its Axon fighting
क्या है यहाँ
hard
पर?
to try to
I
get
think
momentum
Veilrin
back
देखो
into
low तो
this
बहुत है।
matchup just through the second Icicle
पर ये
Spear
Mandibuzz
here. It
निकाल
needs
सकता
to
है
outpace
match।
to a third one, or the Mandibuzz will
ये
deliver
damage
decisive blow. Can Walrein get there?
एक
All right, here we go.
दो
That dark tape attack is charging
तीन
up, and it's just a
4 HP
split
and a Dream
second
Kuzira
faster that
takes on
will beat the
AXN
Shadow
in
Wall
the
Rain
first
to
match।
another
Crazy,
Icicle Sphere, and
crazy,
Kuzira
crazy भाई।
able to take game 1 in this winner's round 3 set.
It's Axon
भाई।
fought so hard to bring that matchup back, but that Mandibuzz's bulk was a decisive factor.
1 HP and a
as it
Dream।
barely
नया
escaped
कोड
that
आने वाला होगा
matchup.
8
Kujira
मिनट में भाई।
stealing away that game 1.
अगर
It
एक
was
टैप
such
और पड़ जाता
an
उसका लैग हो
exciting
जाता नहीं तो
matchup
भाई।
too, because
कुजीरा
again,
मस्त
at
खेला यार,
first
कुजीरा
glance,
अच्छा खेला यार।
Mandibuzz, not the
क्योंकि
Pokemon you
AXN
want
बहुत तगड़ा
out
खेला
on
था,
the
रीजनल
field
चैंपियन
against
भी है वो।
Walrein, arguably one of
AXN
the
जो है।
best Ice-type Pokemon users in the metagame right now. But Kujira able to
खतरनाक
manage
खेला
that
है।
energy. You know, we saw that Mandibuzz take
1
impact
HP
for the
almost
Walrein,
भाई। ये
leave
Mandibuzz
the
मरता
field
क्यों
and
नहीं है
come
यार
back
तुराज भाई?
just in
अम्बू
time
जैसे
with
मंडे
just
बनाया
enough
क्या?
energy to hit that dark-type
अम्बू
attack.
जैसे मंडे।
Going into game 2, you know, I would
क्रेजी
love
भाई,
to see
बहुत
the
क्रेजी मैच
Mandibuzz
जा रहे
again,
हैं।
but
अभी
it
राइज
just
का भी
was
मैच है,
so
जानते हो ना?
precarious for it. You have
राइज
to
का भी
wonder,
मैच है
is it
भाई।
worth bringing the Mandibuzz for your
Also भाई
Medicham
1 more like 2 को
when
25
you
करते हैं
just
क्रॉस आ जाओ।
barely held on in that game 1?
Also ये
I would
रिडीम
really
नहीं
love
करा है
to
तो
see
कर
some
लेना।
Trevenant
शैडो
play
विलन
here,
ओपी है
but
यार
if we
सही
look
में।
at the team from
ये
its
ऊपर
Axon
वाला
in game
कोड
number
अगर
1,
आपने
you
रिडीम
can
नहीं
see
करा
the
तो रिडीम
Walrein
कर लो
and the
मंथली।
Nidoqueen, 2 obstacles to that
एक टाइम
Trevenant
रिसर्च
as
मिलेगी
well.
जो मैंने
I'm
अभी
very
कलेक्ट
interested
करी
to
थी।
see
मेरे
if
यार
these
2
trainers will
रीजन
decide
वगैरह
to
तुराज
use
भाई
those
क्या
Protect
बताऊं
Shields
आपको। और
early
आपको
too,
पता है एक्सीलेंट
because
मिस
once
नहीं
those
होती
Protect
यार
Shields went
अपने
down,
से।
it looked
डिस्कॉर्ड के सारे
almost
बंदे
hopeless
ओपी
for
हैं।
its Axon, but he was able
भाग
to
गया
bring
भाई,
it
क्या
very,
करूं?
very close in the end.
बहुत बुरा
And
लगा यार,
I think
दिल
the
से बुरा लगा।
Mandibuzz's story in game 1,
मैंने कहा
it
भाई
did not
बनाना ही
win
नहीं है
by
भाई।
virtue
हंडो नहीं
of
मिलेगा तो
typing,
घंटा
it won
सोचना
by
भी नहीं है
virtue of
50
its
का।
bulk, its stat
40 बना
product.
लेंगे,
It could
15
stay in
टाइम
that
हो जाएगा।
matchup, deal neutral damage when it counted, and
हरी भाई
edge
से
out that
मेरी
victory
वो
for
अटकी
Kujira,
पड़ी है,
but
लक्की
can he get
ट्रेड आज ही हुई थी।
fortunate in game
वो कह रहे हैं
number 2?
साइन ही कर
I
लो।
know,
मैंने
this
कहा यार
is
मेरे पे जो
exactly
2
why
साइन
I've
होते हैं
been
मैं वही
holding
कर
on to
सकता
my
हूँ।
Vullaby to try
कह रहे
and
मिल
trade
जाएगा।
with
मैं कहा
some
जैकरों
friends
वगैरह
to
यार
get
कब वापस
my
आएंगे
own
कुछ नहीं पता।
Mandibuzz. It's
मैं
such a
जेसन कह रहा हूँ, वो
powerful
जेसन कर नहीं रहे
Pokemon,
लक्की
but for
ट्रेड
this
यार।
game too, more
Guaranteed lucky
powerful
trade यार
Pokemon. It's
जेसन।
another
15 अटैक मिल जाएगा
Walrein
दूंगा।
versus Walrein standoff,
ये
but
मूव
will we
क्योंकि
see
15
the
12 तो
almost
कम से कम
perfect
मिलेगा
mirror
ही
like we
अगर
saw
15
in
अटैक
game
मिला तो।
1?
It was absolutely picture perfect in game number 1, but these two Walreins might
ये
change things up
ये
here.
वो है
Actually,
लाइट
the same teams
जो आंख
from
बंद करके
both
आपसे
trainers
अच्छा खेल
doubling
सकते हैं
down on
भाई।
these
इसलिए
team
वहाँ पर
compositions. We do
हैं
see
सारे
the
लेजेंड
Icicle
बंदे
Spear will
बहुत
let you
तगड़े खेल
strike
रहे हैं।
twice. It looks like
ये
it's
टीम
Axon
रजिस्टर नहीं
calling
कराई
this
वरना
one.
यूज सब
It's
करते होंगे
Axon.
यार।
Remembering what
6 ही
happened in
पोकेमॉन
game
रजिस्टर
1
कराने हैं
and not
क्योंकि
protect shielding
हमसे
the
सबसे अच्छा
Icicle
खेलते हैं
Sphere
लोग।
and now throwing an Icicle Sphere of his own, but Kujira
कल सबसे पहले
goes
लेफ्ट साइड वाला
for
भी
the
ना।
shield.
Kujira does sacrifice that early
क्या करना
protection,
चाहिए
but
तुराज
we've
भाई?
seen
क्योंकि
this
देखो यार
trainer
एक
come
ही
back
साइन है
from
तो क्या
very
मतलब
tough
है? या तो
depths
मिरर
before,
करो अगर एक ही
reaching
साइन
for
नहीं है तो।
another
मैंने बोला
bait
उनसे
here, going to
जैकरोम
double
कर
down
लेते हैं
and
साइन
does
ही
get
मिरर,
the
वो कह रहे हैं
Protect
मेरे पे
Shield this time.
98%
All
है।
right, Right, so in
मैं कहा
game
ठीक है
2, I
कोई बात नहीं,
believe
फिर वो
the
कह रहे हैं
second
रेसेराम
charge
कर लो,
move
मैं कह यार
was
रेसेराम मेरे
the
को हंडो पड़ा हुआ है,
earthquake
ऐसे तो
from
मैं भी कह
both
सकता
Kujira
हूँ।
and it's
हाथ की
Axon.
पड़ी
This
है भाई
time
वो।
around, Kujira going for a second icicle sphere, but it's Axon now
ग्लोबल जीत जाओ
throwing
बनाए
the
भाई,
earthquake.
लाइट आप खेलो
Will
मैं तो कहता
Kujira
हूँ,
shield
मेरे
it?
को
He
ग्लोबल
lets
नहीं
it
इतना, हम भाई वेटरन
Oh,
को
earthquake comes through
हम
and does
2500
secure the
क्रॉस कर गए
knockout
भाई।
onto that Shadow
एक
wall.
साइड अगर हमारा
Axon
ऋतुराज
is
भाई
out too early.
पॉजिटिव
Here we
जाता ना
see
एक
the
साइड
Trevenant
भी
and
मजा आ
the
जाएगा।
Shadow Needle Queen to match it. how do you think Trevenant
एक
actually
साइड
goes
में
for
यार
the
वो
Z
डबल
bomb?
मूव हो
Answer
ना
the question
बहुत
before I
तगड़ा
even
पेलेंगे
ask
यार
it.
I was going to say, you know, Mandibus has that bulk and
उनको
can
क्या
do
चाहिए
some decent
पता नहीं
damage
यार
against the Shadow Needle Queen, but you
उनको
really
साइन
don't
लेजेंडरी
want to be
चाहिए
stuck
यार
with those
मेन है वो
defensive drops, knowing that
उनको
the Shadow
लेजेंडरी
Wall
साइन
Rain
ही
is
करना
there
है
as
और मेरे
well.
पे
It's just
ज्यादा है नहीं
unfortunate
यार
this Trevenant is going to be taking super effective damage from the poison, or decent
ज्यादातर
damage
ट्रेड
from the
कर लेता
poison
हूँ
fang,
मैं
and that's even after the
ट्रेडेबल
defense
मेरे
drop.
And we
पे
do see
खाली
the
दो ही हैं
Mandibus
जो मैंने
finally
ट्रेड नहीं
take
करे
to the
हैं
skies here,
मैं कहा म्यूटू
clearing that
अगर आप
debuff
पे
and
है
switching out the
और मैं पे
Trevenant,
क्यूरा में
but the
म्यूटू और
Needle
क्यूरा
Queen
में
is going
एक्स्ट्रा
to
है
continue to apply pressure here, and I think the value of Medicham
लाइट
is really
अल्ट्रा
going to
लीग के लिए है
shine,
क्या
but it
बट एक
has
रेड
to
लीग में हो
contend
रहा है
with
शायद
this
आपने देखा
Mandibus.
नहीं
Needle Queen doing its best to set up its teammates with a poison fang. Does it get to another one?
डबल
And it
डिबफ
does!
नहीं ओ
That Mandibus is able to keep itself
डबल
safe
डिबफ नहीं
for
हुआ भाई
now,
गलत
but unfortunately, its
ये
accent
poison गलत
still
पड़ता
has a shield available, and I think very
हाँ ऋतुराज
wisely
भाई उनको
saving
समझ
it
एंटर
for
मिला
that Shadow
जीबीएल
Wall
से
Rain,
सोचो
as it has such a great matchup against Kuchira's remaining two Pokemon.
कोई
And we
दिक्कत
do
नहीं
see
यार
the
हम
Mandibus
तो
delivering
रेसन कर
another
लेंगे
strike, trying to
मेरे
cut
को कोई
through this
इंटरेस्ट नहीं है कभी
Medicham's
ना भी
HP
करें
with
तो
an
भी
aerial
चलेगा
ace,
यार
and this one will not be shielded either. As we
रेसियन
saw, the
अच्छा हो गया
Medicam
ना
did
रेसियन
take
सब
that
बनाने
first
सोच
one,
रहे हैं तो वो
looks to take
करना
another,
चाहिए मेरे
reaches for
हिसाब
the wall right now, manipulating
उनको
this
चाहिए
switch timers.
sign legend
Mandibus
की।
can't get out.
Oh, that Mandibus is stuck taking those powdered snows, and
हाँ
now
इस
also
रोटेशन पे
taking
मिलना
an
चाहिए था सही
icicle
कह रहे
spear
हो
as well. While
जनोजा
Kujira
एंटाइजेशन
could
कुछ तो
go
आना
for the
चाहिए था
shield here, there's just no
पता नहीं कब
point.
निकालेंगे
That Mandibus has such low health. The Trevenant needs it, but Trevenant too, already in the yellow, has no charge available. And this Icicle Sphere is going to deal so much damage and remove that final shield.
Trevenant is spooky, but it is brittle. It does not want to take these super effective powder snows. Can it pace another move?
Okay.
And the wall ring
वो
gets
चाहता था
first.
देखो वो चाहता था
Kujira
थ्रो करो
very, very closely
कुजीरा चाहता था वो
losing the
देखो
game to its Axon, bringing us into a game 3 situation. We saw both these trainers bring the same team, bring the same lead, and almost
क्या ही
have
है
a
भाई
similar
कुजीरा
start
चाहता था
to
क्या कि हाँ
the
भाई
game 2.
कर दे फार्म
In
डाउन
game
कोई
3,
दिक्कत
do
नहीं
you
है
expect to
अगला
see
जीत
the same
जाऊंगा
thing,
मैं
or are we
ऐसा लग रहा
finally
था
going
मेरे
to
को
see some adjustments?
Well, we
कुजीरा
have
चाह
here
रहा
a
है भाई
rare
पता है
occasion
मुझको
where
कोई नहीं
both of these
कंट्रोल कर
trainers
रहा हूँ
seem
मैं
very
अगला जीतूंगा
comfortable
मैं
and confident in their lineups. We haven't
ये भाई
seen
ट्विच
two
पे लाइव हो रहा है
trainers
मैं ट्विच
double
पे देख
down
रहा
on
हूँ
the
अभी
same
तो
team
पोकेमॉन
in
को
game
ऑफिशियल
1 and
चैनल
game
यूट्यूब
2.
पर भी
We
लाइव
haven't
होगा
seen
बट
that
उसमें
all
चैट नहीं है
tournaments,
तो
my
मतलब
knowledge.
नहीं है कोड
Seeing
वगैरह
these two
नहीं
trainers
आएगा
double down and trust
मेरे को
their
एक बार को
Pokemon
लगा
is
ऋतुराज पे
definitely
एक पोकेमॉन
a
पीछे भी
unique
है
opportunity.
तो वो कर
Now,
रहा है हाँ
will
भाई
they do
फार्म
the
डाउन
same in
कर
game
दे
3? I really think the value of this Medicham is going to shine here for its accent. It
अच्छा खेले यार
hasn't quite
दोनों
found the wall rain
अभी
or
अभी
the
भाई
Registeel that
टाइम
it
ब्रेकर
wants
होगा
to.
अभी
but
मजा
it
आएगा
could have an
इस मैच पे ज्यादा
opportunity to
ध्यान
do that
देंगे
in
अभी तो हम
game
ट्रेड की
number
बातों में
3.
लग
Would you
गए
agree
थे
with that?
I
इस
think
मैच पे पूरा
so.
ध्यान
I
देंगे
think
भाई
that the Medicham is getting closer and closer to this positioning that it's looking for as every game goes on. You know, yes, the Pokemon are the same, but its accent, I think, very smartly recognizing
बताओ ऋतुराज भाई
Kujira's
क्या करना चाहिए
playstyle and
ट्रेड
adapting to it accordingly. So even if we do see another double wall rain lead, I'm pretty sure that its accent is capable of observing that
पोकेमॉन
and
वालों को 3
adapting
शील्ड
his
देना चाहिए
strategy
और आधे घंटे का
accordingly.
मैच बना दो
And
ना
that's
यार
the kind
लाइक
of play you have to make here. You know, it might even be a better mind game to just bring the same 3 Pokemon once again and just use what
एक
you've
एक अभी
learned
मजा
against
आएगा
your opponent. But for now, there's 2 Medicham
लेट्स गो
on
फाइनल
the
है भाई थोड़ा
field
मैच
as
पे
a
ध्यान देते हैं उसके
lead.
बाद ट्रेड की
These
बात करेंगे ठीक
Medicham
है
went wall rain lead
मेडिचैम इनटू
hunting, and
मेडिचैम
both of
मिरर
them
है
are coming back
दोनों
home
पे
without
साइकिल
the
भी
wall
है
rain, but they will scrap
अरे इस पे
against each
डायरेक्ट
other here
पंच
in
पावर
the
अप
open
है
battlefield. They do have different
पावर अप है ना
movesets,
ये
though.
लेकिन पता नहीं
Look
चल
at
रहा
this
क्या
moveset on the right.
पावर
We
अप ही
have
है
power up
शायद
punch and psychic for Kujira.
Yeah, and that's a
आप
psychic
बताओ ऋषभ भाई आप
already
बताओ
being thrown
भाई देखो
into its accent.
मेरे पे जैकरो में एक ही
Medicham
साइन
is
नहीं
going
कब
to
आएंगे
do a
मिलेंगे
nice
नहीं मिलेंगे
chunk
आपको मेरी
of
किस्मत पता है मेरे को
damage.
साइन ही नहीं
But those
मिलते
power-up
तो
punches,
मिरर
I think,
मिरर
is
के
something
अलावा मैं
important
नहीं
for us to
भेजना
note,
चाहता
as
यार
both
साइन
these trainers
लेजेंडरी
have their wall rains
मेरी किस्मत में
and
साइन ही
their
कमी
other
है
similar Pokemon from the previous match.
डियालगा लेवल 50 बना दिया उसका
absolutely
साइन ही
do,
नहीं
but
मिला
the
और तो
Psychic does
छोड़
have a
दे
chance
यार
to drop the opponent's defense, which can make this matchup a little more manageable. It does not actually trigger. These Medichams are pacing at the same
Okay,
rate.
Ice
The
Punch.
Ice Punch gets delivered first. Can the Medicham hang on?
शील्ड नहीं करो कुजीरा जी
It's
नहीं
going to be
ये
close,
बात
but
बिग कॉल
Kujira
भाई
certainly thinks
आई
so,
थिंक रुक जाओ
not
कुछ
going
दिन
for
मेरे
the
हिसाब से
shield
रुकना
and
सही नहीं है इस
is
महीने तो कोई
able
है
to
नहीं
hold
अच्छा
on and throw that psychic
ठीक है
back.
इस महीने
Its
कहाँ है
accent letting the
बाकी
Medicham
बनना होगा तो
go.
एक महीने में फिर बन जाएंगे ऋतुराज भाई आज कर लो एक दो महीने में फिर बन जाएंगे है ना अब अगर आप आगे टालते रहोगे तो क्या मतलब
gather some energy and position himself.
तो मेरे
to
को
face
साइन ही
this
नहीं
next
मिलेगा वो
Pokemon
मेरे को
for
कंफर्म
Kujira.
है अभी
All right, well, it's going to be
Low
the
पड़ा है
Shadow
भाई।
Wall Rain taking the
Okay,
field,
farm
and
down।
Kujira happy to steal some decent chunk, but more importantly, it's Axen getting enough energy already to be at an Icicle Sphere against Kujira's own Shadow Wall Rain. It's Axen going straight for the Earthquake.
When you're ahead on energy, this is a play that is telegraphed very often, and it does get read here perfectly by Kujira. He knows the Earthquake is coming, but for the third time in 3 games, we have a wall rain mirror on the screen.
मैंने बोल दिया था, पहले ही बोल दिया था
मैंने. For the players, as it feels like every time this mirror happens, it plays out just a little bit differently. It's Axen though shielding the Icicle Sphere from Kujira. So now these trainers both down to 1 shield, and it's another.
Shield,
this time it is the Earthquake, and it's Axens calls it.
And even though it's Axen had that early energy lead, we see the trainers reach charge with priority on their charge
Tornado
attacks.
को Trevenant को खा जाएगा, मुझे ऐसा क्यों लग रहा है?
Axen, ice in his veins is going to bait.
तो Shadow 2 poison में खत्म है.
And he does.
At the last possible second, using that protect shield, both these trainers are now out of shield, and it's just these two wall rain going at it.
We do see the Wall Rain delivering an Earthquake here from its Axen. Will this KO the Wall Rain and escape the matchup? And it does! Yes, it does!
Alright, Kujira down to his final Pokemon. It is going to be that Trevenant, but unfortunately the Wall Rain is able to get to the Icicle Sphere just a split second faster. And with no shield remaining on Kujira's side of the field, it's gonna hurt.
It absolutely
one shot हो गया भाई, one shot करता है सही में.
Trevenant as it wilts off
मैंने
the field.
सोचा ही
Axen flourishes. What a
Axen takes the match भाई, बहुत गलत खेलता है
ये.
Axen
was able to defeat Kujira, and you can see that
go.
expression, that sigh of relief. That matchup could
code
not have been
भाई,
closer. And like you said, Gabby, those Wall Rain mirrors time after time after time.
ऋतुराज भाई एक बार कोड आप लिख देना है, टाइप कर देना
piles
है.
on, and you have to let that go through your shoulders when it's finally over.
Yeah, you gotta take a moment to breathe, especially when these matches are queued up so quickly. If you have a couple of seconds to be able to reset your mental energy and take a little break, I think it really helps center and make sure that you're ready for your next game, because you know these trainers are in winners round 3 of Worlds. They are progressing through the bracket undefeated on the top side of the bracket. You want to keep that going as long as you can.
You want to keep the good times rolling as much as you possibly can, and these trainers are doing their best to do that. But Kujira is not out of this competition yet. Very calculated, very calm, very impressive trainer. I think a very solid matchup for its Axen. They might even meet again if Kujira is able to win through the losers bracket.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how this is going to play out. And it's also really exciting to see Japan and see some of the other countries represented here do so well. You know, I think one thing that
टाइप करके देखता हूं मैं भी. पांच लाइक दूर है हम कल के रिकॉर्ड से. ऋतुराज भाई टूटेगा नहीं टूटेगा? डिस्कॉर्ड वाले बंदे आ जाए टूट जाएगा वैसे. कल का रिकॉर्ड तोड़ना है यार वॉच पार्टी का अपने को. ये मैच जीतना पड़ेगा, ज़्यादा माइनस ना हो यार. ज़्यादा हम अगर ये हारे तो 2490 पे ही जाएंगे. नहीं नहीं ज़्यादा जाएंगे, अगर जीते तो 2490 पे. देखते हैं, ये मैच जीतना पड़ेगा यार. इसके बाद अगला सेट पॉजिटिव जाना ही पड़ेगा. बहुत देर हो गई अब मैच एकदम रुक गए हैं हमारे. टूटेगा रिकॉर्ड, देखते हैं. फिलहाल तो मैच मिल जाए. अरे थ्रो बहुत गलत है यार. क्या ही डैमेज देता है यार वो. साइकिक कह रहा हूँ, एक्स्ट्रा सेंसरी है ना. ओके 27 हो गए क्या? देखते हैं. लवलाइस 25-28 के बंदे से मैचिंग करा रहे हैं हमारी 25-0. ओ बस वुल फास्ट मूव डैमेज देखो. फास्ट मूव डैमेज देख रहे हो? खतरनाक दे रहा है भाई. लेट्स गो. बूम. नहीं हुआ. सुपर बार इनफ देगा डैमेज तो वैसे. क्या कैच किया है इसने? किस में कैच किया है? क्या कर दिया इसने एकदम ही? वक्त बदल दिए, जज्बात बदल दिए। एनर्जी तो है ना अपने पे अब। शील्ड ओके, गुड शील्ड फॉर अस आई थिंक। अपने लिए अच्छी है यार। बैक टू बैक ड्रैगन क्लो आ जाए तो शायद हम बैकलाइन पे जो भी होगा संभाल लेंगे। लंज ओके, अपने आप को डिबफ नहीं करा उसने। 1 2 3 यार ये पॉइजन मारेगा अभी। मड बॉम्ब स्लज बॉम्ब, खत्म मैच। जी भाई, अब कुछ अलग ट्राई करना पड़ेगा ऋतुराज भाई, वरना अब तो गलत माइनस होगा। अब गलत माइनस होगा भाई। एंड मंथ सच चुका है 2466, बहुत गंदा माइनस लगा है। 2500 जाने के लिए तगड़ा सेट खेलना पड़ेगा एक, या तो डबल मूव करना पड़ेगा या कुछ और करना पड़ेगा। आई थिंक डबल मूव ही करना पड़ेगा यार। नाइस ट्राई यार, वो सही खेल गया यार। उन्हें फार्म डाउन भी नहीं करने दिया मेरे को।
Move as an event Pokemon.
रेड में बहुत टाइम से वेट कर रहे हैं। गिराटीना
Not Pokemon Go quite yet, but we have the
गिराटीना आएगा तो साइन नहीं ऑटोमेटिकली होगा ही
2022 Pikachu available to us, which I mean, let's be real. I'm a Pika fan. I love the outfits, but it's great when trainers, you know, get into it and bring some of their favorite Pokemon, but also, you know, celebrate the local culture. You know, Poltegeist is the perfect Pokemon if you want a nice cup of tea at the end of the day.
I was going to say, tea and crumpets sounds like the move after this tournament is done. Our two trainers here are from different parts of the world as well. We see Status Dan, actually a London local, lives here in the United Kingdom.
Oh, I see. It's all coming together.
Exactly right. And then on the left side, we have Zardy from Brazil qualifying from their tournament. And we have some fun Pokemon here on the screen. Gabby, take it away.
I'm sorry. I get so excited when I see a Deoxys defense form because it is honestly one of my favorite Pokemon. Zardy also running the Walrein, the Shadow Nidoqueen, the Azumarill, a Kofagrigus, which is a Pokemon, again, we haven't seen much of this weekend. And the Obstagoon, that community A Pokemon we keep talking about, finally making an appearance in day 1 of Worlds.
Obstagoon is so solid in a lot of these matchups. We do see the Trevenant, but we don't see the Walrein quite yet, as we were talking about our team composition tricks before this set. But the Obstagoon still has a ton of play, dealing a lot of super effective counter damage. Night Slash is a huge threat, not only for the Trevenant, but also the Sableye. But I am most excited for that Kofagrigus. It is a bulky Ghost-type Pokemon with access to charge attacks like Shadow Ball, Dark Pulse, and Psychic.
It's also very, very creepy to see just crawling around. And I know Halloween is right around the corner, so also, you know, getting ready for all the good stuff. Status Dan, again, the local hero, so to speak, on the right-hand side of your screen, running a team of Purified Fly, Registeel, Swampert, just a normal one, Scrafty, Trevenant, and the Alolan Ninetales.
I really do agree with you. Defense Form Deoxys is
Zardy,
one of my favorite Pokemon
यार
to play with, and it's such a strong Pokemon, but it has such a
खेलते दोनों
tough
बढ़िया हैं, बट इसे
time
देखा है
against
खेलते।
Ghost types, as we see the Sableye and the Trevenant making an appearance there
क्या
for
लगता है कौन
Status
विन
Dan's team.
करेगा ये
I
वाला?
really think that that's enough bench pressure
किसी को
to
तुक्का
push
मारना
that
है?
Defense Form Deoxys
मैं
out
Zardy
of
की
the
तरफ जा रहा
lineup
हूँ,
for
डिफेंस
Zardy.
डिओक्सिस है।
And again,
बट
if you can kind
Obstagoon
of
को
build a
ये
team
Scrafty
that
कोर
forces
ब्रेक
your
ना कर
opponent
जाए।
not to bring certain
Scrafty
Pokemon,
core break
you
कर
can start
सकता है
to check
क्योंकि
things off your list. There is no
चार्मर
chance
है,
to see
देखो
Defense Form
चार्मर भी है।
Deoxys. This game just became
नीडोक्वीन तो
6
पक्का आ
versus
रहा है
5.
मैच में, ऐसा लग रहा है।
That's too bad. I was really hoping we'd see Defense Form Deoxys.
I mean, you never know. It does have a ton of play. Rockslide can deal super effective damage to that Alolan Ninetales. Counter's still super effective
जीतेगा
against
देखना वो
Scrafty as well.
टूर्नामेंट में
Yeah,
है
I
नहीं
think
भाई।
we'll just have to see. You know, it sounds like to me the Defense Form Deoxys
Update रहो
isn't the
थोड़ा सा
game
यार।
1 play, but
कुछ
could
भी।
be a spicy game 2 prediction like we saw in that previous matchup.
Charging
But
पे
you
लगाना
know, there's
पड़ेगा ना
still
अभी।
a lot of interesting Pokemon for Zardy. You know, that Obstagoon feels like it has some really decent play here. You know, it
भाई
is
ये
a
मैच
normal
अब
Dark type
अब
Pokemon,
जीतना
so it doesn't
दिक्कत
have to
दे रहा
worry
भाई।
as too much
अब
about
ग्रेट
that
लीग में
Sableye.
जाने
Can't
से
hit it
बेकार है,
neutrally,
फाइटिंग
and it
का
also feels like it
वही होगा,
matches
अब हम
up really
2400
well
पे पड़े
against the
रहेंगे।
Trevenant, against the Scrafty
आई
possibly.
थिंक हमको कुछ करना
I
पड़ेगा,
feel like this
लीड
is going to
चेंज
be an
करके
Obstagoon
कोमो
match.
कर सकते हैं यार,
This
वो भी
could
सही
be
है,
an
बुरा नहीं है।
Obstagoon match, and Zardy's doing
Como
his
Lili
best to
अच्छी
be an
है।
obstacle in Statistan's way, preventing him from moving through this bracket, but only time will tell. We do have double water type Pokemon here on
क्योंकि
Zardy's team
अगर
as well, in
हम
the
पे
form
शील्ड
of
मिल
the
गए ना तो
Walrein
टॉक्सिक
and
रॉक
Azumarill.
कोमो
I think
को
the
या
Trevenant makes an
हकामो को
appearance in
संभाल
every
लेगा। अब
single game
हकामो
here.
यार दोनों होते
I would
मजा
hope
आता
so.
है
I
इस
mean,
तरह।
Trevenant just has
क्यों
that
कोमो
amazing
ज़्यादा
typing
डैमेज
and
देता है
has those
ड्रैगन टेल
grass
से,
type
देखा आपने?
attacks, and we've just seen it deal
हकामो
so
से।
much damage with those Shadow
रेड
Balls
लेवल 10
already
पिकाचू यूज करो ना
throughout
प्लीज, मेरे पे
the
है नहीं।
day. And you
मेरे
really
पे
want
दूसरी
to
आईडी
be
पे हो
using
सकता है मैं कभी करूँ।
those
ऋतुराज भाई
meta
दूसरी आईडी पे मेरे को
Pokemon, those popular Pokemon
क्या कह
that
रहा हूँ,
have
हंडो
the
मिल
high
गया था यार
stat
ये वाला।
totals, that have
हमने
those
ये वाला कैच
incredibly
भी नहीं करा है मेन
amazing
आईडी
moves in order to
पे।
power
इवेंट
you
वाला हंडो मिल गया, उस पे
through
पहले
to
फील्ड
the
से
World
सर्च करो,
Championships.
पहले
We
पे।
are still in winners round 3 now, so
मेन आईडी पे
these
क्यों नहीं
trainers
है?
currently undefeated. They need
खैर
to
मेरे पे है
have
ही नहीं
these
वो।
victories in order to carry them
मेन
through
आईडी
to
पे
top 8 till tomorrow's competition, to that final stage. And you know, again, what better way to do it
Start
than
करने
using what's
रहे।
been consistently doing well?
भाई मेंबरशिप से
right.
मोड नहीं खरीद
Consistency is
सकते भाई,
key.
लाइट
Zardy looking
मेंबरशिप
to
से मोड खरीद सकते
consistently
हो उसके चैनल पे
defeat his
जाओ।
opponents here, as he
मोड तो
did
नहीं
go
दे रहा
7-1 in the Brazil qualifiers. We do
बिल्कुल
see the
भी।
Azumarill lead into Scrafty, and this is a powerful start for Zardy on the left.
It is, as the Azumarill. It will take a few turns to get there.
Will run
Will get
into
access to
Swampert,
play rough,
okay.
but an adjustment from both of these trainers. Statistan sending in the Swampert, and Zardy
Wow.
sending in the Walrein to meet it.
पहले
And
बड़े
we do
बंदे
see
आते
this
थे यार,
Icicle
तो
Spear get
भाई
fired off
ऐसे।
here. The Shadow Swampert is very threatened by the Icicle Spears, but the regular Swampert,
Second level
not
member
so
ही हटा
much. It
देता हूँ
can
मैं,
comfortably
है ना?
absorb that first one. Going straight
फिलहाल
for
हटाता
the
हूँ अगर किसी पे
Earthquake,
second
though.
level
This is
नहीं है
the same
ना,
type attack bonus.
उसके
And
नए
the
को डालता
Walrein
हूँ।
is about to jiggle after the Earthquake hits.
Oh
Boom.
no, it almost knocks out the Walrein. That's just how powerful these earthquakes
Shield.
are in Statisan.
नहीं।
Making a great call there that Zardy would
Shield
not
भाई।
go for the shield.
देखना
Statisan
Swampert
forced
जीतेगा।
to shield this Icicle Spear as it would have done enough to knock it out, but that Swampert is almost at the second earthquake. It has the energy available, but it doesn't even need to throw that. It can just knock out with a Hydro Cannon.
Great skill showing here as well. Statisan recognizing that the
Okay,
Walrein
shield.
will lose CMP to the Swampert, but the Walrein's going to stay in this matchup. The Protect Shield gets
Okay,
deployed, and Zardy
CMP.
strikes back with an Icicle
Okay,
Spear.
shield.
Statisan
Switch के लिए जा रहा है
actually
भाई।
tug of war
Stat.
going on here as these two trainers want to preserve both of their Pokemon.
Stat
This
भाई
is
full
such
shield
an
के लिए खेल लिया
interesting
भाई।
matchup because I would assume that Statistan would want to save a shield for that Alolan Ninetales in the back, but is happy to let those shields go just so that the Swampert can throw a Hydro
Azum
Cannon
का
into the
counter है ही
Azumarill. But
नहीं
that's
उनके
going to be
पास।
resisted, and it's so bulky,
Ninetales
it just
निकालना
doesn't do enough damage.
और नीडो क्वींस क्राफ्टी को खा जाएगा भाई, ज़ेरेडी जीत गया भाई।
Two fairy type Pokemon, but the difference here
जीत
is
गया,
that
I
the
think,
Alolan
खत्म है
Ninetales
match।
does a lot of attack damage with its fast attack charm. Azumarill looking to strike back with the same type attack bonus, play rough, which will deal meaningful damage as there are 1 Protect Shields remaining for Statistan. The counter swap, and it's Scrafty versus the Needle Queen.
All right, well, Scrafty is certainly an interesting Pokemon as it will be able to boost up its attacks while Nidoqueen drops
Switch
its
चाहिए था, हाँ,
defenses,
switch
but
चाहिए था।
instead Zardy favoring the Earth Power, not going to go for the Poison
गंदा वाला
Fang,
वो भी,
instead dropping
मतलब
that Scrafty straight down
चाहिए
into
ही,
the red.
जबरदस्ती।
Scrafty does have 1 foul play available to it and is going to throw, but I think Statistan was looking for a
ओ
second.
जाने दिया।
Absolutely was. Here comes the first foul play there. Maybe contemplating not
Shield
getting
है
all the
वैसे तो।
bubbles, but luckily he does, as it does go right through that
And
Protect Shield.
the
we
game
see
is
the
over.
Ninetales now on the field, and a Poison Fang getting
GG
fired.
यार।
Yeah, that Alolan Ninetales is not going to appreciate catching
पहला मैच
this
बढ़िया था।
Poison Fang, as that should be enough for a knockout. And
शील्ड
Zardy
शील्ड एडवांटेज ही
takes
ले गया यार
game
ऋतुराज
1.
भाई, शील्ड
Zardy,
एडवांटेज ही ले गया पूरा
absolutely
गेम।
impressive plays there with the Shadow Needle Queen. Just really no place for the Scrafty and Alolan Ninetales to go because of that poison type power.
Yeah, and that's really, I think, the key part of how this game played out was the Alolan Ninetales was such a threat on paper. You
मेरे को
know,
लग रहा है
Charm is
Zardy
probably one of the
निकालेगा फिर
best
से।
fast moves
आपको क्या लगता है
damage-wise
यार?
in the game.
मेरे को लगता है
If it
Zardy
had
निकालेगा फिर
aligned
से
against
यार।
that
2-0
Obstagoon,
जाएगा आई थिंक,
hypothetically,
पहली
you
बार
know,
मैं
that would
2-0
have
के
just
लिए कह
done
रहा हूँ।
so much damage. But Zardy very confidently keeping those Pokemon away from the field, bringing both the Shadow Nidoqueen and the Azumarill, who are able to manage that Alolan Ninetales well enough. And as a result, I think that Statistan really has to think hard about whether or not he wants to bring that Ninetales a second time.
Absolutely. Again, we've talked about pressuring your opponents, making them feel uncomfortable bringing certain Pokemon. And if you can force that Alolan Ninetales onto the bench, then maybe you can bring Pokemon that are weak to it, like the Obstagoon, which might get selected here. A little bit of team information. I think there's some poetry in play here as well, because Statistan brought the Kofa to the Liverpool regional, where he qualified for this tournament, I believe, after finishing second.
Interesting. So could be a personal favorite that also has some decent usage in the metagame.
Exactly right, and as we see Zardy's team here on the left, the Obstagoon, a dark and normal type Pokemon, no stranger to dark types. Zardy did run Mandibuzz at the Brazil regional, but we don't see it on the field here.
Interesting. I mean, I think that the Obstagoon for a Mandibuzz swap is a very interesting team build choice, but you know, you still get access to those incredible dark type moves, and I don't think we've really had the opportunity to talk about this, but Obstruct, you know, the new Community Day move for Obstagoon does boost your defenses, which is something that I don't think players have typically really used in the Go Battle League just yet. Maybe he was hoping to catch his opponents off guard if they're not familiar with those damage calculations.
No, you're exactly right, and it's a great typing there from Obstagoon being a dark and normal type Pokemon, especially against ghost types. They just have no way to hit that Obstagoon very hard, but it does struggle against Pokemon like Alola Ninetales and that counter user like a Medicham. It's very, very tough in those matchups, but Gavin, we might have caster favorite lead here from Zardy on the left as we head into
Dragon Tail के साथ poison fang आता है किसको पता था
exactly what we want as this Deoxys defense form finds perfect alignment against the Registeel. Statustan going to stay in for a couple of seconds here, but should be forced to pivot if he wants this Registeel to be available later on in the game.
You're exactly right, and this Deoxys defense form does have the fast attack counter, but it is not a fighting type Pokemon, so it does not get same type attack bonus, and you can see it just kind of chunking away at the Registeel, but not too quickly. This matchup is actually very close.
49 ranked है,
as its namesake would imply, is known for its defense, but not its HP.
That Zap Cannon brings the Deoxys defense form down below half of its health and will drop its attack one stage as well, giving this Registeel more time to get back to the Zap Cannon, back to the Focus Blast, but Zardy able to use that Thunderbolt first. Statustan has to sacrifice a shield here if he wants, but the Registeel, he just lets it go, but it's able to hold on.
Registeel with 1 HP reaches for its own electric attack, and it's going to throw this right back at the defense from Deoxys, but we see a protection coming up. That tells us that Zardy really values switch advantage.
He does. This Deoxys defense form has a double attack drop. Not going to be doing a lot of damage, but will hold on long enough to throw a Psycho Boost, which is such a powerful psychic type attack.
It is, but after these debuffs, the Registeel's impact is still being felt as that defense form Deoxys will struggle against the Swampert, maybe reaching for another Psycho Boost here, but the Swampert is going for the full-up shutdown.
I really like this play from Statustan. You know, you lose one of your bulkiest Pokemon on the team, but you end up with a Swampert with like 3 Hydro Cannons charged up. There's going to be so much fast move pressure on the field for Zardy right now. It's great to see the Obstagoon, but it's going to take so much damage from this Earthquake.
Same type of bonus Obstagoon is going to do its best to weather that bumpy ground, but here comes the Scrafty and the counter.
बचा लिया गया, लैग हुआ था थोड़ा सा, बचा लिया गया.
The difference here is that there are two
बहुत गेमों से बचा लिया गया
Scrafty on the right.
Yeah, Scrafty has plenty of time here to figure out the winning strategy for Statustan in this game. Will shield the first poison fang, which is unfortunate. So Zardy only has to get one more shield out of the way.
I think draw हो गया यार ये तो
मतलब. Has to think hard about whether or not you shield the foul play.
I think situationally, I think Statustan recognizing this double foul play might be the key to victory here. But the oh my goodness, Nidoqueen going for a second poison fang, not even swiping all the bubbles because Zardy knows that that protect shield is coming up, and we do see it connect to that shield. Scrafty going to strike back here with the foul play.
Yeah, and there are no protect shield remaining for Zardy. As a result, this foul play will do its full amount of damage to the Nidoqueen, able to hold on and possibly get to another poison fang just in time prior to the KO. Zardy's Pokemon are at such low health overall. If this Swampert has any charged moves banked later, and it does.
Swampert's energy paying dividends here as it does look to deliver the Hydro Cannon against this Obstagoon. This will be more than enough to secure the KO. Statustan knocking out the Obstagoon and then mud shutting down the Shadow Nidoqueen.
Energy management once again the key strategy here for Statustan
simultaneous दोनों फेंट नहीं हुए ना अभी तक वैसा वाला टाई नहीं हुआ ड्रॉ नहीं हुआ अभी तक
Swampert just first it was a little bit questionable seeing that Registeel go down so early in that game too, but because the Swampert was able to then get all of those mud shots in, get all of those Hydra Cannons, those Earthquakes just charged up and ready to go, Statistan was able to put on so much pressure without the Registeel that it just made up for it.
No, you're exactly right. And some Pokemon really do rely on their typings to really shine in the Show 6 format. For example, if you look at these teams again, reminder that Zardy has no Grass-type attacks and no Grass-type Pokemon on his team. So I think in the second game, Statistan made an adjustment. He said, if I bring that Swampert, I can safe switch it, I can lead it, I can put it whatever position I want to, I can even Mudshot down a defense from Deoxys and load up 2 Hydro Cannons worth of energy. And how can Zardy even respond to that? So I think for this game 3, Zardy needs to be very careful about managing the Swampert. He cannot let it run wild in this matchup because the scenario that we saw play out in game number 2
just like Trevenant
number 3.
I was going to say, in terms of the Swampert, it feels like Zardy's best option here, other than just hoping you get enough chip damage on it, would be that Walrein. But that Walrein in and of itself struggles against the Registeel, struggles against the Scrafty, and those are both Pokemon that we've seen already from Statistan. So it definitely puts Zardy at a disadvantage just knowing how much pressure that the Swampert has. And like you said, knowing that he made that choice going into the tournament to not bring a Grass-type Pokemon.
And we have seen some moveset reveals as well. That Swampert with Earthquake and Hydro Cannon. The question is, does that make that Azumarill safer for Zardy on the left?
It might. Azumarill is one of those bulky water-type Pokemon that loves it when Swampert does not have Sludge Wave, as it means the Swampert will really struggle to deal damage. But we saw the Azumarill in Game 1 from Zardy, and it just wasn't that effective, so tough to say. It's tough to say.
It's absolutely tough to say. That 3-turn bubble is tough to build up energy. Although you're generating decent energy over time, a lot of these Pokemon are so fast. Trevenant 5 Shadow Claws to the Seed Bomb, Swampert 5, and then 4 to the Hydro Cannons. Pokemon strike quickly. So when you get your Azumarill position here against your opponent, it really needs to be in a position to thrive and succeed. But we are headed to a game here. We do see Azumarill lead versus Scrafty on the field. What a great lead here for Zardy.
If there's one thing that you can do to guarantee the alignment that your Azumarill needs, it is to just lead it out in the front. Already we're seeing some switches. Now it's a Sableye versus the Obstagoon.
Obstagoon looking to add some damage here to the Dark and Ghost type Sableye. The first Night Slash does not get shielded, and that is for good reason because it could trigger a boost, and then the second Night Slash would be very painful. But Sableye striking back
with
a return, so that's going to deal a ton of damage, and Zardy does not go for the shield. Obstagoon is almost taken down and took the red from that one attack alone.
This is so tricky because the lead and the switch in are favorable for Zardy, but Statistan can't play around with the matchup. Actually, no shields to Sableye there. And
attack Rose! Oh!
Obstagoon is playing.
Scrafty
Obstagoon, at least it's already in the red, but with that attack sharply raised, it's going to do so much damage to the Walrein. If it comes in onto the field, the Azumarill as well is going to take so much, but instead we see the Scrafty come in and pick up the KO on that Obstagoon, and now Azumarill has that alignment once again.
Azumarill versus Scrafty, and this time Statistan staying in, letting it gather some energy, and here comes the Swampert to respond. Azumarill has such staying power in these matchups, and it's very tricky to deal with. It's going to throw the Ice Beam here and pull away a Protect Shield from Statistan. I think Statistan really kind of on the back foot here as Walrein hits the field.
Yeah, that Walrein loves to be opposite the Swampert, as it will not take a lot of damage from this Hydro Pump, but Statistan did have the Earthquake available, so trying to bait away one of those shields and gets it.
Yeah, absolutely does, and it looks like the Swampert will be able to reach the Earthquake. This is a game of baits. We know we can survive 1 Icicle Spear worth of damage, but not 2 that will secure the knockout. The first one comes through. Statistan needs to make the most out of the Water Ground type here.
He's charging up to a second Earthquake, and this time just goes ahead and immediately throws it, but Zardy does not shield.
This just got a bit interesting because Swampert will pile on a lot of damage here, and that Scrafty is still relatively healthy, but it's at a severe typing disadvantage against the Azumarill.
दिक्कत ये है ना Azumarill से Scrafty कैसे जीतेगा यार? Power up punch मार मार
close, but a Swampert is able to fast move down this Walrein and bring an Earthquake with it into the next matchup against the Azumarill. That is going to be so key, but Scrafty coming in to take the Icicle Sphere from this Walrein.
You can barely even see the HP points on the screen, but the Walrein suddenly, somehow, gets off that Icicle Spear. We do see a foul play coming through here from the Scrafty. Again, resisting damage. Statistan really probably really unhappy
शील्ड
that
बचा
that
के आ रहा है
Walrein
ना,
survived that attack.
बबल डाउन कर दो
Yes,
उसको यार
but he
स्क्राफ्टी
does
को, हो जाएगा।
still have
उसके
two
बाद भाई
Pokemon
एक मारना है उस पे
to
स्वैम्पर्ट
Zardy's
पर, खेल
essentially
खत्म।
won. I mean, that Walrein has
Whole play
such
number
low
2, I
health,
think
you know
भाई
it's going to go
Zardy
down
easy
almost
जीता है
immediately
भाई।
when it returns to the field.
क्या
And
जीता है
does get the
Zardy?
opportunity to throw these foul plays into the Azumarill, and while they're not very effective, you know, all this damage is really
लीड
starting
ओपी
to add
देना
up.
यार।
And as we see
पीछे
here,
भी
Zardy
दिया।
gathering additional energy on the Azumarill. He recognizes that Status's win condition is to bait with the Hydro Cannon, land an Earthquake, and then mud shot down the Walrein, and that is tough, but he is going to eliminate that option as the Swampert comes out and it just doesn't have enough HP. It goes straight for the Earthquake here.
All right, there's the Earthquake, and
सोचो
there
गलती से भी अगर ये
is the
शील्ड ना करी होती
shield
तो क्या
from
होता?
Zardy. That Azumarill is one bubble
And that was
away
game over.
from knocking out the Swampert,
GG.
but goes for the Ice
Zardy
Beam
takes
just
on
to play it 100%
2-1 against
safe.
Stats.
Zardy said this match was too hot. I need to
Statistan.
cool things off here with an Ice Beam
Statistan.
to secure that final knockout. And Zardy with a fist pump there, loving the energy up on the stage. Our trainer from Brazil will advance.
That was such a close matchup. Yeah, I can see why. You know, sometimes you just got to let that energy
भाई
out.
लीड मिल जाए और आप पीछे भी उसका आंसर रखे हो भाई, मतलब एक तरह से ट्रिपल हार्ड काउंटर कर रहे हो यार, और इतने बड़े स्टेज पे यार ट्रिपल हार्ड काउंटर नहीं हार सकते यार, कोई काम का कोड है नहीं भाई। अभी तक तो नहीं आया। मैंने वाला करा था ना कोड, ये वाला नहीं करा, ये भी कर के देख लेंगे। चलो फ्री हैं तो बैठे बैठे क्या करें, इसको रिडीम करें। वैसे तो कुछ नहीं होगा यार। वही मेडल नो टाइम रिसर्च, बढ़िया। अभी ऋतुराज भाई कुछ करना पड़ेगा यार, अभी कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा। डबल पॉइजन नहीं चलाएं या फिर क्या करें समझ नहीं है, बट करना पड़ेगा। हिटमोन चैन ओपी है यार, थ्रो पड़ा है मेरे पास, शॉक भी पड़ा है। शॉक पे मूव क्या है, एक मिनट देखा जाए कौन कौन से फाइटर है अपने पे अच्छे फाइटर। पॉइजन जैब, फोकस ब्लास्ट, लो किक। पॉइजन जैब बुरा नहीं रहेगा आई थिंक यार, बट ओनली फाइटिंग है ना इसलिए दिक्कत करेगा। ओनली फाइटिंग टाइप नहीं चलेंगे यार इसमें। ब्रीलूम पॉइजन से पिटेगा, ब्रीलूम XB करते हैं, स्टार्ट करते हैं। पहले मैच से बदल जाएगा 2500 जा रहे हैं नहीं। कल्पना जाए Sneasel into Poliwrath, one of the worst lead, सबसे गंदी लीड लग रही। अभी वो बेट भी कर सकता है क्योंकि वन शॉट करता है, वो करेगा बेट, नहीं करा। क्या शील्ड होगी? डबल क्लोज कॉम्बैट। एरियल एस। ओके ओपी लैग 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 ने बचाया। जी भाई, क्योंकि आई थिंक वो स्लज बॉम्ब पहुंच जाता, उसके बाद हमारा ड्रैगन क्लो पहुंचना मुश्किल होता, बट आइस पंच हमको केओ नहीं करेगा ना, तुम बच गए भाई। देयर इज अ ब्रेक फॉर, क्या है, 4 मिनट ब्रेक चल रहा है उधर भाई, 3.5 मिनट रह रहे हैं अभी। मैच स्टार्ट होंगे इतने तो पता चल जाएगा हम 2500 वापस जा रहे हैं ऋतुराज भाई या नहीं। भाई ये टीम डबल मूव के साथ ऋतुराज भाई नहीं चलेगी यार, ये तो किस्मत अच्छी थी हमारी, बच गए। नियर टू 30 लाइक। हाँ यार राइज कब आएगा? शायद अब आएगा वो। ये देखा आपने, इतने मैच हुए हैं, सब बंदे बढ़िया खेले हैं, सारे वो हैं रीजनल फाइनलिस्ट हैं, और कल से जल्दी भी मैच हो रहे हैं, पर फिर भी अभी कितने मैच रह रहे हैं, कब तक चलेगा कोई आइडिया नहीं है। देखते हैं, डेली की तरह 3 घंटे कुछ पे स्ट्रीम बंद होगी, या फिर आज मैं जो जुगाड़ लगा रहा हूँ उससे नहीं होगी। मार्को ही इज ग्राइंडिंग फॉर वेटरन यार, विद कोमो लीड ओपी। यार कोमो बनाना पड़ेगा तो यार, सही में ऋतुराज भाई, आज रात में कोमो बना देंगे यार, क्या बोलते हो? क्या बोलते हो, कोमो बना दिया जाएगा ऋतुराज भाई? ओके शील्ड मिलेगी या तो, नहीं तो भाई बंदा गया। शील्ड पता नहीं हम बैक टू बैक पहुंच पाएंगे या नहीं, बट ट्राई कर रहे हैं। ये हर जगह थ्रो क्यों चला रहे हैं लोग यार, हर जगह। ओके भाई, पूरी एडवांटेज बंदे के पास है यार। बॉडी स्लैम के अलावा क्या आ सकता है इसको? जीत गया यार वो, जीत गया भाई। अभी भी अगर हम पे सेकंड मूव होता ऋतुराज भाई हम निकाल जाते यार, सेकंड मूव की वजह से हार रहे हैं यार हम। सेकंड मूव ही हरवा रहा है यार हमको। ओह, ड्रैगन पल्स वन शॉट करता है यार, बिल्कुल करता है यार। सेकंड मूव यार चाहिए यार, जरूरी है मेरे हिसाब से। ऋतुराज भाई 2500 क्रॉस कर जाएंगे हम पे यार, अगर हुआ तो कैंडी भी नहीं है यार अपने पे यार, 10 पड़ी है। $65 और चाहिए भी भाई, जरूरी है यार। बहुत मैच जीतते हैं यार हम ऋतुराज भाई, मैं 4-5 मैच हार गया। राइज का किस्सा होगा ये भी देखना है मेरे को। अब बस ऐसा ना हो कि जैसे सब जो भी जान पहचान के थे वो हार रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। बस ब्रेक उनका खत्म हो चुका है, 5 मिनट में शायद मैच शुरू हो जाएगा। नहीं नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है। 3 जने आ रहे हैं, 3 चैंपियन आ रहे हैं रीजनल। ब्लेजी चिकन फास्ट मूव डैमेज पड़ेगा इसको थोड़ा सा। यार अपने हकामों पे 2 मूव हो जाए ऋतुराज भाई, आग लगा दूंगा यार। कल भी रहेगा ना ये फाइटिंग कप, फास्टर कप कह रहा हूँ मैं। फाइटिंग कप है, फाइटर कप है, जो भी है, कल भी अगर रहेगा ना, कल भाई देखना डबल मूव करके लाएंगे भाई, कुछ भी हो जाए। रेड सारी आज कर डालूंगा ऋतुराज भाई, 2 रेड और कर लूंगा, और चाहे पास खरीदने पड़ जाए भाई, रेयर कैंडी इकट्ठी करनी पड़ेगी, करेंगे भाई, करेंगे ऋतुराज भाई। ब्रेव बर्ड ना हो बस। रुको देखता हूँ क्या, अच्छा कल है या नहीं है। ओह 1 2 3 4 वी कैन सर्वाइव। आई डोंट थिंक वी कैन, आई डोंट थिंक, क्योंकि इसका डैमेज बहुत ज़्यादा पड़ेगा। ओह वी कैन एंड वी डिड। हकामो ओपी 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 ओपी, जीत गए, बढ़िया। अब 1 मैच और जीतना है, एंड दैट वाज अ गुड गेम, बहुत सही। मैच अभी भी स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ है, वेट कर रहे हैं हम, इतने एक और लगाते हैं। आपने कहीं स्क्रीनशॉट वगैरह ले रखा है, फिर कहाँ पर देखते हो? पुराने उसमें जाके देखते हो क्या? 24 तक है बस। फिर ऋतुराज भाई एक बार और 2500 जा रहे हैं हम, देखना 2500 क्रॉस पक्का कर रहे हैं। आज नहीं हुआ तो कल कर रहे हैं, और कल अगर 2500 क्रॉस हुआ तो कल भी भाई हम 2700, 50 में 2700 है ना, मुश्किल है 2600 क्रॉस हो जाएगा। ड्रैगन पल्स आ जाए ना उसको, क्योंकि जीरो शील्ड में बहुत बुरा मारेंगे हम। अभी जीरो शील्ड में टॉक्सिक रॉक से हार रहे हैं हम, पॉइजन फैंग की वजह से, वो स्लज बॉम्ब की वजह से। जब नहीं हारेंगे देखना, दही तोड़ देंगे यार। दिक्कत होती है अगर ये बेट वो कॉल कर देता ना, दिक्कत हो जाती, गंदी वाली दिक्कत। अरे यार कम से कम थ्रो करना था यार, कम से कम थ्रो करना था यार, थ्रो करना था यार। मुझे लगा था पहुंच जाऊंगा यार मैं। ड्रैगन क्लॉ CMP हार गए हम। उम्मीद नहीं थी हारेंगे बट हार गए। बिल्कुल उम्मीद नहीं थी यार CMP हारने की मेरे को। एक, दो, तीन, चार, CMP बच जाएंगे हम ड्रैगन क्लो से। लेट्स गो। आई थिंक एक टैप और मारना पड़ेगा बस हमको। अगर वो एक टैप मार के CMP कर दे तो अलग बात है, CMP नहीं मतलब थ्रो कर दे तो अलग बात है, बट ऐसा नहीं होगा बिकॉज वी वॉन भाई। टॉक्सिक रॉक मिरर ऋतुराज भाई बेस्ट तरीका है खेलने का। दूसरे बंदे का थ्रो करने का वेट करो, आप एक टैप ऊपर चले जाओ। वो CMP जीत गया, किस्मत थी, अटैक ज़्यादा ही होगा वरना जीतेगा नहीं। जीरो अटैक हुआ तो कभी नहीं जीतेगा वो। बेस्ट तरीका है टॉक्सिक रॉक मिरर में डबल चार्ज करो जब तक थ्रो मत करो, बेस्ट तरीका है। टॉक्सिक रॉक का मिरर खेल रहे हैं ना इतने दिनों से। ओ ये गारंटीड है, ये वेटरन के ऊपर पहले उसमें ये गारंटीड है यार। ये मेरा खेलना आ गया यार। हाँ अगर मैं एक पहले थ्रो करता तो शायद CMP भी जीत जाता, मतलब डबल बैक टू बैक ना करके एक पहले करता तो शायद जीत भी जाता CMP। बट पहले मूव पे थ्रो नहीं। ये PvP IV स्वैग है तो स्पाइडरमैन वाला ऋतुराज भाई, पूरा स्पाइडरमैन वाला। पीछे की साइड एक फिंगर बड़ी है एक छोटी है। स्पाइडरमैन IV जीजीज। ओ एक्सपर्ट ततैया के छत्ते के साथ हिटमॉन्चेन की लीड, बढ़िया है। मैच इज अबाउट टू स्टार्ट। आई थिंक इस मैच के बाद हम जाएंगे है ना। पावर अप होगा या फायर पंच होगा, अभी भी स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ यार। ठीक है डबल सील स्नीजलर जब से कराया फ़ायदा तो हो रहा है। एक टैप और पड़ जाता अगर, आई थिंक ये जाने देते हैं यार। फायर पंच आई नो। आई थिंक हम बैक टू बैक पहुंच जाएंगे इस बार, पता नहीं क्यों लग रहा है। स्नक कर गया भाई, स्नक कर गया बट टॉक्सिक रोग होगा पीछे, हर कोई वही यूज कर रहा है। हाँ यार ड्रैगन पल्स होती है, शील्ड करेगा नहीं क्योंकि मजा आ जाता। करा शील्ड, ओ CMP बैक टू बैक CMP शाइनी टॉक्सिक रॉक। ये पिछली बार भी यही था क्या वो? बैक टू बैक CMP जीत गया। आई थिंक मैंने गलत करा यार, उधर मारना था यार। जी यार, बैक टू बैक CMP जीता है बंदा यार। जी डबल मूव होते तो आज भी मजा आए थे यार। अरे यार कोई नहीं, 24/7 और प्लस तो गया, 2500 कन्फर्म है अपना। अभी पहले देख लेते हैं, मैच तो शुरू नहीं होने वाला। अभी मैच शुरू नहीं हो रहा, एक और लगाओ। अगर हमारे इस पे 2 मूव होना यार क्या ही CMP। ये 2 बार CMP जीत गया क्योंकि इसका अटैक ज़्यादा होगा। शाइनी है, PvP है नहीं, इंस्टिंक्ट। एक ड्रॉ और 3 जीते तो भी 2500 है, 4 जीते तो भी 2500 है, हारे तो नेगेटिव है ही, वो तो नॉर्मल है। 3 जीते तो 2500 नहीं होगा शायद, नहीं होगा, बिल्कुल भी नहीं होगा। ओह लेजेंड कब आ यार? लेजेंड पता नहीं भाई। पहले तो हम आगे जब बढ़ेंगे, आई थिंक जब अपने को ये सेकंड मूव सिखा देंगे हम हकामो को। कोंगो यार किस लिए? वेटरन के लिए। कुंग फू वाला तो लेजेंड पे मिलता है, वो हम वेटरन पे हैं। 2500। इस पे क्या क्या है? हैवी स्लैम, बॉडी स्लैम और सुपर पावर है ना। बॉडी स्लैम का नहीं पता, हैवी स्लैम तो है इस पे, पक्का है हैवी स्लैम तो। आधे घंटे चार्ज कर रहा है बंदा, आधे घंटे से चार्ज कर रहा है। लेजेंड का पूछे मतलब अबे यार नहीं, स्विच क्यों करा इसने हरामी ने यार। अबे यार ओ बैक टू बैक CMP। बेहतरीन। आओ 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 हरियामा जी, वेयर आर यू रनिंग? हम भी CMP जीतते हैं। वो तो शाइनी वाला है, खतरनाक अटैक, 10-15 अटैक होगा उसका भाई। मैच स्टार्ट हो रहा है मोहो का और ओडेंग का, तो हम पहला मैच जीत के चलते हैं पहले वहाँ, ठीक है। अब चलते हैं, पहले देखते हैं उनका मैच। मेरी साउंड थोड़ी कम आएगी बट चलते हैं ट्विच पर। अभी भी राइज नहीं आया भाई। प्रणव ने ट्राई नहीं किया क्या? प्रणव सही था यार, सही खेल रहा था पिछली बार।
matchup. It's actually going to be infestation here generating energy
Just
a
अभी
little
start
bit
हुआ
quick,
है.
but able to throw these neutral bubble beams before any charge moves comes out from Marto.
Wow, I've never seen this either. Almost every Araquanid runs Bug Bite, but it's instead running Infestation, which generates energy very quickly. You might notice if you've seen Araquanid earlier in the tournament, and here comes the Sludge Bomb from the Toxicroak. Marto just wants to stay in this matchup. It is no shielded, and it's not going to do too much to that Araquanid.
Yeah, you know, I think Dank listened to
यार फ्यूचर कोड पता है रितुराज भाई, फ्यूचर कोड खाली 40 डैमेज देता है, बट दो फ्यूचर कोड इसको खत्म कर देंगे. इतना भी यार साइकिक पे 4 टाइम्स. कहाँ से फ्यूचर कोड चला हो तो मजे आ जाते हैं. फ्यूचर कोड नहीं, मिरर कोड, सॉरी, मिरर कोड.
Araquanid getting to a third bubble beam. This
Psychic type move
Toxicroak is going to be super debuffed after this matchup.
Yeah, and the pace is really slowing here as these bubble
बल्कि
beams are coming
50%
through.
से
Maybe
ज़्यादा
looking
damage
to
दे
bank that energy. Interesting.
Okay,
Banks all
Bug
that
Buzz
energy
time.
and then comes in with the Trevenant. But
Bug
the
Buzz
Trevenant
time.
cannot Shadow Claw down. And then it's met by the Diggersby. And the Diggersby does have access to Fire Punch to do super effective. But also, the Seed Bomb is super effective from Trevenant.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of tough because Marto gave up switch advantage now. And if you look at the back line,
Dank
this
के
is
निकाल जाएगा ऐसा लग रहा है,
a
पता
little
नहीं क्यों.
difficult with the Nidoqueen that could lock into the Zumro and the Araquanid leaving with a Bubble Beam as well. Dank making sure that there was a Bubble Beam ready before swapping to this Diggersby.
Yeah, I would say alignment is in Dank's favor because the Nidoqueen is in the back. I think that's a shiny Shadow Nidoqueen in the back. Wow, this is an impressive team as the Seed Bomb comes through, and these Shadow Claws are double resisted, so there's no way you're Shadow Clawing this Diggersby down. This Fire Punch will knock out, but maybe this puts Diggersby in range of being fast moved down by Marto.
Yeah, and we see a shield come from Marto here, really trying to maneuver around as best as he could here too. And I like that Dank just threw on Charge on Priority on the Fire Punch, because if you throw on Charge on Priority, typically speaking, it might not be the best situation to get farm as much, but if you do throw it, your opponent can also not swap out before the Charge move lands. And that's exactly what happens. Even though Marto's switch timer's up, Dank wants to just get rid of this Trevenant to maintain switch advantage.
And can this Toxicroak counter down
this Diggersby
before it gets to a Fire Punch? It looks swap into the Bubble Beam onto the Toxicroak. This won't be enough, and you double resist the Infestation, so how much energy do you bank up before you throw here? No, just swapping to the Zumro, gonna try to bubble down an Araquanid. I don't think you can do it, especially against Infestation.
This is so interesting. You know,
भाई मैचअप थोड़ा बोरिंग है बट बढ़िया है.
That we're going to see in London, I would have never believed you. We have an Infestation Araquanid throwing bubble beams at a Zumro here too, debuffing it and setting it up.
डबल डिबफ होगा अभी
This
Azumarill
is
लिए.
what, the 5th or 6th charge from the Araquanid in just one game.
Yeah, and look at this.
अभी दिक्कत पता क्या होगी? डबल डिबफ है, पीछे से आएगा Nidoqueen. अब कर भाई आइस बीम का डैमेज.
And here is the ice beam into this.
पहला शील्ड कर लिया.
Shiny Shadow Nidoqueen in the first one.
हाइड्रो पंप ना हो शायद इसलिए शील्ड करा होगा शायद से. हाइड्रो पंप तो गंदा डैमेज देता ना. अब आइस बीम है, पता चलेगा.
You're already at the next one, but I believe this
अभी
is
देखना
double debuff.
बहुत लो कर देता है. अभी आइस बीम कितना डैमेज देगा देखना. डबल डिबफ भी अच्छा खासा दे सकता है. देखो भाई. देखो भाई. Araquanid अपना खेल खेल गया है.
As soon as possible, because you want these points, you have to really start adding up against the Zumro. But Marto has a ton of entry still on the Toxicroak and the shield, and swaps out here for the snipe down with the Mud Bomb. Is this enough to knock it out?
He's going for the combo move. He's going for the double Mud Bomb knockout. There's one knockout, and no, he's going for the Sludge Bomb of the Diggersby.
मैटो को जिताते हुए Dank 12-19 हारते हैं. गलत भाई.
Marto's famous for that.
शील्ड के साथ जीता है यार.
Known for his
बहुत तगड़ा खेला है. मुझे लग रहा है ये 2-0 जाएगा यार.
Some people might call it maybe a little bad-mannered, but I think Marto likes to have a little fun, put on a show, put on entertainment. I think it deserves that one, given how dominant that end match was, going for the Sludge Bomb resistance against the Diggersby. What a game there too. You know, Marto didn't really have the alignment. Obviously, the Toxicroak is not
राइज का मैच देख के जाए यार. उम्मीद करता हूँ स्ट्रीम में ना हो यार. राइज का देखने के बाद हो तो यार है ना. जीतना चाहिए. और बीडूफ लगाया वहाँ बीडूफ.
Swapping to the Araquanid. I can understand not wanting to give the Toxicroak so much energy there, but at the same time, you end up giving the Toxicroak still a lot of energy because they still counter down, and then now switch locking yourself in a bad matchup.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, the more interactions there are in the game, the more complicated the game
becomes.
So this was a very complicated game. There were so many choices to make for both trainers because you are running that infestation. You're just throwing so many bubble beams. You have to figure out your dimensions, figure out your win conditions, and it gets complicated. You know, like you mentioned, you don't know if it was the right thing to do to come back in with the Araquanid just to bubble beam the Toxicroak, right? Maybe you want to try to get some mud shots through, but I mean, once you play a more fluid style, which I really like how he's playing the Infestation, he's playing the Shadow Shining Nidoqueen. Maybe we'll see some Mag Cargo, but I mean, the more interactions you have, the higher level you have to play at. So I'm excited to see Dink's adjustment in game number 2.
Yeah, you know, I have a question for you, Butters. How many more Sludge Bombs do you think will land against a Diggersby in this set?
I think, you know what? I'm going to make the prediction, and it's probably going to be 0, because what a highlight moment that was. I mean, the thing is, it's hard to do that. Like, these games are so close. That's just, you know, putting a little icing on the cake for that victory, because he already had it won with the combo move. He banked so much energy, and he was allowed to bank so much energy because he double resists those infestations. The bubble beams just aren't doing enough, and so he was able to dance around and just bank energy on Toxicroak, bank energy on Azumarill, and then utilize that more efficiently down the line. So really smart play. Here it is. Once again, wow. Yeah, getting a shield there, and you're almost at another Sludge Bomb. Once again, wanted to save the Mud Bomb. Maybe you're going to try to use it on a Nidoqueen later, and here's that Queen. You are ahead on energy if you're the Azumarill. You can take this Poison thing, and then the Ice Beam already forces the second Protect Shield from Dink.
Yeah, you know, this is going to be interesting, because we're going to be playing this matchup a little differently than last time. Ice Beam, we do, as you predicted, see the second shield come up right away, but this might be in range for a Poison down.
He's counter away. He was the counter away. So the point of the thing is going to be off. I think this is Poison thing. I can probably just let it go. Shields it anyway, but shields it anyway. Thinking he has the Mud Bomb. No, he doesn't go for it. He doesn't go for more counter. Really more counter. Precision by Martel there.
Really interesting position. Very interesting position here. That Digger's landing spot and Martel's landing spot. Martel does not have energy. Does not have energy. Can't really handle the right here. Very easily here. Very easily swap to Trevin. The swap. Oh, and this Araquanid has a lot of energy here too. Energy here too. Really tough spot. Martel is not going to want to see this. It's not going to want to see
Martel losing his MVP is very low health. Swap very low health. And here we go again. It's a Diggersby versus Toxicroak does still have the back. Going to be in the back. This is the same type of attack bonus. And type of attack bonus is not enough. Fire Punch is not enough.
Absolutely true. Super bulky here. Super bulky here. Trevin is definitely a little bit.
ग्लिच हो गया यार, साउंड ग्लिच हो गया है। अभी से नहीं भाई, ग्लिच है ही। कुछ नहीं हुआ यार, ग्लिच हो गया है। चलते हैं, स्ट्रीम बंद करते हैं, फिर से करेंगे यार, अगर राइज आता है तो। ठीक है, फिर से स्ट्रीम करेंगे। ठीक है अभी चलते